I've been drinking Kool-Aid jammers like I did when I was 9. Cause I like to pretend that I haven't lost the time. In the end, the nostalgia, though it tastes fine, I can only drink a couple cause it feels like a lie. We play Halo and we'd lay low in our basement until the sun began to rise. We would go to school but not learn too much, cause it's hard to read when you've got tired eyes. Still got my friends, they've been with me for some time, and it's nice to know that they still by my side. Friends are like stars, cause no matter how far, when it's dark outside, they will be your light. We played Halo, and we'd lay low in our basement until the sun began to rise. We would go to school, but now learn too much, cause it's hard to read when you've got tired eyes. Months go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime. Years go by, the time it flies, past the days that we drink Kool-Aid in the summertime.
Jo, folk, kako smo vsi, pozdravljeni. Živijo. Evo, da vas mačkam mal pozdravim zdajle. Živijo Tilen, živijo Savinčan. Evo, bomo Tilna pinali, ajde, evo, Tilna pinamo. Živijo Maša Kuhar, živijo Icy, živijo Teddy, živijo Unicorn, živijo Aljaš Franca, živijo Biharambe, pozdravljen Boixi, živijo Gnide, živijo KONČNO, ScorpLZ jaje, pozdravljen. Te že dolgo nisem videl, sem zdi. Kje si Roix, živijo Karatimi, živijo Alexi, živijo Nobody, hehe, živijo Lukas, živijo Patron, živijo TS Mihec, živijo Teoš, kjer je jaka majica, valjda, živijo Tuvi, živijo Aljaš Raj, živijo Sergej Brgles, živijo Ana, živijo Mato, živijo Gregor Serec, živijo Proxy, živijo Alexi, živijo Nikola David, živijo Tijan Lan, Pignar, živijo Dubose, živijo Nanuni, živijo TS Pro, živijo Tobija Ukmar, v glavnem. Pozdravljeni vsi, kako se keče. Danes smo igrali, danes sem solo cash cup igral na Trovotu in sem ugotovil, da bom verjetno solo cupe igral na Trovotu, ker, ne vem, bolj sem sproščen, poprec povedan. Tako da na Trovotu se mi, vas plačam tega ostali cupi bojo vsi na YouTubeu. Tako da bo to vedeti, drugače me še ne followate Trovotu, me lahko followate za 10 €, dobimo nek button chat, imamo komi Jurija 700 followerjev. Tako da, če še niste tam, grete lahko tja, tam bo tudi ekstra content, za tiste, ki ne veste. Tako da, danes pa gledamo mi FNCS finale, zadnji qualifier, preden bo pol pač prav veliki polfinale, finale in tako naprej. Bota nisem priklopil, abi. Kako se ti da? Kako se mi da? Žerok Vukovič, živo Nikoran. Kako je Mongraal sploh prišel v finale? Mongraal je zmagal v polfinale, zmagali so v polfinalu. Vam bom jaz zdajle kar, čakajte. Če je tukaj takole se pravi, če grem nazaj, pa imamo takole. A res svojih si, God. Takole, da pogledamo, kdo danes vse igra. Tyson je tudi danes, tako da tudi za njega upamo, da bo kvalu direkt v finale. Se pravi, prvi je bil tale Kiko, Slender pa Mongraal, oni so bili prvi včeraj. Tako da God, gledajte te placemente, 5, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 11. God placementi. Pa so bili teli. Po Scrum sva gnala Craze. Da vidimo, če še kakšen tako. Da vidimo, če kakšen, še tako ful poznam poleg Tysona. Evo, ForZR je tukaj. Imamo Tysona, evo, na 4. mestu. Pol imamo... Aj še kakšen tak chat. Moja novi FNCS vidim. Chat, ne vem, če bo Erik zmagal. Evo ga, Wolfis, Merin, Milan. Umplify, Macov so tudi noter. Kdo je že kaj? Ja, to je pa to. Kinsla ni chat. Kinsla zdaj že dvakrat ni prišel v finale. Rip za Kinsla. Ampak se bo, hite bo igral. Kinsla bo igral hite, tako da ni panike. Fortnite. Fortnite so tudi že live drugač. Drugač bo pol tudi member only chat, tok da vete. Ok. Živan že, jo, Freemok. Aha, ok. Kinsla ni naprej chat, kakor jaz vem. Aj prav, da moram DM pogledat. Oh yeah, I didn't check actually. Bom pogledal, abi. Chat, sam en mail pogledam. Tam sploh nisem mailov gledal. Kaj pa Mitro? Ne vem, nisem videl Mitra ta. Ne, Ana, sam bolj take, bolj dobre sem povedal. Ostalo je itak pač... No nameri, ne zdaj vas. Da vidimo, če vam kaj na mailu pametnega. Okej. Živijo, Quick Snaffies. Jo. Poza, bo po streamu kaj na trotu. Ne, Trovo je že bil danes, chat. Trovo je že bil danes. Na trotu mi drugače res ful pomagate tisti, ki gledate, tako da res hvala vam. Pač Trovo mi je cilj povprečje med 200 gledalcev, ne. To je bila kar lepa. Ker pol bi imel lahko komod silver vsak mesec. Abby, they replied to me and they will do a research on it, but they won't tell me what they've done. They said for privacy reasons, they won't tell us if they will ban them or not. So yeah, but they will look into it. Enter 4800 malo, gremo do 32 jurjev, Sabo chat, gremo. Let's go. Tako da ja. A je to veliki finale? Ne, to je Qualifier 3 finale. Qualifier 3. Prvi game bo, ja, prvi game bo. Zdaj le itak sam čakamo, Zdaj le mačkam čakamo. Lahko gremo? Veste, če se že dolgo nismo šli, kaj čakamo, da se začne tole, a? A chat, sam da se loginam. Tole bi pa lahko šli. Prijer si stream na trotu gas, nisem mogel 960 mane nafarmat. Rip pinči. Lej bi povedal. Davis, jaz sem super. Priporočaš gaming slušalke za pod 200 evrov. Kaj, a kjer je, Matej? Ja, Cloud 2 je za pod 100. To je zdaj full na glas. Sound efekte lahko damo, ajde. Ok, ajde chat, ajde. Da vidimo, če deluje. Pircex, kako to misliš prvič? Ne, samo zadnji qualifier smo prišli naprej. Tyson igra, ja chat, Tyson igra. Ajde, fok, da vidimo. Zdaj le čakamo, da se začne, tako da že dolgo nismo telih Warzone stream igrali. Že dolgo ne. Jaz da lahko kamero premaknem gor. Tole. Evo. Tako da vidite. Ne, zdaj sem daš napozdravil. Živijo mali fantiči, jojo. Ni Turk, Abi, ni Turk. Le, smo že končali, ampak nekaj slabo nam gre. Fajn bilo, da proskočimo, ne, 3 lavele. Sank, nice, nice. A bomo šli, to ne bomo skivali 3 lavele, če to 2 stara imamo po moje komi. A ste probali stan? Aha, lih kar je bil stan, okej. Kaj pa rast? To imamo tudi. Ej, rast, rast, alo. Dajte rast. Rust. Zihar je. Let's go. Lepa, lepa, lepa. Ej, je že rast, je že. Kaj imamo še kaj? A sank smo, okej. Kaj imamo še kaj? Dobro, to je 3 stare. Skaj vsi v rastu čat, zato ker sem rekel, da je rast, pa da napišejo. Abi je prva. Čat, ne mora biti Abi prva, no. Ajde, imate to. Kaj je tle model? Rome, čat. R-O-A-M pa R-O-M-E. Oboje. Mongraal je res v finalu, zmagali so polfinale, prvi so bili. No. Pa še Rome je po moje. R-O-M-E, po moje lahko probate. Mor imate tudi. Ok, Rome po moje ni. Mor je, ok. Pol. Pa je še. Mare. Pa je še kaj. Lek je res. Mare. Mare. Kaj imamo še? Neki na R mora še biti. Neki mora biti tudi zihar še na R. A je R-O-A-R? Ok. Rory je že. To je že en dal. Armor. Neki mora biti pa še na. Ne vem. Armor je že, chat. Armor je že. Rojk, sem se pa to čist prav zdaj, drugač. Vsi so imeli šanso, da je bilo zastonje, ali? Na solo cash kao sem imel 99 točk, chat. Pred zadnje 2 gema sem čovkal, zadnjega sem pol dosti uredil, da igral, glede na to, da sem bil grifan. Nice, chat, samo ene niste dobili. Imamo še cajt, po moje, tole celo, da odigramo. A zdaj kaj zaslužil, ko si bil na olimpijskih igrah? Ja, imel sem štipendijo 250 € na mesec ali 300. Za 4 leta sem imel. Sam sem jo sam 1 let izkoristil, ker sem zasral. Ker sem mislil, ker sem takrat pol nehal šolo hoditi, da je ne morem dobiti, bi jo lahko dobil, ampak 80%. Tik, pik. Imamo še. Kaj pa nik? A to je mogoče. Kjera je fake, chat? Topik ne se je topik, ste že dal. Sprav, a je K tudi ni fake, a je N fake? V moje je N fake, ali pa je N-O. Ne, se sam, what? Ne, N-C je lahko fake, ali pa N. Ne vem, dejansko ne vem, ker bi bila fake. Ker bi bila tata dolga lahka. Aha, ne je fake, okej. Cockpit. Noise. Čet, nimate hoja za kitchen. Pa tudi to je. Kaj je bila prva lahka? Zakaj pa kak ne probate? Vse nikoli ne veš. Noben ni probo kak, chat. Noben ni kak probo. 100% je. 100% je. Ajaj, že abi, okej, je že abi, ne gre. Ja, kako ne gre, no? Ja, rip. Ja, rip. Ojoj. Dar, naredili smo, ne? Naredili smo. Kako je na to na level 9? Ja, tu star smo dobili, tu star. Dajmo na 9. Total ranking, abi ni več prvo, auuu. Dajmo naslednjo musko. Spet je ena fake črka, chat, spet je ena fake črka. Kaj sam en mail berem? Okej. Čilamo. Koliko sem imel pik v solo cash cupu? 99 sem jih imel. Chat, imel sem še 3 igre, pa sem imel 86 pik in sem 2krat zapored umrl. Tako je na začetku. Abby, it's pointless. Ajde, sam še eno rabite ugotoviti. Aj na K ali pa na P. Keto, a ste probali keto? Keto. It's Slovenian, Abby. A je bilo keto? A je bilo keto? Nisem videl. A je bilo? Chat. A je bilo keto? A ste mi sploh napisali, ja. Ja, okej, je bil keto. Okej. Chat, po mojem bo jih malo začel. Tole, ko končamo, lej, koliko imamo rekord, chat, tle, pozabil sem že. Koliko imamo rekord, kje si la, Mark, jo. Dojno, kva vam gremo, del, easy. Kjera je fake, čakaj. Sour sop. Pa je pol fake, a X fake. X je fake, ja, chat, ja. X mora biti fake. X mora fake, a Spurs ste prvo, Spurs ste, okej, Spurs ste tudi, okej. Spurs, to ne vem, če obstaja, ampak lahko probate. Lahko probate P-O-O-R-S, probite, nikoli ne veš. Sour, spoj tudi Sour, a Sour ste dali? Sour je, okej. Browse, nice. Noise. Kaj je šlo bilo? Drops, ne vem. Soups. Nice. Sem mislil, da smo to že naredili, what? Nice. Ajde, še eno probimo vsaj gotoviti. Ena iz jih novo. Subs, nice, Vojksi, noise. Noise. 92, god, zdaj gremo na level 14. Zdaj že močka težje, mislim, da. Evo, ena črka je skrita, ena je pa fake. Nose, okej. N-O-S-E oboje. R ni fake, S tudi ni fake, N tudi ni fake, O tudi ni fake. I je fake, Paul, I je fake, chat. I je fake. I je fake, 100%. Vidimo, kaj je še. O, kje si Berlina? Jo. O, Tenza, tudi ti pozdravljam. Snor. A smo že ugotovili fake črko? Nismo še. Zdaj probat Snors, mogoče pa S še eden. Fake je zih I. Aha, ja, ej, skrita črka je še en S, chat. Še en S. Pa imate Noses, lahko probate. Roses. Roses. Evo, to, Source, ja, Roses še. To, nice. Easy. Pa imamo še. Source mogoče, ne vem, če je to okej, ampak ne. Senor lahko sam tako probate pol, I guess. Senor. Samo Senor, brez S-ja. Evo ga, nice, čikfo. Kva imamo še? Dejansko ne vem. Eons. Godi ste. Zdaj v dropih govorijo. 3 levele skipamo, chat. God. Nad level 20 gremo. Čak, zdaj bo ful težko, mislim, da. Zdaj bo ful težko. Aj, Fox, stisnite like. Spet je ena fake, pa ena... Hvala vsem, ko te rekel zdrav, ali pa v glavi. Kraj. Ja, vojk si, god. Tape ni. Ej! 5 črk je minimum, 5 črk je minimum, chat. 5 črk je minimum. 5 črk je minimum. Oj, se pravi. S je skrita številka spet. S je spet skrita, P, A, C, E, se pravi. Q ali pa T je fake. Q je fake, chat. Q je fake, pa 5 črk. Pa S je skrita. Cave, spaces. Tapes, a je tapes. A, to ste že dali, Nice. Kva ga delate, model? God. Kva imamo še? Nekaj še na S. Na S je zihar še ena. God. Zadnja je na S, chat. Zadnja je na S. Stace? A je Stace mogoče? Stace, Stape, maybe. Scape? A, to je že. Scape je že. Pol je... Septa, what the fuck? Yeah, I know, Abby, I know. I've realized. Chat, kva ovdje čujete? Kva je to model? Godi ste. Odgovori so zdaj skriti, chat. Pa 5 črk je minimum. Čik je dal skate in ni bilo. Pa je dal Tenza. Tenza je dal retake. To kdo te vedel? Retake. Pa če skate ni, pol je ena izmed teh fake. Ali je S fake? Pa je dal Čikfu. Čikfu je dal taker. Sprav, zna biti S fake. S zna biti fake, pol. Jaz mislim, da je S fake. Chat. Kaj bi lahko bilo? Tenzaj spet ugotovil. Tenzaj dal iter. Tenzaj dal iter. Iter. Crit, maybe? A je to okej, KR-E-E-T. Chat, S ni, nič ni na S, S je fake, chat. S je fake. Ta je težka, te so težke. Ker ne vemo, kaj je skrita črka. Zdaj boste mogli hiter. Tako, ker zvemo skrito črko, morate hiter začeti. M. Team? Aj ne, team je 4. Krim. O moj bog, to je dejansko. Maker, meter, market, god! Še eno, vsaj še eno. O ne. Ni zadnje. Dejansko ste zadnje ugotovili. God, okej, to pol nadaljujemo. Oj, zdaj damo member only chat, okej? Member only chat, da ne bo folk spoilil. God model, God ste ugotovili tole.
Against Mongraal's trio, but that battle is unfolding in Retail Row. And also, I saw in the feed, Wolfie's trio picking up a knock against Sapphics trio down there in Dirty Dock. So all the actions already starting up hot. And Tyson
trio,
is
Lando.
per usual,
Ne,
starting
samo
up
on je
high and
Lando
picking
sam.
on Coral Castle.
Yeah, before he was all the way up on the pier looking for some big damage. Now to the spire.
Navijamo za Tysona, Mongraal tudi ful prvoščam. Mongraal tudi ful prvoščam, ker pika, skar cel flop je model. Kje si Red Devil, jo. What, Chickfo? A to si ti, ali pa? Pa Tija Bogdavič, pozdravim, vi ste, ne te hvalili za Matija v čas. Čas, to je round 3, zadnja runda.
Absolutely.
Pa imamo pa hite naslednji teden. Pa reboot, pa finale. Saj ne vem, kdaj je. Ne vem, kdaj je finale. Ni še naslednji teden, mislim, da naslednji teden so hiti. Pa reboot.
Now this is going to be the most interesting moment here. These battles that we have here, the drop spot contestants of Retail Row. We've seen Mongraal have these battles before in the qualifier earlier rounds, and it's been sloppy, and it's going to get a little bit more sloppier because B Genius Trios here alongside with Ziku is here in this fight, and Mongraal gets knocked.
BB, move out the way. A huge car comes through past the hills. B Genius is here. They're going to be looking smart for the moment, but we'll tune right back to that in a second. Too much to handle, Sancho. That fight is going to be massive.
I gotta say, man, look at this number. It's been 294 days since we last seen Mongraal in a set lobby. That is November 1st, 2020. That is how long it's been since the Mongraal fans have been waiting to rise.
Yeah, that's a little bit more though. A few technical difficulties in the background, but we could podcast it down for now.
Čak, tole mora da mačkam bal gora, ne pa.
Right? We talked about Jason coming in. You're interested in that Mongraal beef.
Živo Xility.
The entire time, right?
Evo, mogu sam rada iz drugega akkaunta kad nastanem, kad sam že 3 mjeseca member, se me ne vidi u chatu. A ti, a kama je bil tvoj ta star account? A zbi moguće banan?
No doubt. I mean, that momentum that could definitely carry them over when they first came into the qualifiers.
And dan po hitih je reboot round.
You mentioned they finished in 4th place. That momentum
could definitely take. Hiti so vsi na soboto verjetno.
For those that didn't tune in last week, it was by far the wildest finish we ever had. Our top 3 actually went down in the opening moments of Game 6. And that basically let the whole barn door wide open for the top 6 to come on in to get into that top 3.
Yeah, it was like a true battle royale, like the way early days. You never actually expected what could happen in that game 6. But past that too, right, what Levin was talking about on the desk right there, all the French trios rolling in. I think, Sancho, one of the most interesting things is that everyone around them is like contested. They are free. That is a recipe for big success, especially for Search.
Yeah, we had Malibu kind of going in there. We had other like Floki's trio kind of landing in there. It was very messy at the very beginning. You had like 50-50 people fighting for floor loot. So, hey, if you get that uncontested, they definitely have some work to go with. But my storyline watching that trio out of ForZR had a auto qualification going into the finals this season, but Tayson disbanded ForZR and Nate as well. And so this is now ForZR's opportunity, and considering that it's one of those newly formed trios, and yeah, most likely they get in through the semifinals route if they don't work out here in the top 3. Still, you've got to root for ForZR to make it through.
Hopefully, 4-0 or Taste, whichever side you're on, they're both
Zdaj se vidi,
here
da ful dobro
playing
izgleda, če bomo
today's
zadnji
launch,
te
right? That's the most
prižgan, chat.
exciting thing. 3 spots
Boljš
up for
izgleda,
grabs.
ker ni
I'm
prazno.
counting more than even 10, 15 teams who could possibly take
Kaj,
that
Klezi?
today, right? Qual 3s
Mato,
were all those
ma
good
member
teams
sem
who
bil
like
za
to punish
poletne SLO
mistakes,
igre
like,
lani 2
stay
meseca.
on height.
In zdaj prejšnji teden sem spet
Are
ratov.
not here right
Ma
now.
vem,
They're
po
gonna
mojem
let
nisem bil, ker
EU
nisem nikoli
breathe a
hejtal kaj
little bit
takega.
the entire time,
Emi,
right? They're
could you
not being
check?
good as
Zdaj,
they are on
Matija,
cardio
dej nam
compared
v
to the
Discordu
earlier weeks, but
Abi
at the same
pošlju
time,
DM.
there's only 3 slots, right? So these
Ne, ne,
guys,
ne,
it's a
bom
very
kar
good
ni
point,
gledal.
are going to be battling for it. Ex-teammates at the same time all across the map. You know, you got Chrissy as well, who used to be a part of that trio, who's kind of split up in terms of you know, his past. He's contested completely at Weeping Woods too. It seems like all these teams were kind of rolling in last chance
Ne bom kaj
at the very
animiran ga
first
dal gor.
battle to take off the bus.
And that's what's going to come down to what's going on in game 1. Of course, we're going to work through some of those issues that we're having. We really appreciate you hanging out here.
Jaz hočem biti forward komentator, ko pravi tako nam. Lejana, moraš začeti na angliščini delati.
We got to talk about
moraš pa dobiti exposure.
Tasten's trio alongside with Vino and Reason. I mean, Vino.
Ej, Vojksi, mislim, moramo še dobiti okolo za Reddit pa za Minecraft.
Him having those issues and trying to get up
Ak
to
si
the
ti
pressure,
member
but I
Sunday
think
bo
Vino definitely has
šele
it in him to
septembra
meet the
enkrat.
challenge here this week.
Moram narediti,
potential, but Sancho,
naslednji
what are these
teden bi
guys
bilo fajn
doing? You
narediti
know what I
kakšne
mean? Like
SLO
week
igre, se
after
ne vem.
week,
Ne vem, kako naj SLO
so
igre
close,
naredim,
just
chat.
gotta put the
Težko je.
brakes on this insane train they have, just
Maybe naredim.
chugging through the entire lobby,
Ne
round
naredim
and
na
round
enem
and round the
streamu
map they
vse,
go,
bomo
but
videli.
for some reason they get derailed all the way at the very end. We'll
Že
get some
sebe, jojo.
updates on trios that might have gone down
Dela,
across the map
God.
and that Mongraal fight especially.
God.
I would assume
Okay.
with a third party there and just 2 trios down already, something mean and bad possibly happened in that
Ignada
classic
je že-
POI, but for now, Utuna was
Pre na glas drugače je v redu,
1v2,
chat.
it looks like over here a
Mi
little bit
nekaj
of a
zabagam na
kerfuffle all the way at
Streamlabsu.
one of the disk stations. It'll be slightly central towards the map. He'll have a chance to kind of climb back, but time's running out, Sancho, and time is the
60.
most important thing inside the FNCS.
No
Lejana.
doubt, this is the Defiant Dish area where Ingram usually drops here. Ingram making a 3rd appearance alongside with his trio in the qualifiers, and Swag is part of those trios that are just newly formed. A lot of the leftover pieces of the movement when it comes to the EU region. And of course, he's going against Dandip and Devin, a part of another trio coming around here, normally landing in the aftermath area, but you're seeing it all unfold here. Multiple trios here, no doubt. Zone most likely here, but I've never seen this many trios center here, Shayo.
Not at all. I mean, everyone is trying for a chance, right? They've learned from their mistakes from the previous weeks. We've seen a lot of these guys might be rolling in a little bit middle of the pack or first time FNCS qualifier finals. Like, you're going to be bad on Surge. You're not going to be playing, you know, aggressive enough, maybe a little bit too passive. They're all jumping, they're all looking for that engagement as fast as possible. As a result, it's going to get a little bit too messy. They'll stay organized and keep clean.
Some action that's well in the feed as you're seeing right here. This is what I was going to talk about. The team landing in the Flush Factory is moving over, and they're having a battle here. Actually, it's the Misty Metals team coming over to the Flush. It's Andalix Squeeze here, down 4ZR. He's been eliminated, and they already got 1 elimination, so it looks like there was a trade happening, but this is a battle between JoJo's trio and Andalix's trio, and hey, I think right now, Andalix considering that they have a newly formed trio.
Hey, chat, Mongraal landa v retail, ne? Če se ne motim. Mislim, da so zmagali.
This is the way to do it if he's able to come into the top 3.
Abi, I forgot. I need to go tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Abby,
keep pounding over here.
I have to go to the gym tomorrow.
I mean, for JoJo, this just has to be a completely bizarre adventure. Imagine game number 1, they roll in, Flush Factory, looking at the drop spot map, and there's not going to be any issues. Unfortunately, you know, Stasio trying to hold things down as well. Looks like there might have been a little bit of switches in terms of who's dropping here entirely, too. But you get bullied by Andalex and Squeeze and 4ZR within the first minute of the game, Sancho. You kind of want to go back to sleep. Why did we wake up for this FNCS?
Yeah, and that's kind of a very interesting development when it comes to the Misty Metals team actually moving this far out so aggressively to Flush Factory. Be interesting to see what gave him that green light to push in so aggressively. Normally, you see a Misty Metal team go lazy late.
And now we'll tune in.
That's not true. Nobeni ima glave.
Whether it's a card or an inflatable bull, one of the most exciting items added this season. We'll see exactly how fast they can get their game online.
And they're going to have to definitely shake off some of that, like you mentioned, that 4-place woes here. And now they're going to go ahead and push into Weeping Woods. This is not an easy trio to go up against. It's Fremok's trio. And we all know what Fremok could do when he has a legendary pump in his hand. We got to know what he has, but you got to watch out. Fremok could definitely put you on a highlight reel.
Ne bomo videli. Mongraal je še živ. Mislim, da je zmagal Ospan. Saj tako so proji. Mislim, saj tako so komentatorji govorijo takrat, kaj je crknal. Najmnišem zihar, no.
It's going to be easy for these guys just to disengage, look for a little bit of damage
against each other,
and then move on with their day.
Just to give you an
začetku.
update on the rest of the trios that have been eliminated. Mongraal's trio has been
Koliko je na
eliminated from
živce ta
Retail
pickaxe, ga ima
Row. You have
Tyson, dejansko
Swag,
mi je
who just
karen.
got eliminated. We saw Swag by himself.
Kje si, man?
Nail's
Yo, yo.
trio has been eliminated. Lola's trio and Wiseup, that has been eliminated as well. And as well, Wolfie's trio eliminated out there doing that Cammy split. My pick
Kaj,
to
Mongraal je dead,
proceed into
Jari.
the top 3. You know, considering
Nisem
that they had a
poslušal.
great shepherd into that Cammy split, I thought they would definitely be an opportunity to get in
Maj,
to the
zakaj
top
si nas
3
ti hejtil
into the finals.
včeraj? S kakšnemu razlogom?
And there goes Stasio finally out from Coop's position here too. Just look at this vantage point. He can basically
And
have a
there's a comment
conversation,
Tyson topic
a
X.
one-way conversation, Sancho, with any trio on the map. I think the scariest one to look out for is the one right below these guys in Gorgeous Gorge. Bobby Fly
cel trio je
Versa,
dead,
I
sem mislil,
would
da je sam
say,
Mongraal.
you know,
Ja,
was
rip.
one of the most invisible trios you've
Ja,
been
rip.
watching. They've just played so well across every week, just had some of the best average placement inside their games as well. They've been really good in Qual 2, especially. Today, though, they're going to have to do better than ever before and hit
Mongraal
that top
res
3.
upam, da se
That'll
zdaj bo
be
v hicih,
the
a ne,
thing,
ker so
though, that
prišli
you
v
have
finale,
to,
kar je
you know,
dober.
be a little bit more
Samo
than just
upam, da
visible. You
nekako
have to
upam, da so top
try
3
to
danes.
achieve greatness, make plays for height, not just be completely consistent, because
What
we've seen
the-
it so far. The consistent trios,
Oh, yeah.
as well as they do perform, every single trio has one
Abi
pop-off game,
poslušam.
one double
Razen če
heal, and
berem
to
chat,
kind
ne
of
pa
push
je,
them
če
all the way
govorim.
towards the top.
You talked about, you know, being invisible. That has to definitely be the Stir 6 and Vettel coming from the Play Well organization. We all thought, you know, a couple of seasons ago, they had the ability to make some noise. We were all putting some money in the bank. I mean, I remember me and Sundown casting them, talking about their
niemand
hit
kicking.
fighters, adding Crizzy. And now Crizzy is in danger of the lobby focus. They're going to have to hold some walls as in comes the beams and bullets. Yeah, wow.
Koliko je naši postavljen? Ej, ko mi smo začeli, tako da...
They were talking about Crizzy.
Znači, itak sam
Where are these
Tyson.
guys? And right now,
Mongraal je dead.
already tough in a tough spot.
Pa jaz ne
I
vem
don't
za
even think they know
Mongraala
where
pa
they are for the
Tysona.
moment, man. Those shots
Da
came
koja je
in
direkt do finala.
so fast. Got them just moving in 360 degrees. ADN Amplify Matzo really putting on the pressure.
Yeah, AEM, Matzo, Amplify. So one of those trios we haven't seen together since back in November 2020. You know, when Benji took over Matzo and Amplify, took it away from ADN. You know, we were wondering when would this historic trio come back together. They're here back together again. They're okay this
Zdaj me
entire
kako
season
gre,
style. But this
kako
may
imajo
be the
tege
opportunity to get
Tysonov
in the
trio.
top 3. They're
Zdaj me
not
njihov
favored to
srč.
get in, but they definitely
Ne,
have the
Kingza že
experience
dva
and the
vikenda
know-how
zapored ni
to do
prišel v
so.
finale. Pač hit se bo
Absolutely,
igral.
the same for Savid.
Hit se bo
Right,
igral.
I feel like quals aren't exactly, and even semifinals aren't exactly their, you know, their style though. These guys are one of those reboot trios we like to watch who, you know, try their best week after week, have these upper echelon of teams just keep them down, or the changes they might not,
Pač
you know,
danes
adapt
ima
too fast enough.
Tyson
But when that
zadnjo
reboot
šanso, da
round
gre
comes
direkt
around,
naprej v
this
veliki
is one of
finale.
those teams that can definitely win a
Pač
game.
vedno so dobro
They'll
igrali
have to win
open
two
se,
or
round
even
2,
more
round
here
3.
today, and it's not going to be the
Mislim,
same
tudi
stakes
tudi
regardless.
finals, te
Big fights all
qualifierje so
across
vedno
map,
dobro
DKS
igrali, sam nikoli niso bili top 3, žal. Oziroma prejšnjič niso dobro igrali. Imamo ga kjer free kill, what?
Gophers come out of their holes
Kjer
and look
free
for
kill
some
model.
damage. Look
Oh,
to see
pa
how
še
the
free
entire
damage.
stun is looking for the moment
Ja,
on the
so jih
field, and boom, a big back shot
bully
from
ali.
the DKS. He does escape, but at the same time replies back with a shot of his own. Void is
Bully ali so
reacting
jih.
perfectly to every single angle available
To
to
so
him. And
imeli
as a result,
God
these
refresh
guys
zdaj,
clean
God
up the fight.
refresh, God
When you got that
search
legendary
tag.
attack, all you gotta do is just have it out and just keep spamming it everywhere, getting some big hits everywhere, and that is what you want to see. Eric and now all
te niso sploh
alone here
prišli
trying to
naprej.
avoid the madness. But I was gonna say, Shayo, there's so many other trios that are just historically performing in the middle, as Void now is in full pursuit of Erican, and Void is trying to get away. He still has that power of that legendary attack.
Also, kje videl Tysona gor, nismo, ne? Prvi game smislim, valjda prvi game. Ko mi začel se je? Ko mi začel se je, chat? Lahko stisnete like, gremo od zdaj do 400 lajkov oziroma do ene 500, ajde. Če si stisnete like, pa ne pozabi prav, odkud je ScorpLZ, na šal posnemi hvala vam. Nekaj sem hodil dejansko dobro zdel, mačkam bolj na levo je bom dol.
off a little bit after the fact. Can they use
Koliko bom
that
lahko.
early, you know, boost, the speed, and hold on to it for the entire 6 games, or will they fizzle out by 3 is the question.
Oh, here we go, folks. This is that team that was always coming in the top 4,
Evo,
coming against a
Tysonov
team
trio.
that was trying to reclaim their glory.
Tyson trio so sam 159 above. O, ta pickaxe.
Tason's gonna have to try to find a way to get through
Živčen ga me
this
dela, ne vem zakaj,
obstacle.
chat.
May decide to go on the low ground. Does have
Ne vem, zakaj me dela ta pickaxe,
and some
živčen ga.
launch pads at the
To je
side.
kar tak cel flop je ta kača model.
Dropped in their sights.
Tyson headshotan.
Got to be careful here. It's a big investment to get the supply drop. No doubt will give them some
Mislim,
mobility.
dobro je, da so dobili tale, imajo launchpad pa biga mat, tako da ni panike.
Almost free. I mean, you got a couple attacks, sure, but still, like, come on, like, You see someone rotating, you want to take some shots, more shots at them. Come on now.
I think they know exactly who it is and what will happen if they take a few shots and might get focused towards the end of the game. Who knows? At the same time, just the start of that rotation on the mini map from that perspective, you couldn't even see the safe zone just yet. For Nikov, one loss, and Podestai, different situation equation entirely.
Da se uhiti, koliko si respointov.
Top right side of the map.
Sploh ne vem, koliko si respointov lahko dobiš tako pač v finalu pa tako. Dejansko ne
On
vem.
the zone line, this might be a toll that may be too expensive to pay.
No doubt, and this is their third appearance in the qualifiers. We'll keep an eye if this French trio can actually make it through. You talked about the switch. They were in Coral Castle last week. Now they're coming over back to Steamy Stacks. I mean, the first time they were at Steamy Stacks in the first qualifying week, they had an abysmal showing. They had a 25 place finish with only 60 points. And they literally only got 10 eliminations throughout the entire week in qualifier one. But what's at stake right here, folks, is the top three. And you see teams like Eclipse's trio who are making their first appearance into the qualifiers. They're trying to make their way through. As you've seen Tayson now trying to make his way through, and look at all the mats they're investing so far.
Ja, Vuda nimajo. Tyson je full Vuda porabil za to, da so tam pedem. Ampak imajo dva peda. Imajo dva peda. Imajo dva peda, kar je god.
Not that bad of a decision at all. You want to have the best, you know, what's it called, foundation built down before you know any mistakes can happen or sprays come through. This is the time you want to get greedy, and then after this is where you want to maybe end up playing it slightly safe.
Hey, I don't know, man. The safe rotation, that may not be an option. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that mini map. 4 trios just directly in that white line space. You got Pablo's trio, you got Pablo's trio making their way through already, and they're getting greedy with tags. So that's the path right now for Tayson's trio to go through.
Neka tracker series so isti kot after week.
Exactly. They've had a few successful rotations already. This will be the tricky one if you're just joining us right now.
Maybe it's just random number.
Game number 1 of the last
they just added, and now everyone has it.
Lots of drop spots open because top trios are already in the finals. That also means wins matter so much. Every moment matters so much more. You can skip the grueling process of semifinals and go all the way towards the finals and that top prize.
Just to give you an update, play well trio alongside with Crazy, who we saw on that backside of the rotation, making their way through the canyons. Just what Tayson went through, Shayo. They're out. So that's what's showing you how dangerous this rotation Tayson's making. But while we're on board with Bobby, who are just a little bit ahead, closer to the safe zone of Tayson.
Yeah, this is mid-game if you're not really familiar with what the checklist kind of looks like, especially in this situation in the 4th zone. What these guys basically want to do is make it in that white circle on the minimap, but at the same time not use as many materials because there's a whole nother game to play Sancho right after this is over. You want to make sure you have the best position.
Tiska pride na Nord ga chila. Čeprav velika šansa je po mojem, da je 50-50 levo spodaj ali pa desno spodaj.
Absolutely, you're seeing right now we just crossed the placement threshold. Placement points have been doled out 5 points. That's why you see Flash here with 5 right there. Now we got a great overview is what all of our trios have to work through. It feels like everybody, I said this last week, is literally in a lane, and you're seeing all the investment, a lot of hard mats, and you're seeing a taste of what the high ground's looking at. Now we have old Amos trio right here and a scrum where that big complex is.
Yeah, and this huge complex. I like the fact that you mentioned high ground as well. The higher you are right now in these boxes, the more control you kind of have over what you can see, what you can do. You can force people to move before you as well. So trails like Save It looking so good every time Old looks up right now. Every name you see is in a much better spot than they are. They're down low, Sancho, way beneath that poverty line of success, at least in this zone for the moment. And they're having lots of trouble inside the economy of the materials. It's getting deleted over and over. They're getting spammed now. Backside to a wall they can't even build on. This is dangerous.
No doubt, and One Loss's trio has been eliminated. You've seen Fremont getting knocked and eliminated. But you're right here. So much has been expended to put this defense to avoid the lobby focus. And now, Zone 5, that have been and have not has been revealed. Old aim assist, no doubt, being true to his name.
Tyson ima zdaj blizu zona, mislim da. Če niso celo že noter, vsaj neki.
So they're going to have to make their way through on this rotation here. It's going to be very difficult considering, look at the rest of the lobby that's on their backside.
Yeah, look at how the wealthy thrive. Irazumi Fury just looking for any shots possible, and MXR below them. Even Xenolith right now, his HP so low. Not used to seeing that, but it's Storm Surge that's raining down lightning from above, giving them the trouble.
Sam 57 above so.
You start taking damage from the
server. Oni imajo vedno težave s tem, zaradi tega, ker pač so uncon in je ful težko pol surge biti. Oni vedno rabijo surge. To imajo največ problemov. Ali dobro so tege?
place as much as possible. Reason now on the front side of this
Ti li imajo srče, o ne, Tyson.
Down goes another
Oh my god,
opponent.
Tyson je
That's
komaj
Monkey
živ,
getting
Tyson je
knocked from
komaj živ.
Zeno, and Zeno is getting eliminated. You talked about when you got
Nice,
that
nice,
pressure.
nice, nice,
coming
nice.
from
Dubal
up
so cel
above,
trio,
Trevor,
dubal
but
so
you
cel
cannot
trio.
forget
God.
the pressure from
God.
the players in the lobby as well. And take a look
Žalje,
at that.
carjo, jo.
All the trios are making their way through. There's about 6 or 7 trios
Taki
not
ne
in
imam
the
že
safe
2
zone.
leti.
Yeah, time to get all the way towards the safe station of the zone. So many, you're right, Sancho, aren't in just yet, and people
To
are
je
dropping like
troll,
flies.
Avi.
Gloomy, knocked down. Eric now finally succumbs to what looks like Trident on the right side of the feed right
Avi,
there.
can you
Now,
check his
see it from
YouTube
Fraction's
account?
POV. It is chaos in the mid ground. Everyone's looking for any opportunity to not only get a few search tags,
Avi, I'm
but
looking.
to claim their ground. There's not enough room, Sancho, for all these trios to live in this circle.
You talked about
okay.
that height. That's going to be
Oh,
a huge
rip.
factor
Rip.
considering the mountainous area all around. Any
Oi,
kind
oi.
of elevation and look, it's
Misklikkel
going to go south off this elevation a little bit closer to Lazy Lake. So
Ja,
the
lej,
people
Vojksi,
that are sitting
nikoli
on the
ne
high
veš,
ground, like
nikoli
you
ne
mentioned,
veš.
Save it as Mosh is getting knocked in the feet.
Nikoli ne
That is
veš.
a trio that we're going to keep
Sad
an eye
zanima
on.
me je,
Who's
če je to
up
ta
there.
Vipex.
Trios like Tastel's trio.
Vipex
Vipex
si tu včeraj igral.
huge eliminations on
Nisi,
the
a ne?
backside of the storm. We got to see how they're going to
Round
navigate
dve.
and make this rotation because look, they've got max pull.
Yeah, it's not even navigation. This is excavation, Sancho. Max pull, zone's kind of angling upwards, and every
Bravi.
single trio, including
Kjer pa
Tayson,
Stork, kakšen
they're
Stork?
like underground right now. A launch
Ja, ne vem,
pad to boost
Berlinja.
you all the way up. That's exactly what they'll do. Fourth place from last week, rolling in. Versa right beside them, but right now it's anyone's game. Blaster, Yaxo, Nakos, they have the best one.
Zakaj
They
pa
have
folk
ultimate
koristi
high
me,
ground.
kako?
Talk about some old names in the region holding
Cool.
on to height as all the launch pads now contesting it. Save it, trying to glide on through.
Tysonov
trying to
trio,
assess if he can take it.
prejšnji
And
teden
as you
so
see
prvo
on the
igro
front
ful
side,
dobro
ahead of the
odigrali.
storm, it's
Sam
Bobby's
pol so
trio
čovkali.
here.
Prvo igro so
So
zmagali,
Nakos,
če se ne
Blaster,
motim.
Yaxo, yes,
A
they
ne?
have the height, but they are behind
Prejšnji
the
dvig.
storm here. And
Pa na
all these
koncu pa,
gliding
ja.
people can head on over and retake height as
Height
Nakos is trying to
probajo
defend
vzeti.
here. But this will be interesting. It's Putrick. Putrick here is on
Izgubil so
top
height.
contesting Nakos. And Putrick there is going to push down Nakos, Blaster and Yaxo to a lower level.
Zgodilo so vse mece
He's gonna
zdaj.
go try to play a little bit safe. The out of materials too. They invested so much, gonna be inside height. It just has one more box left overall and is kind of split over
Save
from his
video,
teammates.
Maro.
So they'll be able to find him soon and possibly split Mats. Oh no! Traffic jam in the way. They're not gonna be able to find
A res,
anything
kaj,
inside
Vojksi?
this. They have to break down again on the side too.
Ej,
Big
Marinko.
shots, Jules in front of him
To
too,
ti
but
misliš,
he
to
blocks
ti
himself in
misliš,
the backwards
Marinko.
ramp. Another shot from Nakos, and he finally goes down. Too much pressure when you lose high ground.
Kje je
The high
Tysonov
ground
trio?
expended so
Kje
many
je Tysonov
mats,
trio?
they went down into the chaos, fighting their way through as Amplify gets
Okay,
an
Vipex,
elimination on
okay, ni
Nakos. So
panike, ni
Amplify
panike.
greeting them, and here is Yaxo all
Sam
by
pač lik na
himself, like I
ključe je,
mentioned,
no.
an old name down
Lik
from the
na
World
ključe je.
Cup days. Yaxo here trying to reclaim some glory here in season 17.
Now
So
we're
včeraj
moving
ni neki
also
full
all the
hate,
way
ali?
towards
Daš pa rad to
Gorgeous Gorge. It's
member
gonna get a
tipal.
little bit more rocky for all these trios. I'm gonna start taking big damage. Also note so many people
Sploh ne, a so
have
se ti
built their
zahvalil
own
za
layers. It's
memberstvo.
tricky to survive. Sapik has found no damage on any other trio, even after getting height. They're doing down almost a storm surge for the moment. We'll have to kind of bust into their minis and possibly
A ne,
even
Mare,
that
eden
jump
od teh
smash
je od
cannon.
včeraj, ker je
There are
probleme
so many
delal.
mats built out. So many people have skipped
Okay,
low
hejtu.
ground, made their own layers. Height is so high. We don't usually see this, and
Tyson
there's
čisto,
no
aha,
way this
vidim,
high
ja.
ground trio can
A je
find any
Tysonov trio,
damage for
cel
the
trio
moment.
živ.
Can you
Tyson se rad
imagine if
healat?
anyone like Bobby's trio would just look up and
Konoča
see
se heala,
height
trash.
taking storm surge damage? That would have been an easier green light, but we'll
Kar
go
ne heala
more on
se.
that story and focus on the
Tyson na
low
jajca.
ground here with Tayson.
Yeah, with a lack of
Dev
influence
damage.
on high ground, it all goes down to Tayson, who's controlling low. Another big shot.
Who's
He dives
controlling
back, 51
low?
HP right now. But
To je
that's like
dobra
who
igra
will
za
come in.
Tysona
This is
trio.
a master
Top
class right
10
now,
so.
Sancho.
Yeah,
Mislim,
they're
ni še-
looking
ni še
great.
dobro,
They're just
ampak
above the low ground
glede
here,
na to,
so
da
they have
so
the
vsi
ability to go
živi,
down below, do
je to
some
zelo
double
dobro.
edits. They're trying to protect that as well.
Čuj mi je, da
You're seeing
Tyson
the
ne
cones
tarpa,
come
so
out
kaj
here. They're
zamenjali,
not
ali že skozi
theirs,
celo
so
sezono
they're
tako?
doing their best to break it so they won't get double edit and push down themselves. They got their sights on iRes. iRes getting knocked from someone on the backside.
Savik pa
Sorrento's
Tutrik, sam
getting
duo.
that, and now
Duo
you're seeing
je
the
na
rest of it.
heightu.
Savik still has height though. No doubt, not a lot of damage, so no eliminations here. Let's see who has the advantage here on the low ground. You got Young Bob trio. You have second from height. That is Andelix and ForCR still at full strength. And I'm just waiting for that trio to take height.
Yeah, on high ground right now. Lots of noise to actually take it in the 6th zone, but not enough action right now for these guys to actually suppress
ne
any
more
trio
medat.
below them. As a result,
Ne
so
more
many
medat.
teams still left alive in the 9th. Yaxo
Oh.
finally going down. What a clutch of placement
Ko
overall.
so tega
Andelix
bil?
finds
Čak,
Vino.
Vino je umrl,
Oh, no,
Rizon je
that's
mrtev.
huge, but at the moment,
A je
up to
Tyson
five
še živ?
mats on in the
Jaz
end,
mislim, da je
they
Tyson
can't
trio
make
cel
their
mrtev.
way through. Sapik
Pa
and
so bili
Fuchik,
top kok.
I think they've lost, one of their teammates on the side. No, Centric
Ja, bili
is still
so
there.
peti,
Fast Rokido's
šesti.
gone down in Void. 5
ni bad.
elims this trio has 10 Sancho. They're popping off.
Nice,
That's
Brumat.
huge. Last time they popped off, they got a victory royale in 15
Kiki, ti si cel, da bi
eliminations in
slušalke.
the last game to close out the qualifiers in week 1.
Če si javi kup nove slušalke, ti jih lahko
but
proda.
still a huge game with
Če
42
hočeš.
points. Putrick and Sapphic here trying to close out Eclipse. It's a matter of moments here. This is game 1 here of the qualifiers 3, and it could go to Sapphic's way, who were last
A ja,
time
ne,
in
ti
the
so
last
vsi
time we
živi,
saw them
nisem vedel, da
here.
je
They were
Centric z
holding
njimi.
on, but it's
Pa tam je
Andelix
pozgleda,
way
kada
on the
niso.
low ground. Sapphic takes a lot of fall damage. Andelix gets
Sapphic mrtev.
elimination here. Andelix trying to turn back the hands of time, and Andelix is going to do a 1v3.
Imagine da Andelix tole
He activates, he's
klača.
cranking up the height.
Imagine.
This is it. Can Andelix be able to close out and say not so fast? A Putrick and default here. Default with
Centric,
the
Putrick, Sapphic so zmagal.
They were able to
GG's.
hold on.
GG, zdaj te vsi GG so chat, zdaj vas bom spustil iz zapora. Vsi GG so chat, evo tkola. Vsi GG so chat.
Hey, what we learned from that is that, yeah, Andalex, no one can stop you. A mountain
A res,
has to
kaj,
be
Ana?
away
Nisem
to
vedel.
actually put this man
Ajde,
down.
vsi GG so chat.
His equal
Da vidimo
match, man.
lestvico.
He put 3 together in the end game, but nice try from him right there.
Prvi
So,
Kiko
the most
Slender.
interesting thing
O moj
about
bog,
this game
pa
was
jaz delam.
how long all these
Jaz gledam, kako so lahko oni prvi.
Yeah, we had so many trios
God.
at the end game, and we were talking about the
Kaj, a Centric je ork? A veš, da to nisem vedel, what? To nisem vedel. Jaz mislim, da njemu tako ime. Ja, GG. Ja, GG.
We tuned in for just a moment, but they just
A je Sapik? A ja, ka ima te črke noter, ma dej.
You know, all the way at the top, Centric. He's
A je Forziar je drugi. Pol imamo, kje imamo Amplify Metzl, so 5. Tyson 6. Ni več, 6. play 6 killov. Ni bad, ampak lej, morajo pick upat, morajo biti top 3, morajo biti top 3. Tyson je umrl off spawn, tako da, ja, imeli so 2 killa. Se pravi, eden je ustal živ, ki jih je ubil. Ja, GG. GG, ajde, gremo tole naprej. Ajde, gremo tole naprej. A pojem njem, kdo je to, Ana. Sploh ne vem, kdo je ta default, prvi slišam. Mongraal, ne Tyson. Vse, nisem rekel Mongraal. Ja, no, Mongraal sem mislil. Mongraal sem mislil. Ajde, pol, gremo. Pet je minimum črk. Nice, samo bomo izgubili. Ok, Hanzo, ok.
I think what's interesting also is
Okay, dvoje ste ugotovili.
towards the end of that second moving zone, they were below Storm Surge, despite the fact they had
Green screen pa srajca.
eliminations, I think at that point as well.
Chat, green screen, ko so spremenili, težko imeti. Vsem temu bomo malo drugače.
By himself, the whole team getting 11, so they saw a big Storm Surge warning and they said, you know what, we're going down.
Ok, Marinko, vem ja. Marinko, ne rabiš spamat, no?
He's looking for revenge. He's out here trying to right the wrongs.
Ja, Marinko si zasluži timeout. Marinko
You know
spama.
what, that's the kind of steam we need, but again, we'll have to see if those game 1 curses hold true or if these guys can finally flip that curse on its head.
Chat, zdaj pojma nimam, kera črka je fake, pa kera je skrita. Dejansko ne vem.
Talk through some of the head-to-head matchups that we did not anticipate going this way.
Well, I'll be honest, right? I don't know
Kaj je Hydra napisal? Marinko mi piše DM.
But this is insane. He picks up a knock right with the vehicle, but then a player jumps in his car and he's not able to handle it. Very odd stuff, very weird stuff there.
Yeah, it's weird. They tried to claim a lot of the cami splits. So you can see him landing a solo over there down at the dish, right? Obviously, he was contested on, so he just dipped out, and it didn't end up working out. But another fight that didn't end up working out, Mongraal's team again, going up against Hatim's team. You can see the Mongraal's team actually had the advantage, right? They ended up picking up the majority of the eliminations while this first started, but sometimes it doesn't always go that way when you're in a contested drop spot.
Ja, rip, chat.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate because
Yeah,
it's obviously one of the big fights
GG.
we're looking forward to seeing playing
GG.
out. Mongraal on social media
Zdaj bo
expressing
itak malo se začel. Se to že, ne, to je še replay. Ajde, da vidimo Mongraal tle.
Being an unknown quantity means teams like this team here, Jules, Zico, and Sun, are going to come through and they're going to look to try to take advantage. Jules walked in, he got all 3 eliminations and just absolutely stomped, takes out the mighty Mongraal himself right there, and he looked for more, right? This is something that we have to watch out for over the
En
course of
delay
the
imaš na
day.
streamu, prav Marinko. Marinko, nimam delaya na streamu, kaj ti nabijaš? 2 sekunde je. Lobby je, da ne rabiš spamat. Sem igral solo cash cup chat. Chat, na Trovotu me followajte. Klicaj Trovov chat. Na Trovotu me followajte. Solo cash cup bom na Trovotu streamal. Ostale kape pa na streamu. Ostale kape pa na YouTubeu. Ja? Kaj ne vem, boš se počutim, če tam. Ampak sem streamal solo cash cup. Dej nazaj na črke. Chat, zdaj se malo se bo začel, ne splača se. Ne splača se. Dobre linija, ok. Kva ok. Koliko točk si imel na CC-ju? 29 točk sem imel čat. Ja, če folk, gledajte. Na Trovotu vsak dan provam streamati 2 do 3 ure, pa YouTube pa vsak dan 3 ure. To kdo te vedel. En dan med tednom bom verjetno fraj. Ne vem še kjer dan, to bom še videl. Kakšna sreda zna, da bi bil fraj. Sreda, torka pa sreda. Polka se šola začne, to da imam en dan v tednu fraj. Daj bojo SLO igre. Ja, ne vem zdaj chat. Nisem imel noč tako, kam bi dal. Mogoče bojo... Ja, sad to bo full hiter, če bom dal ta teden zdaj. Lej, bomo videli, kaj bom naredil, okej? Bomo videli. Igar si plačnik jedo? Nice. Ja, Luka, na Trovotu sem imel šanse med 120 točk, sam sem dvakrat off-spawn umrl v zadnjih 3 igrah. Kaj, Mongraal 3 je bil 3v1 pa so zgubali, a res ali kaj? Se splača kupati HyperX Cloud 2? Vse splača. Evo. Znači, folk, poslovite se, dam vas v member only chat. Member only chat. Vsi, good luck v chat za Tysona pa Mongraala.
Place almost, so we'll see exactly how these guys can roll all the way in. Obviously, though, Sapphic, Putrick, and Default will roll with the highest overall for the moment. And if I do call this man centric sometimes in the end game, my apologies. It's the only name I can grasp on the screen for the moment, Santos. So that's what we're gonna have to be reacting to.
Yes, and no doubt we're seeing some eliminations happen right there in the Slurpee Swamp area. But my question, we saw Wolfie's trio push on here early. Even though they're landing Cammy's split, I think they tried to literally do what Cammy's trio did. When they got a knock on Thomas HD, they got the green light, and all of a sudden they pushed down into the ravine area and the dirty docks. It just didn't work out. You can land a Cammy split all you want. You can try to do the playbook that Cammy, Seti, and Teak do. That doesn't mean you're going to have that top 3 result.
Yeah, no, it's always about not only having the spot, putting your own spin on it, learning it, and, you know, rolling with what it has to offer in your own style as well. That being said, Mongraal, I mean, he's lived at Retail Row for so many seasons. He's kind of developed his own style of playing over here. He's finally allowed to be inside round number 4 off of a good performance in that 3rd round, 1st place overall. But that first game, kind of shaky overall too. We'll see exactly how this duel goes around the 2nd time.
They always have to be worried about the duo, the trio coming out of Caddy Corner. There's always a go-to rotation in Caddy Corner. Usually Jules, last week he was there, was contested by Trixie, so Jules did not have a great run in the qualifiers in the previous year, as you pick and see Irez getting a knock against Nail there. And now we're going to take a look at Storm 1, and it's going to be very heavy in the northwest center of the map here. Pleasant Park is going to be the heart of it.
And we still have Full Castle involved there. Hey, you know what? I'm really concerned about Tason's trio coming out of Believer Beach. Where are they going to get those Storm Surge? Last time we saw them pick on Lazen's trio rotating outside of south of Believer Beach. They took on a lot of box fights there, and it ended up costing them in Game 6. And Leo and Skype pushed them in the 3rd party into that fight. So now you're looking at the map, folks. If you were them, child, where would you get your Storm Surge tags? You've seen them kind of mess with Coral Council, but I see no one near them at all.
That's all on the timing. They're very good at punishing trios that are active and on the run and getting their tags there. If everyone bunkers down, it is a problem. I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow even run outside of zone or just base up quickly and punish anyone moving in Coral or Boney.
You're seeing the effects here. Look, Mongraal's trio already out. They literally don't have much loot. They just grab whatever they can here in the residential area retail row, and they're out. They do not want to get their party. They're seeing, we saw in the previous round, the good placement, the quality games here. They were able to finish consistently in the top 10, and this is why we're seeing a change in direction. Normally Mongraal, he was sit there defend retail row to the day he gets eliminated. That's not the case here right now.
It's just playing overall so well. Was just on our screen. Put us at Nikov on last. We'll hold on them for a second because Agram is in another mid-game fight in another week of the FNCS.
No doubt,
is
Ingram's
hard
here
scuffed, hard
trying
scuffed.
to be able to hold on to the fight dish
Hard
here.
scuffed.
It's not working out. This is the second game where we're seeing so many trios land in this central area, and I haven't seen this much traffic since the Sentinel Graveyard. I'm not quite sure what people are finding here that's so valuable.
Yeah,
right now,
GG's.
Buzz and Vox are on the full retreat, and Bugs is really close to getting eliminated. Yes, he gets knocked. Now Vox again all by himself, and man, I can't imagine. So, hey, Ingram's trio been landing here very uncontested. Now, this match right here, contested, and you're seeing it's not working out for him as Vox will be able to pick up Ingram.
Peggy.
Yeah, so it's
Porky
week 3. I feel
motiv.
like a lot of the times like
Da se
game
ne
4
baki
and
konista
5,
tako
people
kot
start to
bolj
realize
višji nivo, ali
patterns
kako
of
se
other
reče.
trios or they
Mislim,
go
lej,
all
prišel
in
so
on
v
their
finale,
secondary
tako da
options when
definitivno
it's the
nista
final
slaba,
week
ne.
of playing and
Živijo
everything's
Lanči.
on the line. Game
Posla
2
kvečem
kind of feels like
underrated.
game 6 sometimes, and everyone's kind of just realizing strategies they can go for. Early trios that can push for Surge, early trios that can push for free loot. Looks like Egrams is going to be one of them. And at the same time, Mongraal will move over to Lazy Lake, try a fight with Link, Fury, and Irazumi. Let's see how this one goes. Link is going to go all the way high and mighty and control the high ground for the moment. Mongraal has a lot of mass to keep this fight going, and a Parasite active as well.
Kako lahko reče, da ima
Looks to get
Mongraal
the
veliko
advantage,
materialov?
damage and shields for the
Ja.
moment, but
Tudi za
the
ta
handle's
fight
not
ni
looking
ima
too
veliko.
good at all, Sancho.
It's what happens when you leave retail row early, when you don't want to get third party. You're just low on everything. That's why you're seeing Mongraal doing all he can to get as many resources during this fight. And this is what separates, you know, an amateur to a pro player, is you're taking every bit as possible to find any bit of resources. Mongraal getting tagged a little bit, still has a parasite on top of it. But you mentioned this parasite would throw a decent headshot, so that's why it's so valuable having this box
Sam z
fight.
Mongraalom se ne moreš primerjati, dobro, ja.
25 HP to have
Ampak
it on your
posla
head
kar,
the
ja.
entire
Mislim,
time, though. Parasite
Mongraal bi
always
itak
have
lahko najde
a little
dober
bit of
trio,
something
ne,
in
v vsakem
return for
primeru.
them if you
Pa
wanna,
ne
you know,
toliko
end
teh
up using
Neymarjev,
them
ampak
in any cases. I would assume just Fortnite, but here we go.
Izgubil
Anyway,
glavo
Mongraal
Mongraal
with a
zdajle.
shot. It's a big one onto Link, but he takes a little bit more damage from it overall. Slender's also just boxed up for the moment. Irazumi,
Oh,
man, they have
Masha
such a
Glad, thank
big
God.
split. These
Yeah.
CL boys right now.
Thank
There's no
God.
way Mongraal's
Sam
teammates
Mattis so
can edit right
tako,
now and
slabi.
doesn't get punished from it from any side.
You got to watch out for iRes. They're setting up that angle right there to hit some shots in the backside. So you're going to have to full box fight this if you're Slender, Kiko, and Mongraal. Because iRes, as you see him on the bottom right of your screen, the mini-map, he's making his rotation. He's now pushing on the north side of this fight. And the pinch is about to be on. They are setting up a great triangle
This is like
pinch
some
as
skoro
Fury and
Neymarji
Link are
isti
sitting on
trio,
top. But
ja,
Mongraal
season
snips it out.
chapter
Shoots him
2.
out in the backside. No doubt calls out iRes' flank.
True.
He sees it. That was beautiful from
Oh,
him. and he
Mongraal
denies the chance at a
Bomaro.
quick elimination, but at the same time, trapped up in his builds. This rat on low ground is going to get exterminated in just a
Oof.
bit if he doesn't find his colony once again. Mongraal is trying anything right now with this low firepower of an inventory combined with bad positioning with his teammates. It just looks like absolute trouble. Kiko's already down. He's going to try to hit the revive, but it's not going to be possible. The exterminators have arrived.
Oh,
They're
rip za
fueling
Mongraala,
into the
rip za
low ground
Mongraala.
completely. There's no chance for Mongraal to run really anywhere. Has the mats, but doesn't have the movement for the moment. Fury will catch up.
A
And
kdo ve, a
Slender's
Mongraal
also
streama
found out
zdajle.
it's over.
Ajde, pogremo do 600
Before we saw
lajkov.
this engagement, I was like, Fury's trio is not an easy trio to get eliminated. You just can't roll into Lazy Lake like that. And if you don't have the experience fighting there, normally, Shayo, we see teams, you talked about, you know,
Mislim, sej
rats and
Mongraal
whatnot,
še
they
vedno
go into the
gotin za
basement of
Game
those triple
drugače. Realno je
houses.
še vedno
That
full
was not
dobar.
available. Mongraal could not get there and hold down the fort. You
Mislim,
talked about the
če bi
lack of
rekel finale,
resources,
si god,
and that's
ne?
the result.
Absolutely. And
Oh,
we're looking
rip
at-
Mongraal.
you know, we'll go back to the
Res prvoščam Mongraal. Lej, vsaj v hitih je. Iz hit, Mongraal lahko iz hitov pride v finale, dejansko lahko. 100% lahko. Ko so včeraj polfinale zmagali, lahko hite pridejo top 6, kanač.
Recluse from everyone else and just operate within their own passageways, their own tunnels.
Isto
They
Kinzel.
had so many heal-offs. You can notice it with the quick stat there too. Multiple 40-point-plus games. They'd make it all the way to endgame, Sancho. Third place, second place, even a win sometimes. Have a few
pana,
heal-offs,
yep.
but playing that passive
gremo do
ratty
600 lajkov,
style
vsi
just
stisnete
makes
like,
them
pa smo
avoid any other
tam.
trio.
Easy.
They stay healthy because they're together, right? Rats together strong. That's staying somewhere, I think.
Somewhere.
They just pop off. The issue though, right, with Mongraal, Kiko, Slender, these guys are a confident trio. They want to be fighting other players. They're not used to that low ground weight play style. They tried it right there in someone else's POI. It doesn't really work. So you have to try to do something. They haven't won at retail once. Now they haven't won at Lazy Lake. Where else can they go?
Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. That is no
Vem za
doubt
ja,
the right
rezultatov
way.
ni zato, ker je
Vino, Reason,
Mongraal je neko
Tasting here. Now
tryhardati,
they're gonna have to
ne? In
work in
zato
getting
pač.
their Storm
On
Surge
2-3
tags
sezone
from
ni
a
nič
distance.
naredil.
Now
Pa
we're seeing
zajebaval
what's on
se
the
je
game
in
plan.
z
Hey,
Vitor
no
doma
one
igral,
wants to
ker ne bi
challenge
smel,
you or
ker sta
drop
se skrb sam
with you at the
zajebavala.
Believer Beach.
In
You're gonna
valjda
have
ni
to
nič
find your
dosegel.
Storm Surge tag somewhere, so they gotta rely
Reboot
on their
round je v
accuracy
nedeljo
here. And
naslednjo.
now on the opposite side of that coin, it is Fremont Trio colliding with Kepi here in Pleasant Park,
like
which
it, like it.
Shio and I are rechanging to Punishment Park. That's what's going to be called. Let's see what happens here in this box fight as both teams are in a stalemate,
Master
fighting
Malachi
grid
Skara.
to grid.
GG.
Yeah, usually Pleasant Park, I mean, if you're looking at that on a brochure, it seems like it's a little bit of a vacation. Should be an easy drop to go in with, loot a little bit, and go out.
A mi da
But
so še
week
zmeraj
after
zajebaval,
week,
kaj?
region after region, we
Pa
just
če,
see
Mongraal je
it
začel bolj
over and
resno
over
zdaj
again.
spet.
Teams fighting till what seems like midnight over 4 days, like, and it never ends.
I'm surprised Pleasant Park doesn't have a community pool. Let me throw that bad boy in there. I mean, take out the soccer,
Yeah.
put the community pool in there.
Not even one house has it, but we do have a dog house. A little bit of a pound there somewhere. Let Rick know. Trying to get a little bit active with this. This is the trio that's rolling in with all those new chest Reese was
Dobro,
talking about.
tege,
on the desk
neki
over at
tegov so dubali,
Pearl
pa
Castle,
dva
but at
peda
the same
imajo.
time, the issue right now is
Ne, nisem
I don't
mare.
even know. No team has actually hit each other just yet. Jachu and Artor have a little bit of HP deficits. Alongside Cafe.
Oh, hello.
Koga je tle polka? What the fuck?
Open the door. Was
Kar
that a
vsi so
car?
tam,
I don't even
model.
know,
Kar
but
vsi.
They came in guns blazing.
They came
moram
in and
verjeti.
crashed the party. They weren't even invited to this one here. They didn't RSVP, but they're here eating all the snacks and drinking all the drinks here as Lightwood, Fremont, and Wolfies are now trying to take advantage of this. And I was about to say, this is
Why
more
not
like
like
equivalent
model?
to trench warfare, and everything's going to be very methodical. And all of a sudden, a wrench gets thrown into my casting.
It's like these guys are just, you know, I would say upper life snobby, you know, sipping on their drinks and just going back and forth with each other in this little box fight, and then you just hear like Josh, anyone else hear that music coming in from the background? It's like bass blasting in the car. Boom, moves into the bills, and there's a whole new trio here ready to rock and roll. The
103
issue
to je
right
tla v
now
tem
is though that
Pleasantu
these
modelu.
guys are in zone.
A jaz sem
You
mislim, da je
don't
še
really
živ,
need
ne?
to move anywhere at all, but the longer they stay here, the more they risk, you know,
Rok, za ti
coming in
mene
and doing
Maglena
that
vidiš
play
na
once more
kameri.
again.
Ne bi me smel po mojem Maglena videti. Chat, a se v redu vidi kanal? Mogel bi se v redu videti.
And hey, this is what I was gonna say. Tayson Vino
No.
and Reason, they see all this. You talked about all the, you know, the parties and all the fight. Hey, there's someone out there who notices disturbance in the neighborhood, and they're gonna come in and they're gonna maybe try to make
Mare, sem
Fremont
rekel,
the
da ne,
meat of the
sem rekel, da
sandwich
ne.
here. As Jachu Artor now are
Ni
just,
čisto
wait a
HD,
minute,
v
go
redu
back to
je.
the
Mislim, jaz čisto HD tak ne more biti.
Vino's in trouble. Vino's
pač
in
ja.
trouble. He's got a whole trio
Okay.
landing on him.
Sploh nisem videl
It's a
chat.
four-way fight over
Zdaj
at
sem
Pleasant
chat,
Park
bro.
and a two-way bonanza brawl here
Hang on, wait,
towards
see.
the center of the map. This trio, or these trios, still need to make it in. KK Wet, I was saying these guys are very good at
Reason je
playing passive,
mrtev.
still very scary box to box. They have an
Oh,
entire
chat.
plan, but if anyone
Ali je
doesn't
cel
throw
trio
a
mrtev
wrench in
Tysona.
it their way, I mean, it goes bad. Reason's fully down, though. Bloomy gets that elim all the way in Pleasant Park. That fight still breaking through. Wolfie now looking pretty healthy. It's going to be a duo versus a trio versus one man who's scared of everything going on around him. That's Artor. He's just wondering when this entire
Mislim, drugače ne moreš
chaos,
reči,
this
da je-
punishment will end.
Da je
This is going to be the moment that
Savage
Vino
washed,
needs
če je-
right now. We saw
če je
in
že v
social
finalsih.
media, the nerves are
What?
coming
Če
here, but
prejšnja sezona top
he
tri.
could clutch this
Ja,
situation
Vino, Tyson
with
sta
Tyson.
živa.
That's going to be a huge confidence
Tale bo
boost right
težka,
now.
tale bo
Yes,
težka.
down to 71 HP. You're seeing the lobby focus is real, but Vino, if you can
Slava.
hold on, brother, this is where you can take the momentum to let you know you belong a part of this trio.
They've touched an endgame as a duo many times over the 3 weeks. And at the same time, they've just had consistent games overall.
realno
again and again,
ga
all the way up
čilata,
until
mece pa to,
5 and
ne,
6
sam.
where things were rocky. So I don't think these guys
slava.
will be down and out for the moment at all. Reboot van also available somewhere in Pleasant Park. So
Oh,
if they
a
have
bo
the
to-
card,
po reboot
it's an
karta šla,
option,
mislim,
but
da.
I would have to say 3
Nisem
trios can
ziher.
get wiped if it's going to be absolutely safe. Everyone kind of has their eye and mind on getting their teammates back up, but at the same time, the full trios. I mean, look at Voids right
Falcon,
now.
my
Fast
God,
Roki.
pickaxe.
These guys are
Oh,
already
Falcon.
high up and mighty, waiting for someone to make the move towards the van. Vino's trying with Tayson. Notice Sancho, wooden builds. They're already
Yes,
almost
Yushka, yeah,
either hard out of mats or actually just being a little bit greedy with it from Vino's side. They should have reasons mats overall too. They'll get all the way in while rotating. Don't want to waste anything, and all these buildings actually offer more wood, so they can
Dobro,
mine them
imajo
out. That being
Surge'a, ne
said, the new
sam.
zones here.
Mislim,
Their
lahko
entire
klačata,
threshold of
ne?
damage is looking fine,
Mislim,
but
da
their
imata
teammate down.
kartico, nisem zihar
I've
drugače.
never seen Pleasant
Nisem
Park
zihar.
look like this, even during season 4. Like chapter 2, season 4, when you had Doom's Domain, it never looked like this. We had multiple trios all coming down into Pleasant Park and trying chaos, and still Fremox trio, who was here at the very beginning when we tuned in to this POV, is still in this fight, and there's still a lot of trios all together on the minimap. Look at that. Wow, it's crazy game 2 already.
Kako misliš, zakaj je Amar toliko dobana, da je
Was that a
hempil?
free mock as well?
A to, a je bil
Checking in
hen na
exactly how
streamu,
their
pa so rekli,
previous
da...
game went overall. They ended up in 21st
Praviš,
place,
no.
so that zone kind of towards the south wasn't really favoring them. Now towards their home turf, they can really get a lot of points here. Cernex was still active inside the feed, getting sundown. One of the members of the trio that took the contest early height and make things really chaotic.
Da po tej igri pogledamo, kako
For
hempa
this
je.
game entirely, that could be very good for Cernexo and a lot of trios as well. But look at the way this zone's actually shaping out. So many people side by side, stuck in these muddy box fights. Everyone is not breathing that clean, fresh air of the north side right now, Sancho. This is like, this is equivalent.
This is
You know, I know
Tyson.
we're going into zone 3, but this kind of
A
looks
so,
like in terms
niso
of the way
reboot.
these
Zakaj so tam le 3 rozne pušice? Tam sta pred Tyson pa Vino.
Right, no doubt. And you're seeing the south.
A vi ne
All these
vidite, ja
trios are
vidite.
now making their way through by way of vehicle.
Mislim, da
or
sta
any
ona
means
dva tamle po
necessary,
rebootu.
or
Po
launch
mojem ta
pads,
hotla
they're making their
rebootati.
way through in the south side. So the south
Onda
side will be
ima
very
rata.
contested. Right there in the Pleasant Park, those purple triangles you see right where our marker's at on the left side, that is Tayson and Vino as a duo here. As you're seeing, other teams are rotating right over from the dead side here. They're going to collapse right down on that. I feel like a weatherman right now. That collapse right there of Vino and Tayson. They got to be careful. But right now, the world is collapsing on Podosai's trio as they're right here feeling some pressure from ZQ and Nikov. And that's a good split from Balcony and Kezi. ZQ is got to trying to squeeze his way around. He's separated from his trio, and he's got to figure a way how you get back together, get back home again.
Yeah, this is really tough. And the pathway to get home, sometimes you take roads, sometimes you take the freeway. To put it into perspective for you guys, everyone moving in from the map was like on a 5-lane highway, right? We kind
Ja,
of
Rox,
basically
pač
went all
pri
the way
meni
down
brelo, da ti
to
tudi
one,
internet baga, veš,
or like, you know,
mislim,
maybe 2 or 3
da ti
lanes now.
vmes
Lots
da
of
na
these cars will have to
360p
merge
ali pa
in.
karkoli.
There might be some accidents,
če ti
some
to dela.
hit and runs for a bunch of these players going
Koliko so
side by
druga
side,
polovica
wall
cash
to wall.
cupa?
Nikov already
Začel
kinda
sem
has a
dobro
little bit
drugo
of a
polovico. Jaz sem imel 86 točk, 3 igre do konca, pa 1 uro do konca. Oziroma ne, 40 minut do konca. In sem dvakrat zapored off spawnom moral, ker sem zasral. In sem pa na koncu zadnje igre sem nekako klačal kljub temu, da so me eni čez
I
gripali.
always say, if it gets me to point A
Pa sem
to
na
point B,
koncu
I'm happy.
29 točk.
Long as it's rolling. And right now, Nikov right now is trying to roll in alongside with trio. They're using all their hard mats to invest to get a moment to breathe. But hey, that moment's already passed because zone 4 is, they still got more to move along here. They just get outside of the storm sand. They're going to dip into the heels as much as possible. As 10 trios have so far been eliminated here.
Pojme spanta,
And
čat, da
look,
pogledam
already
kako poje.
zone 4 is going to
Živijo,
be
Tilan.
so many people
Ajde,
on
posvijete
bases
like, gremo do
already
600
looking out
lajkov,
for
ajde.
Storm's attack. So everybody here on the storm line are going to have
V
some
easy,
issues
v
getting
easy
in.
stisnete like.
I like
Pojmi
the fact that
pomagate
you
s tem.
mentioned public transportation
Pa valjda,
because
če
the
porate
way
tako da
these guys are
skoro
gonna
zovajte
move is
šopu,
gonna
hvala
kinda
vam.
look like a
Naslednji
bus.
mesec je nova
That's
sezona,
right.
čat.
The trio here
Več
will
ko bo
move
supporterjev,
until the
več
other one
pesov
does, and
giftamo,
so you'll
okej?
have like a collective 6 people just
Ma,
chugging
mislim,
their
še
way
zmeraj
on
sem
the main
zadovoljen s tem,
street.
se
So
to je bilo
Maxwell
čisto blizu,
tries to,
realno.
wow, 4 shots rain in at the same time, equivalent to a sniper rifle bullet right there, straight to the body of Matt. So he's gonna have to heal up a little bit. This bus is taking its sweet old time to get out of the station.
And you're going to see all the kind of IGLs at this moment. The in-game leaders are
Blaszka,
saying,
yo.
when can we put this pad? Am I going to move out one box to the east or west to throw it down?
Co
It's
to
going to be a
misliš,
clean
Ana?
pad. And it looks
Da
like
ne bo
a
šlo.
short pad is going to almost get
Co
you
to
to the
misliš?
front side. That's a pad with the roof over you that's going to kind of shoot you forward rather than up and over. So a short pad could get you to the front side. As you're already hearing
Zanima me,
that.
kako-
They're going to balcony going for the
Pa je
big
zdaj
pad right
Tyson
there.
pa s temi.
Podosai, you're already hearing that
Tle se
going
jih
through.
bločal.
And Matko, that's what I'm talking about. You got to
Oh my
watch
God.
out. I told you, you got to
Ker
watch.
slab pad.
ADN's in trouble, brother.
Likar so
That's
se
the
zasrali
world
s tem
of hurt.
padom.
You gotta
Orange so
watch
se
where you
zasrali.
put your pads down.
There was a shadow on that box too. I can't believe the pad went down there for ADN's team, but ADN will go down as a result. 4ZR takes him out. I wanted to say the longer they, take in that moment, the more noise they make, and then every other trio like 4ZR will look to rake away at their HP, and that's exactly what happens, especially with a mistake like that all the way towards
To
the
ne
end.
vem, to
That's
ti
going
ne
to be
znam
rough for
pojata, je
ADN's
tako
side.
v redu ali ne,
Goodness sake,
dejansko.
man, those rotations are going to be rough. You got to make sure that you have a clean launch area If not, you're just going to be
Pač
a
kamera
quick
itak ne bo full
elimination
HD,
for
kadar
you.
je
And now
nekaj
we're
v
going
zadju
to
še.
a cleaner passes here, to cleaner air of height. Now we're seeing a traditional trio play
Voxi?
as people kind of
A
investing
to
in
tako
height,
praviš,
have these
kako so to
monstrous
naredili, ali
bases. And now
tako
you're
da
taking a
dejansko
look,
ne veš,
looking
zakaj
at
pravim, da
zone
so se
four.
zasrali.
Everyone on the
Okay.
south side here, Norn on the
Že
north side,
Tilan
so
ne
half and
skorijo.
half out pushes there. Be a question of who is willing to pad
lej,
over
dejansko
and
so
cling to
rebootali.
height, but
Oh, God.
now we got that story on height. Let's
Dejansko
go
so
to
se
the
rebootali. Okay,
story
nice,
of the
nice, nice.
qualifiers is
Tyson
Reason,
ma-
Tayson,
Tyson
and
ma
Vino,
še
and hey, they were able to clutch
dva
and bring
peda.
back Reason.
Brought back Reason. Not only that, look at their overall ammo count too. This is split up. I would assume Tayson still looking very healthy.
So
Two
above
knocks
Surge,
here,
kar
two
je
full elims still on the side of Fino
Surge,
and Reason. So they got into some
Ja,
action, or at
Voxi,
least, you know,
imajo
the
bazuko,
bodies
sam,
they knocked down and
on
fully
je bil
eliminated.
čist laseran,
Got them a
tudi
lot of
bazuka ne
them.
more
They're
vse
gonna have to
pohit.
move now, though,
Zjeba
that
so, ker so
busted north side,
pedal
there's a trail
takoj,
going up
namesto da
there,
bi,
the back is too.
oni bi mogli tarpat, ene dva, tri bokse ven in pol pedat, zato da zihar jih ne more noben
I
blokat.
was looking at them.
On
They
je
were
skoraj
kind of
umrl
setting up a
zaradi
kind of
tega.
cheeky peek here. They were seeing all the storm surge. They went for the jump, and all of a sudden a
prav.
ramp blocked them right then and
Nista
there.
bo, da so se
One thing
odločili
you
za
gotta look
pedat,
at,
ampak
even though this is a stormy
postavitev
cloud, the
peda je bila
silver
slaba.
lining is they have so much storm surge going their way, so they could push Void's trio right now. They're on the wrong side of storm surge, so that big scrum there in Pleasant Park did benefit Tayson, but if they get these eliminations here on Void, Festroki, and Karma, that's going to reward them with a chunk cannon and a lot of material here, and so they're chasing them right now in this rotation.
Ja, ni
Now
umrl
you're seeing
Voxi,
some
ampak
more unfolding here.
Voxi
They
ne
do have a
zastopaš.
very nasty layer
Še
that
zmeraj
they're
je
working
napaka,
through.
tudi če ne
But
umreš.
Karma, Festroki, and Void, who had some big eliminations in the previous
Pač pa
match
mogel je
here, can
porabiti
they
100%
go
minije, pa
back-to-back
bi
with
ga,
that here?
ker je bil
They
tega
have 97
na
above.
to
One
kvajta,
person that's
ki ga
getting
tudi
eliminated
bazuka
here
ne
for
bo
Storm
čisto
Surge.
pohilala.
Just one. Fino, Reason, Tayson though.
Se veš, Voxi, da
take even
še
more
zmeraj lahko
damage, getting
napaka,
all the
tudi
way
če
towards the
preživi.
top. Where are these guys getting their shield? Is there like a magic hat they're pulling it out of that's like, you know, limitless, bottomless, spaceless completely, because they keep still 100% on shields, and if we tune in, I guarantee they have even
Nice.
more to use entirely. Ericun, Nakos though. Once again, Nakos all the way up top. So
That's all three are-
the highest point for the moment. If they
Oh,
pull
Reason
fifth
ima
as well,
samo,
that's the
Reason ima
second game in a row
samo
that they just,
Wood.
you know, maintain
Oni
control.
rabijo kakšen kill
Second
dobiti, tle,
game, but
nujno,
last time they
nujno.
lost control as soon as the moving start rolling. You had so many trios pad up to them as Bobby picks up a knock on Monkey, and now you're seeing Reason, Vino, and Tayson, who were in shambles rotating in, feeling a little bit better, and considering that they did pull the first moving. So they don't have hype, but they still can make their way through. And the only thing that is going to question is, do they have the materials and resources? That's going to be their big question mark and their win condition.
Top
if they
3
want to
gre
walk
direkt
away
v
with the
finale,
victory royale.
Juško. Direkt v finale igre top 3. Pač veliki
Traffic.
finale.
That's a fanboy out of the way. And in game one, it was the gorge. We were watching roll through.
To je res mare.
Tricky, a mountain in the way. Andalex can't climb that, but in this game, here
Čaki,
right now,
a so slučajno samo 81 buff zdajle, uf. Tyson bo itak pedal.
What will Tayson, Reason, and Vino do? Can they break that fourth place curse? We'll have to wait, because height is a whole nother story. Blaster taking lots of damage to the HP, and ACOS going all the way towards the top, trying to save it. Yaxel there too, he takes a big beam, and this trio
Tyson
is
double
barely
kill,
staying alive.
nice.
So
To je
much
God
invested
refresh,
here. They
če so
cranked
lahko
up
pobrali
so
slučajno.
high to hold on to. They are literally in the stratosphere almost, it feels like. They're up in the clouds, and last time we saw them go down, I think this is going to be a very dangerous situation. Even at Waterfall,
Legend pistol,
it's
my
just
God.
way too high for this
Legend
moment
pistol je
here.
God.
Look at it now.
A Lando je na njih slučajno.
Andalex, who's always been in
Lando je
second
imel
height, it
height.
seems, for the second game in a row.
Da Saso,
And
ki ni
Bob,
noben igral,
the perfect pad gets right up there in the
noben
mix.
igral Ultimate
And now
Heighta.
Nico's
To tudi mi
Blaster
za serijo
Yaxel for the
vedno.
second game in a row are going to lose height on the first moving. Bobby Fly are looking great, as you've seen Yaxo being again the last remaining member of that fight.
Voxi, zakaj si zadnje čase
When Bobby almost felt
tečen?
that we didn't see where the base were entirely.
Hello?
I thought this man skydived
Hello?
again, but I'm like, my friend, there's no glider
Majster
It's not gonna
ma-
be possible for you to stay alive.
Oh, tale bo
Yaxel,
umrl.
though, barely
GG.
teetering along the line of Storm Surge. This is dangerous. He has to just keep popping these
Še med
minis.
hitat se ne bo
Can buy
mogel.
about 9 seconds of time, but after that, he's going to be going down. He needs to look for a little bit of damage.
Pit
Jakey
white
only
hat
one all the way there
oof.
towards the right side, but he's not going to find
Oof.
it. Vino, Tayson, Reason. They're looking so good on low. Fly still getting elims all the way from up top. Sapphic is getting
Yep,
his finally.
GG.
Also at the same time, Yaxel somehow still alive, but he finally gets taken out.
Man, Fremont through
You gotta
that
take
big
Mikac.
wrench is the theme right now. And look, another people going up
Nem-
for
nema
height
se,
right now.
Natsa dela
Bobby's going to
šalkvajsem.
try to hold
Jaz
on to
ko ne
this
vem
as
zdajle.
much as possible. Bobby already put so much on the line to hold out, and looks like he's going to give up to height
Isto si
here.
govoril
So height has been a
takrat
big
za
factor
Trova,
in these
pač.
games, and that was
Pa
Sapphic
ja,
going for
Bena
height.
te bojo. A
And
piše
Sapphic
tam,
goes out, but now
če
look at the
več
front
kot
side.
dvakrat
We
ali
saw for a
trikrat
brief moment,
nekaj
Andalex's
takega narediš,
trio is
ti
up there
pač
right
ne
now,
bojo
holding
dali
on to
top
height,
500,
and
ne.
this will be
Ne
a
boš
great
Bena, ampak
second
top
game for
500 ne dobiš.
Andalex's trio.
Oh my
That's what
God,
the
Satvik tried to stick
assist,
the throne. He
to
got
to to.
sent home, and now Andalex all the way up
Pač,
top. No time to
komentiram
drone. He's
in
gonna
tukaj
have the
probam
time
polko
to
razviti,
basically
zakaj
move
nekaj ni
forward for
dobrega,
the
sploh
moment.
zdaj, ko sem se mačka naučil, a ne. Še vedno nisem tam, ampak take napake lahko vidimo, ne. In pač folk povem, kaj bi lahko boljše naredili in to je to. Ne, a jaz streamam ti. Kaj je bil Tyson knock-on? Zdaj nisem videl, vidiš. Nisem videl. Tamle, Rizan je še živ, a je Rizan edini živ. Ne, Tyson je še živ, Vena je mrtev. Tyson pa Rizan sta še živ, Rizan je double kill. Okay, top 5 so, God. Abby, I'm not sure if he's joking or not.
No doubt, I told you I was a weatherman, and right now the forecast is a rain of bullets, and that's coming down on height. 4ZRX with Analyx getting some huge elimination. The Storm is going back their old builds, but already the damage has been done. Who's on the front side on the low ground? It's Tayson and Reason as a duo operating together here. As you've seen 4ZR getting elimination on Podesai. You've seen Paco getting a knock on Link, but the story is Analyx's return alongside with X-Squeeze and 4ZR. 4ZR trying to get back into the top 3 after being disbanded from Tayson.
Tako da pa imajo dober position, tako da Tyson treba jih bo težko prehitil. Čeprav imajo zdaj le 6 killov, kar je god.
They're surviving, trying to thrive. Reason taking a little bit of damage, though. Analyx took that second place personally. Now he's getting close and closer towards every single trio.
Znamo to dober spot.
He's trying to escape.
Ultra, evo.
Rocks in front of him.
A sta 2v3, 2v3 sta. Če s tole zmagata, ne, ma ni šans, da zmagata.
He has a lighthouse all the way up on height.
GG.
Yeah, you might be able to take
Druga sta bila. Andalex bo prvi, verjetno. Koliko so imeli killov? Koliko killov? Dajte GG so chat. Dajte GG so chat zdaj, ko vas pustim iz zapora. GG's, Tyson je tole dobro odigral. Tyson v trio so tole zelo dobro odigral, glede na to, kako je kazal. Zelo dober. GG so chat. Gremo pogledati, evo, lestvica. Ok, Ana, ok. Oj, da vidimo, se prav. Ja, Andalex, 4ZR, Svizi so prvi, 106 točk. Tyson še ni top 3. Tyson je četrti, 70 točk. Deli so, drugi pa prvi so bili, 10, 15 killov. Chat, rekord imajo za EU FNCS tele. 15 kill win. 15 killov. Zdaj so 2x6 killov. Ja, rabijo še, lej. Niso še dost dober zdaj. Pač prejšnja je bila dost tako, pač mislim, tako. Še vedno dober, ampak morajo. Mongraal je pa itak 2 igri model. So v bistvu takoj umrl. Res škoda. Aj čaj, da pogledamo, kako poje, da vidim, če bo delal.
Absolutely, this is classic. No, I don't want to take down X-Squeeze and 4ZR too, but
Tole hem poje, chat. Da vidimo. Čakajte.
you expect them to have these big pop-offs. You expect them to be consistent on top of that as well. And so far, this.
Ajde, da vidimo.
No kidding, I can't pin you down. What's going on there, beautiful mind? I'm on your magical mystery ride, and I'm so dizzy, don't know what hit me, but
Hen je prav, chat.
I'll be alright. My head's underwater, but I'm brave and fine. You're crazy and I'm out of my mind.
A ta zraven poje, da se kako mi vidi.
All of me loves all of you.
Nice. Abby, he's a pro player. Hen je zelo dober. Ok, dejansko sem zelo dober 5. Jaz bi zdaj, a veste kaj bi jaz zdaj? Zdaj moramo Klačija slišati 5 chat. Klači bi je pol dober poje. Klače je treba slišati.
Race 11, break down what you guys are seeing.
Look, so many of these teams are struggling with Storm Surge, but someone who's not right now.
Klače je treba slišati.
Is Tayson's team who ended up coming second here, and notice this is the position that they're in.
Klače moram slišati pet.
They're drop spot, right? They're coming from Believers Beach, getting fully centered zone when it comes to the second here. So notice one thing you may spot. 2 team players here, 1 player here, which is Vino on the far left. Now, this is the sight lines that they actually get from here. This is what happens for the Storm Surge. You see Reason up on this side. He has so many eyes on players over here. Same with Tayson on this side. So many eyes up on this way. They get so many different angles.
Za 2K pojem. 2 Berlinja, kvati, za 2 Jurija Česa. Lajko, ali kaj?
Vino is a little bit further away, but he's got eyes on completely.
Kdaj Klači, daj vpraši ga, kdaj Klači poje, ajde. Kaj se mora zgoditi, da Klači poje na streamu?
It's something that they've actually managed to get, and a lot of top teams do as well.
Skoro bi poročal za moj prvi game računalnik, B550 Ryzen 5 3600, 16 giga rama, GTX 1660. Ej, to ne znam ti povedati, za te malo bolj budget builde ti ful ne znam povedati, tako da.
Great stuff from them, but of course, Andalex falls here. We're sitting there in first place. 25 eliminations, more than anybody else. 106 points. The first team to hit the triple digits. Look, I was impressed by Safik default.
Daj Bernijo, vpraši ga, kaj mora narediti. Kaj moramo narediti na streamu ali karkoli, da Klači poje. A jutr bom streamu 30 keška, valjda. Jutr ciljamo vsaj 150 pik, če ne več. Ja, Petra? Mislim, da sem slišal. Poglej, best only. Kva? Saši, kaj?
Four more to go, and I'm sure that leaderboard's definitely not solidified anywhere close yet.
Bro, it's wild out here. And really quickly, just Tayson and his trio, a second place game 1.
Smo na 3800, ja, chat, gremo na 32 000 sabo, imamo to, A, poglej, beast only.
There's too many teams that I want to root for, but for now, we got to step away because we're going right back into the action. Buckle aboard the battle bus. Buckle up because we're going into the next game. Sancho and Shire Wager, take us in, boys.
Oh, welcome back to week 3, or should I say
To pa nisem povedal, pojeta, okay, god, saj ful po tih.
They're running rampant.
Yeah, they're doing what they need to do. We talked about their previous woes for Andalix in the previous. We were just like, what's happening? They're caddy corner. They got pushed all the way down to Camp Cod. No one wants to be in Camp Cod if you're a decorated trio like Andalix. So he went over to Misty Meadows. They picked up 4ZR and they're looking strong.
Dive right back into the.
Noč, damo member only chat.
At the same time, I see a few high flyers.
Member only chat, dajte good luck v chat za Mongraala pa Tysona, rabijo good luck.
Respect this team deserves.
I mean,
I think the biggest issue for them has been off spawn. This is one of the times we get to see them uncontested with power. It's one of the effects of being inside, you know, qualifier number 3, where a lot of those big teams who might land here or around here aren't playing, you know, the upper echelon of the lobby is not going to be the same way up to par. And because of that, these guys can not only get a free POI, but then have like an 8-zone high ground retake, right? I don't think Aqua would allow that. I don't think, you know, if Tayson was put in the position of a lot of other grand final players playing inside there, not inside the Pleasant Park fight, I don't think he would allow that. I don't think Kiriachi, if he was somewhere near high ground, would have the same effect of defending against Analytic Squeeze. But the fact that they can do it right now means there's space for them to just keep going, move with this momentum, and possibly come out on top.
I agree. We saw last week, as we do see a llama out here for Squeeze, he's going to try to sneak up on it. We saw last week it was Bagfi, Zestin, every now and then stopping the high take. So yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on that. I was going to ask you that, is who in this lobby is going to be the height alpha, because they're going to have to go up against, you always talk about it, the mega boss in
Lama je toliko OP chat drugač, da Lamo dobiš je pač insane, res je insane.
The only trio in this lobby is Andalex's trio. Yaxo, you're seeing that. You could take height and moving. You could be there at half in and half out. You could do all these things, but executing, maintaining height is always going to be that tough thing to do. And we're seeing that a team like Decorated, Yaxo, can't do it right now. Andalex picking the right time to take height when it matters most.
I mean, I don't even blame Yaxo in that last game for not being able to control it, or even the game prior. There's so many unorthodox height takes
Znaš, slaba igračka pusti da endgame, pa prviš top 3 komot. Mislim, tle ne moraš igrati kao pusija, koliko tle. Tu če imaš lamo, moraš še vedno biti dober, a ne? Sam, ti pa pol lažje dobiš surge tagge, a ne? Ker lahko tradaš surge, ne rabaš med safe pike, da čim manj shieldo porabaš. Da se lahko pol healaš. Maybe I think it's 5 llamas in the game. Mislim, da je 5 lama, ne chat. Ne igra.
The thing that kind of puts a little bit of worrisome feelings in my heart is looking at Tayson, Vino, and Reason in 4th place. You know what I mean? Like every time I see them in 4th, I feel like they end up staying in 4th for some reason all the way towards the end of the day. They can't break out of this. Sometimes they get towards 2nd or 1st, and then, you know, a choke comes in at the end and they end up 4th. I just don't want to see 4 attached to these guys' names anymore.
Vem te en ampak vsem. Pač full, tle itak ne more, pač to so toliko stack igre, da itak ne moreš nič bolj v zadnji igrati, veš kaj mislim. Edino, kar je, da ti pomaga pri surgih full, ker ne rabaš skrbeti po rotacijah, da si malo tegan. Lahko raskiraš, da malo manj buildaš, pa pošparaš materijale, pa da te malo tegajo, ker si itak lahko healaš pola, ne. To je bolj. Na rotacijah pomaga. Vse ne smeš biti bolj v zadnji zaradi surga, ker surg še vedno te ubije.
But there's not going to be a lot of vantage points towards the south side considering
we gremo do 700 lajkov, ajde gremo.
Pick up a lot of those stat lines.
Belinja, gledaš stream.
You know, yeah, actually Nicholas Blaster. Last game was definitely a home zone for them. This is a new term I'm just going to coin, okay?
I like that.
When it comes to like the POI that can control everything, yeah, that was theirs on the northern side. Craggy Cliffs 100% can do it. This left side where like, you know, the center of the map is right above Weeping to the left of Boney. I mean, Believer Beach Trio has to be their home zone and Vino, Tayson, Reason.
Až črto, da si daš FlankLZ imel fortu. Ma različno, da ScorpLZ bi še vedno imel ime, ne? A lahko bi dal komot nekaj z flanka.
This is the second appearance here in the qualifiers, no doubt. Savid wants to be able to qualify. Last time we saw Savid on the broadcast.
ScorpLZ flanks, ja, veš. To ma je pojet.
And right now, Savid.
A tam Marinko je nov model.
Nicely done. Savid's catching that. Was able to time that edit out. And be able to come on top. Rifle, Savid and Astro looking strong here as Mosh from Portugal is going to have to retreat back into the factory. And they're on full pursuit here. Mosh here was able to get 3 eliminations. But now he's going to do his can to just
Brinja, daj praši klačak, daj bi rad pel. Pa moram narediti, kaj moramo doseči na streamih ali pa karkoli, da bo pel. Jaz ga hočem slišati pet.
And you're going to go right back into the arms of another trio, but hey, you know, sometimes I
always say, when you're being
pressured by someone, you just got to make it not worth to be chased down, but you're going to end up riding right into someone's bed. Just make it not worth being chased. You know what I mean? Just make it be like, all right, it's not worth getting. Let's let him go. Let's just.
Klači po moje full dober poje, Denotes. Če on ma pil skoja, on se uči pet.
That's the issue right now.
It's always about family.
Ne, 5 lame je svica, niso 3. Včasih so bile 3 lame, zdaj jih je 5. Zdaj jih je 5. Kar ne bo, no. Kaj pa menu privat, da poje?
For any placement here, 4 teams maybe need to go. Okay, go down. March with the moves.
The Enas. I like it. I love it. The
Itak da je 5 lam, Svitson.
It was there.
A ne da je 5 lam.
When you live life so quickly. But full elimination. I have to stop myself sometimes. You know what I mean? I gotta pump the brakes when it comes to these
quarter miles.
Yeah, well, you know,
I see what you're saying.
You gotta pump the brakes.
Ja, 5 jih je, 5 jih je. Prva stvar, how many rounds per game in piše 5. 5 jih imaš. 5 jih je.
And Xenophile. One of the things, the theme here is this center zone has been quite messy.
Kapinči naredi face reveal.
Bring it down a little bit here, chat. It's a little bit ASMR. Bring it down just a little bit.
Ja, to je za 100 euro sabo, ne?
Vibe crazy.
Wow.
Za 100 euro sabo, chat, sabite se, za 100 euro sabo klači poje. Pa Pinči naredi face reveal. Ja, za 100 euro sabo klači poje, chat.
That's what I'm saying. That was a very miraculous moment.
Zoro pa čim prej, Zoro pa čim prej do 100 euro pridat. Ajde, stisnete sab, šerite na okoli YouTube kanal. Imamo to. V roku 5 let 100 euro, vprašaj. Juško, meni se da čakat. V roku 5 let lahko pridemo 100 euro. Maybe že prej, lej. Bomo videli. Tam je Tyson.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's what we're seeing here. And I was going to mention this before we kind of brought it down the levels here, is that the entire center of this map in these set of games, messy.
Ja, bi boš, ne?
A lot of, like, early game contention, these drops here on these landmarks, and you're just seeing the feed light up here. I know people always want to talk about, they want to watch these early engagements, but right now, all those people in the middle of the map right here, it's like literally a donut hole. They're on the bottom of the board right now. They are tripping each other up.
Dostoji do Sabora, ajmo. Da zdaj igramo long do 700 lajkov. K-nač.
Tayson and MXR side by side. This is 4th place and 6th place.
Znači, jaz mislim, da nam rata stojiral v Sabo v roku 5 let. Po moje, no. To bo itak nove generacije še prišle.
Day after day, week after week, especially previous seasons.
Cel chat modar, ja, če
always
spamajo.
seems to be their strongest push all the way towards the
Če
top.
spamajo
Going
moderatorji.
down to ZQ in the feed. I'm wondering how that's happening. All the way over at Coral.
Rezan je bil tega. Veno je tudi dost low.
Shouldn't be there, at least from what I'm watching overall on the map, but at the same time, maybe these guys moved away from Coral or got contested
No, da Sky bi paten ga igral.
We'll see exactly how things worked off of rotation. Maybe a fight over one of those airdrops. Falconly also going down. Astro picking that one up. So some trios are getting heated inside the mid game. Reason, Vino, and Tayson, though, to keep it cool.
When you have the home zone, as you coin, that leaves you
To
the
je kar
freedom
slaba, ja, če
to
ne veš, kaj bi igral.
roam.
To je kar
And that
slaba.
is what Reason, Vino, and Tayson are doing. We've seen them roam these medals before in the previous week, and they paid the price, and it cost them the top
A s
three.
tem splača
Blazin is not an easy out,
Digel
and that's what
nosot na
I'm
mest
getting to.
medkita.
A lot of the trios, as we go higher and higher, and next week we'll have the start of the semifinals, getting into the heats. Once you get into that, hey, getting these quick eliminations,
Jutri
these storm
ne
attacks is
moram,
gonna be a lot
Denotes.
harder. And
Ne moram.
4ZR and Alex Squeeze, we've seen them do this before, and now this fight has been
Če bomo
extended
to
down to Hydro 16.
na YouTube streamih. Dela
Doesn't
drugače.
have to take a stand here, but at the same time moved after the fact because this is way far away from where both these trios kind of need to be. I don't even think, no, they have to be aware that there are trios inside.
Kako je v futbolu, arabski šejk, v zadnji pa lahko kupijo vse
You
playerje.
can see his shield situation. 3 minutes in a bit.
Mislim, saj isto je guild naredil.
Basically be expending mats at all times right now. There's no way you can afford
Itak
to
bojo v minusu
lose any of
spet
that
znali.
precious shield this early. Maybe at 4th or 5th zone, but no chance right now.
One thing I noticed as well, because of the
kva je
abduction of
Marinko tam?
Slurpy Swamps, is a lot of the Slurpy
A
Swamp
Marinko v
teams
redu?
are already moving
Torb, kaj
out.
veš, zakaj ne moram
We saw
naložiti
Kiriachi
Valoranta?
moving
To mi
Logjam.
napiše,
We see them go, use
you're not
the
allowed to
fishing
download
spots
this
more
content at
available,
this time.
maybe
Ej,
going down
pomeni
to
vam nec,
Shantytown,
maybe si
all
dal,
the
da
way down
si
the West
premlad,
Coast. So
pa sem.
Xweez, 4ZR, Analyx knows this. They know they're going to have this POI to themselves. Maybe pick up the scraps, but the thing is, the slurp barrels that you used to find here, a lot of the POI shield is not available anymore due
To je
to that
pa,
abduction.
vi ste v
And, hey,
kolu
we talk
in
about Coral
bravo.
Castle. I think right there, that's well, Tayson, Vino, and Reason are going to have
Oh,
to
ta
figure
Marinko
out
je-
that for this week at least, because Coral Castle, they're going to be an up
bo
as
moj
we see
sinka Marinko
Wolfies.
se mu odrečam.
See, that's what I'm talking
GG.
about. Wolfie's trio, they're not really. Why are they way down
GG.
here, Slurpy Swamp? Hey, Coral Castle has
Ne
a
vem,
known
Denotes,
pad,
Marinko je-
POI pad, launch pad. so
Marinko
they
je
have
še
some
bolj
mobility.
poseben ratu.
Definitely do. They can use it at any
To je
moment, but
pa to, chat,
the 3 men who
ki
have the home
je v
zone for the
kolu
moment.
z drugimi in hoče kuli
Not gonna have a
spadati in
bone to throw their
bedarije,
way
piše.
At all for the mid game. Lots of trios all around them. Trees to block a few sides, but this
Kaj,
doesn't really
Vojksi
look
bo
like a
LOL
point of
zdaj skozi
control.
igral,
Will
ali
be a
kaj?
pit stop.
Ja, rip, Vojksi
I
se
think
je
until
odpalal.
that third zone really
Vojksi jo
locks
gre
in,
na slabši.
and then these guys can jump up and take a pretty position. At the same time, Alex Squeeze 4ZR just seem like they're stumbling their way into this zone over and over again. Somehow towards the dead side, but once again, Box fighting another trio entirely. This
Magical
aggression
tut!
might be the way for
Ja,
this trio
GG
entirely. It's
model.
Letwick
GG.
who gets completely
GG.
taken away.
Začel
by
so
Squeeze
igrati
as
LOL.
well, claimed, and after that,
To je pa...
a few shots straight
To je pa
towards his
mega
head,
slabo.
his name. He's 1 HP, walking through these builds, it's trouble.
Ani tako,
Free-mock
ani
counter
dejansko
elimination
LOL,
on Analyx. You're
zelo
gonna
bolj
say just a
toxic
normal trio.
community, kot pa
This is not just a normal
Fortnite.
trio when you
Vem, da je
have
to
Free-mock
skoraj
on your
nemogoče,
team
ampak...
here. So Free-mock putting up a great stance here, squeezing
GG.
elimination on Letwick. So now it's a 2v2.
A bi prav, da
with
gremo Guild
4ZR
Wars 2
Xqueeze
igrat.
versus Wolfie and Free-mock.
GG.
Two
Noben ne
duos
bi
who are
gledal.
known to work together. Wolfie and Free-mock here gonna put a big stop here in Xqueeze and 4ZR.
Četa, hoče da oponaša Marinkota.
Right now in first place, going up against a team that no doubt has so far in the middle of the
Ja,
pack.
Vojksi bo kar League of
And
Legends
this is a
igral.
fight you can be
League of
very, very
Legends!
greedy at.
No,
Root Van right
to je
beside
Marinko.
you. Within all these
Marinko
builds, no
vse,
matter what
vse
happens, as long as
dvakrat
one
poje.
teammate
Pa
stays
to
alive,
druge
you
vedno
can
spremeni
just
glas.
get right back in the game with 3 trios
Kje
worth
sem
of
jaz
loots.
Fortnite God Player? God Player! Ja,
This is
to je
gonna be one of
Marinko.
those moments. 4 games left here. This is the 3rd game
Oh my
here.
God.
And now Fury is coming in here into this fight. They're extending this. This is the 3rd place team, literally being the 3rd party.
Koliko je rund že tle? Tale je zadnja runda.
They're going to try
Pa
to
imamo
find
pa
any
hitce
kind of tags
naslednji
moving
teden.
through. You see another team rolling through. Multiple teams here on the outskirts of this fight. And that's going to have to draw a concern. You talked about you could be greedy with this fight here, knowing that the reboot ban is here. But sometimes greed will ultimately catch up to you.
Sam community ma baje lol še slabše kot pa Fortnite. Kar težko verjamem, ampak.
These guys as a clutch trio coming in this game. They're one to just really, you know, even in this week, they want to operate off of control, having all teammates up. They need Endelix back.
Zdaj koliko imajo search tagov.
Yes, they need the captain back.
Mongraal živ chat, nisem videl.
Bring him back, use the right hand, peanut butter at it, nothing. Now we go back into this stalemate, grid-to-grid box fighting here.
Pa ne, da bi kakšen špil za primer, dejansko sem vedno confused s temi.
And look at just the advantage points there now.
Kaj je to kakšen Guild Wars, pa to se ne vem, aj to.
And Jules' trio, they're going to kind of coast on through. And there it is, so someone got eliminated there just for a brief second here.
Bless Unleashed.
Actually, Letwick got brought back.
Rebooted right back into the fight. Tako, jaz pol nisem za te špile drugač. Tako da ne znam pač, ni mi všeč ta žar. Jaz sem igral v League Guild Wars 2, ker sem hotel Avidur tet, ampak to je pa za tudi to, no, pa Diablo 3. Ampak, ne vem, tako no, nikoli nisem bil full za take špile jaz narejen, tako da. To je itak samo okus posameznika.
It's halfway there right now. They have the position, but they don't have the time.
Not at all. And Zeku actually was going in from Jules' trio, and he gets eliminated by Fremont's trio. So that's going to be some valuable loot right there picked up by Fremont just to be able to get towards Letwick.
The zone's all the way towards the north side, so no matter how many fights are going on for the moment,
I mean,
4-0 goes up to kind of assess the situation. These guys are not going to be going up against the trios. You're going
Guild Wars sem igral, pa Diablo 3 sem tudi igral, po bojem je podoben špil.
They were fighting elsewhere because they knew they were just wanting to win out that reboot van time, and they come straight back, racing in, looking for a few shots on the X-Squeeze. Do a little bit of damage.
Forziar moram reči, to je dober. To je za Tyson dober, koji so zdaj prvi, da ne more imeti velik pik.
Too much for him, he can't handle it. X-Squeeze is also being deleted.
Nice.
Well, this is all going down, and now so is moving. Every trio's in trouble.
Squeeze bo umrl od zona.
And there it is, the elimination. Wolfie picks up 4-0.
Action RPG.
X-Squeeze is the last remaining member of our first place team, eating Storm, eating bullets, trying to survive on the back foot as much as possible. And that back foot was digged in 6 feet deep, right into that elimination grave.
Forziar pa njegov trio so bili prvi tako v prednosti za 30 pik. Tako da, to je nice, to je nice. Kdo je nokan? Tyson se fajta, pa enega so nokali, mislim da. Ja. Nice, God. Dubel so search tagge. Zdaj da rabijo headshotat. God. Maja search. Lahko pušajo.
Towards the middle, towards home. Tayson
Karo auto je šel, majster.
Finally active, found a cool mountain, but at the same time, not inside the safe circle. They'll have to move once again. Benefits though of moving late.
Pa še Ganso dubel.
Big elims like this. You get to pick apart other trios who are kind of in shambles, solo players. It's all Davis is going down. And while they do that, Sancho, they'll be able to maybe even box up on other teams. Assess everyone else's spot first and maybe take a special.
Kjer je Tyson? Tyson je četrti, pa tole je tretja igra.
That's even better than anyone else.
Upam, da pridejo top 3, no, končno. Ker so god playeri. Sam vedno so bili tako top 5 model.
They're here, they're still alive here. It's going to be a huge game.
Ta teden definitivno boljši igral kot prejšnji vikend. Prejšnji vikend so ful slabo igrali, sam Tyson je dober igral.
Picked up an elimination, so great call out on that trio rolling in there. Still very aggressive. Opening their boxes, looking for peaks, possible box fights as well.
Ker pickaxe, da ne bo a to kama Tyson ima res. Tu pickaxe mi je pa res gnil model.
Reason picked up a free launch pad. Tyson, Chuck Splash Cannon. Imagine what Mongraal
Maja dobre
and
mecze.
Kiko have from the size of Lazy Lake or even Misty Meadows.
Kiko gets an elimination on Chrissy here, so that trio is now trying to roll up. Kiko's trio in 30th place. We already saw first place go down. Now we're on board here with the 4th place trio of Reason, Vino, and Tayson, who clutched in game 2. They was down to a duo of Vino and Tayson. Had that punishing Pleasant Park experience. They were able to survive and reboot Reason back and get into a top 2 finish. Can Tayson get into the top 3? Considering that Tayson disbanded his automatic qualification has been the kind of the story of these qualifier weeks of Tayson just falling out of the top 3.
I want to stay in there now. Let me paint this little picture for you, all right?
Mają 2 peda.
Right? Has a lot of juice in it. Say 100% juice before it's squeezed.
Pa gremo do 800 lajkov, ne pozabite pa kod je ScorpLZ šovo. Hvala vam vsem, ki me podpirate. Jač me ne folvate še na trotu. Na trotu imamo ekstra streame, ko bo šola 2-3 ure na trotu, 3 ure na YouTubeu, YouTube bo tudi video vsak dan. Probal vsak dan, no. Zato pač ali shorts ali pa dolg video bom probal na YouTubeu. Vedno da bom. Ne da en klicaj trovo, chat, da da link. Najbolj da morati skin igraš. Ko imajo vsi te pištolce model. Že prejšnjo igro je imel, pa so povečali spawn rate. Ja, mene zebe, GG. Zebe! Hashtag Marinko.
Using that pistol from Fury. Some great work right there. This is the third place team going in.
No doubt. Destiny Jesus has to be happy with that. And there it is. Some more pressure going down the lane through the multiple boxes as Patrick Safik and Fury picks up some huge eliminations. 2 eliminations so far. And they're still working as Wolfies and Mongraal are lighting up the feed. Sam kar jaz določil. Sam kar jaz določil.
CL feed for a little bit. It still is right now. As Link gets Safik, I don't think the Orcs planned that, but it's all good. After that, Mongraal does get active, absolutely, and Link picks up even more.
Jaz sem ta pistol dobil jih 3-krat v celi sezoni.
The fact that he was having all the way towards the south side, and now things are getting very hairy next to Wolfies' box. Ryan Milan will be beside him, paying up top.
Abi prav, da mora Marinko reči, oh yeah. Ne, ale. Ja, Marinko reče, oh yeah, za Jurija lajko. Gremo.
Wolfies are literally right next to each other, close on the low
Jesi
ground.
Wi-Fi, yo.
The person that I'm worried for is Tastes Trio. We saw them on the
Čaj,
north
jaz si
side.
moram soundboard narediti. Ne vem, zakaj odlačam s tega
So we
soundboardom.
have to watch the feed and see the rotations right now, because that is such going to be a dangerous rotation. Even if they decide to move through this southeast area, you're already seeing right in front of you, folks, all the people already based up, looking out.
Nice,
and Mongraal's already racked up a couple
bravo.
elimination on people from the backside of the storm.
And what a strange zone entirely. It kind of felt like it was going to be going all the way towards the west.
Maybe
pulling up a bit, so all those south teams really pushed in towards the center.
Dejansko zdaj nimam nič model. Res mi je bad.
And so everyone is getting squeezed even more now. So many people
se nekaj zmeniti. Ja, maybe
not being
utoril,
able
da
to
se
stay in that
zrihtamo.
zone. BG is down once again. Milan, Ryan, and Wolfies though. They're looking pulp as ever. They're actually so comfortable on this low ground for the moment. We haven't seen any higher elevated trios. This is our first kind of look at them. It's 80 and Amplify. No mats though, which is very interesting because usually these guys survive, and Astro's right behind them too.
If I could put a pin and circle the map, Bobby's trio right there. I'm going to circle him right there with my imagination. That's the trio we got to keep an eye on because they're always contesting height. Last time in game 2, they used a perfect pad to get it. And Alien gets knocked there from Grey.
Ja?
A small thing to note too, both the first and second place team for the moment right now are not going to be in this game. So Link, Fury, and Irizumi will be the eyes of the possibly top placements in this game that we're going to be watching. Astro gets another one as well. Vito, Jason, and Reason, this is a very good chance for them to climb back, and especially for any other team like Mongraals who are very low in points.
And 30th place. I was doing this. I was making like, this is a so pull for them. Not too bad. It's kind of bad considering that they go through half of the top of the lobby, but they have some materials. But look at the ammo, shambles. You can tell that they're leaving retail row. We saw it in game 2. They're leaving early as fast as possible. They have yet to find the refresher, and there it is, that sound, and that means gliders are going off already. Dandiv's trio is already moving through. Mongraal, Kiko, and Slender are going to decide to take the foot route, and there it is. Blackie, DKS are sitting at high, trying to beam anyone coming through. Right, zooming right through, gliding right past here. But can DKS, Erican, and Blackie hold on to height? We've been seeing height get contested, and Paco is getting beamed out of the air by DKS. But hey, Artur is going to clean up and get that knock here, and for the moment, Blackie's trio is holding height.
Erican has it, but they've been so delayed beaming. You have to actually possibly move or get overtaken. Nice pad. Bloomy's there for it. Nice pad. And Erican's actually there, advanced in position to make sure that there at least is a point of connection to be had. That's a very good ebb and flow, elastic type of movement from the team. A 1-2 split. And as that happened, the dances are still going on in mid-ground. No one falling for the moment. There was lots of, chaos before. We saw a few people go down. Amplify tried to hold his own, but he got taken out. Right now, no one is moving, no one's falling.
Daj, dejansko malo manj
Right
stack
here,
se
they
mi
have a
zdi.
pulse rifle. That's
Tukaj
not going to be a
doprejšnji.
strong rifle to hold
Al?
high. They don't have a lot of ammo as well.
Zdaj
So
se
I'm
bo rata
expecting this
steka, se
hold
ne
not to
dobil zdajle.
last this long, considering already so many people already went for it. We already saw Bobby go for it, but I don't know if DKS's trio could hold on the high, considering they don't have the firepower.
And they're not moving fast enough for the moment.
Tyson od trio, še cel trio živ, nice, nice.
But no, Wolfies and Milan, they tried the hard way. They're going on veteran difficulty. They go from the back, but they're experts. Speed
Kdo je šel na hide? Mongraal je dobil kill.
To take things over. Wolfies does not care. Milan leading the
Wolfies od
charge
trio
down
zdaj na
below
hideu.
two. They are the new high ground kings for this game. Number 3. They'll roll in and dictate the
Jaz sem od
lobby
trio
in a
ful
new,
malo
much
igral
fast
na
way.
hide ta
Welcome
season.
to the
Kje si
party
danes?
of in-game Milan, Marine, and Wolfies. You are here, so now is your time to kind of show out as
Nick.
much as
Wow.
possible here. As Wolfies right below here, Marine, Wolfies, and Milan here with only 3 eliminations, and they're
Kdo si
looking
ta
strong.
digal skozi nos?
Yeah, the thing
A ga
is,
zdaj
though,
dobro za
strong
tege?
enemies down
ali?
below, the full CL
Al?
trio with Irazumi.
A vem, je
Fury,
dobil
Link
kill, nisem
still
videl,
active,
nisem videl,
Vino,
nice.
Jason, and Reason also looking to just steal away points from low. Marine, Wolfies, and Milan are up against lots of skill right now.
Top
and need to
9
find
so
openings to
zaenkrat,
get
top 9.
eliminations.
Here it is, eliminations happening. We're seeing the story on height. Let's take a look at picture at down low. You're seeing Tayson
Aj so
on the
mi
mid
pred
layer
zadnjo
right
igro,
now.
chat, na
Having the front side.
qualifierju.
Wolfies is actually being sent down below to
24
find as
folka
much as
v
materials as
zadnjem
possible.
movingu.
Wolfies does have the power and the ability and the skill to get those eliminations, but he does not have a
Tu sem
hard
imel
boot
buzz
anymore
stack
to
to.
get those valuable matches. He's going to have to dip in and get back up and bright as possible. We are on board here
Oni so še
with
vsi živi, to je
third
god,
place.
top 8
Third
zaenkrat.
place with 7 eliminations.
Top 5 so
and they
že.
have enough. The
God.
material count is really low here, though, Shile. As Save gets eliminated, Astro gets eliminated, Nikov and Podosai and Astro
Da
get those
spamajo hide.
eliminations.
And they don't
Oni
care
imajo
about
free
anyone
wina.
on their lair or below them. They have their eyes set on first place for this game for height. That might be a mistake, though. A little bit of rumbling down below. They'll have to kind of go a little bit lower, too, to make sure they're safe overall. And
Amo
not using
Tyson,
the many
zdajle
automatic
zmagajo.
field they went into.
Ne,
This is
Beno je
the
mrtev.
height of a
Ja,
trio inside
GG.
their builds, and now they're running
Beno to so
scared.
dobili.
Chuck Splash Cannon needs to get
Kako?
active, but now there's no
Kako?
shield on Fury or Irazumi at all. Tayson
Reason
knows
knockan,
was gonna be a
Reason
consequence
mrtev.
of that open
Sam še
edit.
Tyson je.
End of this move. Podosai will pick him up all the way on low. High ground,
Vse je
though.
Tyson še, a ne?
Still gets to
Tyson
survive
lihkar
by the
umrl.
skin of their
GG.
teeth. They
Kaj so
barely
bili,
have any
četrti
builds
ali
left.
peti?
It's all on wood. Marine falls all the way
Mislim,
down.
da so
It's gonna be
bili
the first
peti, po
casualty.
moje.
Wolfies is going to try to capitalize on it and go for the trade, but he finds a little bit of it. Big Siphon inside the Storm, 60 HP, 50. Has
Oh
one
my
of the
God,
next
kako ni bil
bumpers.
mrtev.
Oh, no!
Kako je Wolf
Gets
sled
the
3
heal
kile
and
dobil,
should've.
what?
It's impossible, but he makes it happen. And now Milan's left alone against the trio. Drops down. It's not enough. Cubex, Dandir, and Devin. They had position.
Dobro, še vedno so dobro odigrali. Še vedno so dobro igrali. Zdaj bi mogli biti top 3. Ajde, vsi GG so chat, ko vas pustim iz zapora. Vsi GG so chat, sekunda. Evo. Vsi GG so chat. Mama Rinka, ti si dog. Ajde, da vidimo. Zdaj so teli prvi. Zdaj smo 10, 4, 3. 2x11 kilo, ja, insane. Forziar, drugi zdaj. Tyson, evo, pršo so bili zdaj, to je to, top 3, let's go, let's go. Sam morajo ostati na top 3 zdaj, ajmo. Sam kilov nimajo veliko, ne, to se jim pozna, nimajo veliko kilov, v primerjavi s temi, ki so top 5. Ampak imajo pa consistent placement, je dost, no. Ampak ja, Forziar še vedno na drugem mestu, ko so v naprejšnjo igro tako dobro odigrali. God. Mongraala, ja, Mongraala moramo pogledati zdaj, kako so odigrali. Vidimo, kako je Mongraal odigral tole igro. 24 so, bili so 10 s 4 kili. Dobar, saj prišel so malo naprej, 28 točk. Bo kar težka, ja, za njih. Pač top 3 ne bojo skoraj 100%. Žijo Zaki, razen če se jim odpele zdajle. Lik na pol smo drugač, lik na pol chat, še 3 igre. Še 3 igre, žijo Zaki, jo. Besede. Oje, damo besede zaradi tega, ker grem jaz zdajle. Se nekaj za jaz mogoče iskati na hidarco. Autopilot on, evo. Ok. Prva chat.
Who haven't really put a name for themselves in this tournament yet. For Wolfie's trio, except from, our first package where we saw the hilarious eliminations off spawn from Wolfie. So yeah, he's put his name in that one, but he was 31st with his trio before this game started. Now that's definitely going to fly them up the leaderboard, the 2nd and 6th eliminations. Kubex, I think, is outside of the top 10. I don't think we've seen particularly too much from him. A huge 13 eliminations, and obviously the Victory Royale. That's got to fly them up big time.
Absolutely. We're only halfway through right now. Really quickly, one thing you just said, Levin, was momentum. And the trio that I feel like had momentum was Andalex and company. However, they fell 26 in this last game. So with one bad game, does this kind of stop the momentum they had from the first two?
Well, yeah, I think you look at it and that's definitely a cause for concern, right? Because especially Andalex individually, he was putting on an all-time sort of performance in those first couple of games, right? You look at his battle average, which is, you know, essentially of all the eliminations on the day, how many he was accountable for. That was 4.6, higher than anybody, right? That's incredibly high compared to anybody else. And actually the second highest was 4.2, and that was his own teammate, right? Just to show how dominant these guys have been today, Reese. As well as that, right, in game one, he individually took his team from 5th place to 2nd place, right? Accounting for 13 solo impact points. You know, these guys, in Andalex in particular, has been on a tear, but with having such a poor game in game 3, does this now derail them in terms of their potential for getting a top 3 today?
And what you got to remember is this exact same thing has happened within the last 2 weeks, in particular with Denotes and Reason's team, which you already mentioned. Now they've actually moved it to 3rd, and Andalex has gone down into 2nd. So you got to remember, teams that are off to a really, really hot start historically across all of the qualifiers for EU have not continued that streak so far. So I hope the Andalex's team manages to maintain that momentum. As you said, they are still in a really, really good spot. But Link, Fury, and Irazumi now, well, we've watched a good few bits of them. Another consistent game, 3rd with 11 eliminations again. So 2 massive games the last 2, and that's kind of just fired them all the way up into that number 1 slot.
Well, you talk about teams historically having hot starts and not being able to see it through. The team right below them knows plenty. Like, they could write a book about it. Denotes and Reason have had countless hot starts, and just haven't been able to follow through. And so maybe they'll be able to take a leaf, or actually not take a leaf out of their book, right? Because they don't want to have that happen to them. Let's take a look at that next page, though. There are some teams from 11th to 20th that we want to take a look at. Of course, right, Wolfie, Letwick, Freemock, a team who's obviously, you know, we thought that today would be the day if they were going to have a good week coming out of Coral Castle and whatnot, but it just hasn't seemed to go that way yet. Although we are halfway through, there is still that potential. And of course, Zico, Sun, Jules, another team that I'm paying attention to, they did really well to start off with and sort of slowed down since then, Reese.
Yeah, you know I'm a big fan. You know I'm a big fan of this team. I put them in my top 3 as my predictions so far. I've hyped them up for the majority of the last season. The fact they've made it here has been great. Potentially for them, it's a qualification through heats. You know, I do think they're going to make finals. I feel like they're a team of that caliber who will make the finals at some point. But unless they really pick up the pace, it's going to be tough for them to go from 15th all the way up to 3rd. But like I mentioned, they've got enough series points to make it into the semis, and then maybe, you know, top placement to get them into the finals is on the cards.
I'm still waiting for a Bloomy masterclass. Bloomy sitting there 14th, my guy. You know, I'm waiting for them. I'm waiting for the Bloomy Tomzy Pablo Wingu masterclass. It's coming. Slow.
20 bomb. It's a 20 bomb. Don't worry.
30. 20 not enough. 30.
Oh my gosh, listen guys, as much as I want to see now, we only have 3 games left, so the question becomes, which of these trios can hold on long enough either to place top 3 or get enough series points to make it into semis? You know what we're doing. It's time to go back with Sancho West and for game number 4 of the FNCS.
Listen, there's all this talk about, you know, Bloomy, but I want to focus on Link, Fury, and Irazumi because they're just...
Ej, koji drugi level ste? Koja je bilo prvo? Koja je prvo igra?
Games, a 4th, 3rd, and then a 10th as well. These guys have it on lock.
Yeah, they're eliminated. You talked about all those numbers. It's 27 eliminations, so they're looking very, very strong. And hey, but we've seen this before from them. Remember, style, they were in the top end, and all of a sudden, it's these back half of games where they start sliding down. And now we're into game 3 here. The question will be is what they will do. I believe this is game 4. The game 4.
Yeah. Game number 4.
Can't you guys it? Let us see. Good luck with chat. We'll see. Good luck with chat. Tyson zankert tretji.
We're still kind of at all with how Wolfie's got
see. Good luck with chat.
On Irazumi at the very end, but now rolling in off their POY. What have they done today, man? Stop Mongraal. Stopped anyone from coming into Lazy Lake and made it to every single end game.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing there Cubex is right now.
So
we're seeing the previous victory royale winners still doing well. That's a huge momentum to keep that rolling. And we're gonna roll the leaderboard for you to see what is at stake. It is the top 3. So you're seeing Link, Fury, and Irez. What we're seeing right here at 116, and Squeeze 106, who got eliminated early in the game. Last one, Denotes and Reason at 100 points.
But top 8 to see bliz za top 3.
Of course, Dandy, Devin, and Cubex, who we saw on the feed. Get a knock with 96 points. So
Ja,
that's the leaderboard.
ja, ali če
And what's
sem
at
videl,
stake
da
is the
traja
top
30
three.
sekund in
They get
naslednja
automatically
avtomatsko.
into the finals, so they skip the semifinals. They avoid that treacherous reboot round, and they get right into the money. And
Ja,
that is
lahko
what we're all
nočiško.
playing
Rip.
for at the beginning of next month.
Yeah, 100%. And if you want to put this leaderboard a little bit more into, you know, sectioned context, like I would say the top 5 would be like class 1A, right? These guys are all represent each other, triple digits, trying their best to be the heroes of the day at the end, right? Top 3 overall. You got the class, you know, B coming in as well.
Class is
towards
out
the
of
backside, the 80 point
Ah,
all
ja,
the way down
na
towards the
turnirika.
60s, the 50s. They have some
Pa
very
zdaj smo
cool
trio
quirks
danes
on their
veliko
own
boljši
too.
igrajo.
They have
Nimajo veliko
very
killov,
good
kar je zelo
stat lines
presenetljivo.
overall throughout the day, but they need that extra push, the
Ampak
extra
imajo
boom to
konstantne
get all
pač
the way
placements,
towards
kva
the
so
top.
bili
We'll see if they can
šesti,
pull it out there because, you know, if you're going up
a
against
so bili
Denotes
drugi.
every game,
Ja, šesti,
I
drugi
resume towards
pa
the end, Tayson,
prejšnji
it's just a
četrti
phenom
ali
on
peti
low
si ne.
ground right now. Like, there's such no little room basically to fit in any of these, you know, 50,
Ja, Joško,
10th
ti imaš
place
same
teams.
probleme.
See exactly what they can can do.
Ne,
'cause right now,
Kotnik,
Nico,
najbolj za to
I'm
naredim.
watching these fights break out in the feed too. They're surprising me. Actually going down all the way towards the north side of the map. There's trouble in Simi stacks, but at the same time, the retail row fights, they do not stop.
Now we're seeing Lowless
Pa taj sem prav, da
another engagement, of
da je
course,
odprt oken, kaj je držal in mu je mouse pad zmočil. Ja, to je pa GG.
Fourth iteration.
To je pa
So far,
GG.
it may be just, you know, literally a no reboot.
E, kako na bootcampu nima ekstra
It's
mouse
just a
pada, no?
redone here of what we've been watching the entire time. Lowless Trio's in 32nd place. Kiku about to go up here.
Nice.
Bang! Gets that knock.
Kiku-
Gonna come on
Kiku
down to
destroya.
Wisehead. Oh, almost.
Destroya ih.
Almost with the window edit.
Kiko-
If that pepper
Kiko je
five,
cel trio
Wisehead was
ubil.
not running
Pač
around.
GG.
Kiko
GG.
getting 3 eliminations all by himself.
GG.
Portugal maybe we're on the comeback here, Shayo.
Yeah, those 2 gas cans aren't just for show. That's literally just the fuel.
He needs
just, that's just showing us
And I
exactly
got
what he has in the reservoir. It's just absolute fire shots.
Aj
over
bi,
and
ne vem,
over
koliko je
again.
ta
Man,
bootcamp
that
dolg.
was just perfectly played. The angles
Se je
from
šel v
Kiko
bootcampu,
all.
če se
From
ne
the
motim,
top
na
side,
chat.
That means the headshot multiplier more likely to hit.
Mislim,
and
da
hits
še.
harder. Just
Aj pa
absolutely
gremo do
beautiful.
900 lajkov, ajde.
It's so
Ta
interesting. We saw
pickaxe mi gre na
Tyson
živce.
POV.
Pa
You know,
kako ima
he's
šlo
here,
ta
he's the king
pickaxe,
of the leader beast,
Tyson,
which is
no.
what he stands at the moment.
A si fucking
We saw, I think
resen.
there's the LeBron James mural right behind him. I mean, this is what he's trying to chase, right? He's trying to chase
Kako,
LeBron
no?
James. We're trying
O,
to
moj
chase
bog.
greatness right now. I mean, Tyson coming off that
Kar
FNCS solo
neki-
championship,
Oh.
coming off of the FNCS solos, coming off the FNCS trios championship.
Mihac,
Can
verjetno ne.
Tyson be able to return to glory here? That is what we're watching here. You talked about premium gas so far. Does Tyson have enough premium gas to get there? And now we're sitting here with Link Zero. This is the first in the EU with back-to-back
Lama so
10
dobar.
Elim games. So you said it
GG.
right at the opening here, you know, judge, jury, and the elimination, and he's about to get a poor llama right here as an upgrade as well. So, hey, can they resist the slide that happened last time? We'll see.
At 116 for the moment. I'll try to get an update on exactly what the top 3's points were in qual week number 2. But right now, just from the gameplay patterns I'm seeing from this trio, just the way Link, Iris,
Si
and the
uteka
interior
dubbolama, God.
acting up with this, they have height at 5th, right, Sancho?
Kako najjači pickaxe? Najjači pickaxe vam je zato, ker ga Tyson zdaj uporablja.
That makes people trip up in games. They give it up. They sometimes go to play that mid ground, that low ground. They challenge
What's
Tyson
that, Abby?
on the same
Just so
layers.
I
They
know.
survive, which is not an easy feat. And because of this, because
Hey,
of
what
this
is this about?
adaptation, the quick layer change, not as a way to survive, but as a means of an actual game plan. Like they're doing this on purpose, not because someone else is coming up to their lair. Because of this, they're just playing so well, are super consistent, and are staying up top.
Chat. Let's go.
And now there's a storm revealed there, and we're going a little bit more into the central, right there on the east side, a little bit just south of Corny Complex. And hey, Irez, Fury, and Link, they're newly formed trio. Previously,
nimam
you
one
saw
pickaxe,
them play
no,
with
nisem
different
Catwoman.
teammates in week 1, and they only made it to as high as round 3. The Fury and Irez are
To
playing
me
with
vedno
default
zobje
here.
bolijo,
So,
ker lubenica
like we
je
mentioned,
model zadaj.
the French shuffle,
A bil
this
sem
is
pa
a
z
Russian
ozoniku, pa so
shakeup
vse
that's
fiksali,
working
nove
really
plombe,
well,
vse
and it's
in
just
še kar.
taking a second week
Ne
for
vem,
it to
stari.
mature into success.
Ni mi jasen.
If they make it all the way to finals as well, they'll have their
Bootcamp.
chance of securing a drop spot.
Bootcamp, tako
Being
kot imaš
less stressed
kakšen
out overall,
basket
not
camp
having
ali
to go through
karkoli, ne?
reboot.
V športih
It's what
isto.
they want, it's what they can grab right now 100%. Same with Rifle and Astro though, that class B
Potnik
of this
da ne
game
bi.
so far who are rolling in, looking to have a better adaptation for their total story, maybe be the main characters by the end of this. I mean, they've had good positions.
Ta lubenica pa ni
They've
tako
had
dobra
shots
kot ona prejšnja.
and pressure.
Prejšnji
I
teden
just
sem
feel like
god
the
lubenico videl.
consistency is just not there yet game after game.
Hey, they've been close. We talked about qualifier 1 for a little bit. They came in 10th place. And we saw that qualifier 1 had a lot of the giants of the region, going through Aqua, Benji, and then you have Hen, Genesis, Chapix. They all went through in that one, so that was a very tough match to fight in, and they came into 10th place. But we talk about a tough fight. Freemox trio is always going to be a tough fight, and they have to do well. We haven't really talked about it, but the series leaderboard points, this is one of those trios that have to finish around the 20s at least to be able to get into the semifinals, considering they're a newly formed trio.
Right on the line.
Pa so rekao da mora biti top 50.
Place, so
Tili. Primo, gledajte gdje mora biti top 50, če hoče pridati. What?
And not done much with them for the moment.
Dejansko finalsi niso avtomatsko, da greš direktno hita.
Right now, Save It Astro. Rifle, they go for another fight. This always happens. It feels like, week after week, these guys have one very good game. You were mentioning, Sancho, even last week, the 10th overall. They have that one good game, but can't replicate it at least 2 or 3 times entirely. Right now, a 22nd and a 17th to start the day. Not too many points overall. The last game they just played, game number 3, 6th place with 11. But as we watch this go down, Freemock, Wolfie, Letwick in trouble.
GG.
Pleasant Park strikes again. And this time, it's in the face of Paco and his squad.
Paco, MXR, and Gray were able to clean that up quickly.
Yeah, but it's based on serious
so
points.
nicely. I mean, we've been seeing MXR and Gray come from this region, coming from the formerly known as Stealthy Stronghold, so they're always know how to push into Pleasant Park. Paco, MXR, Gray, they're just within the running. That's all you got to be when it comes to this game 6. Just be within the running, because when it gets to
if you get into finals, they have enough serious points for
kids.
kids. Like that's not.
We saw the top 3 go down
Dobra
early,
Lubinica.
and Kiriachi
Pa
was able to
solidna Lubinica, ni taka
overtake
kao Karuna,
Tyson.
prejšnji teden je bila res squad.
I cannot believe that Mappy and Red Rush,
Prejšnji teden sem videl najboljšo Lubinico v
they were able
življenju.
to hold on to their first place top placement after going down literally at 33.
Abby, I don't know. I don't even know how you get these serious
having
points.
A previous game's result affect you in the next one. It's all about having that clean slate, looking at the mistakes other people might be making inside your game too, whether it's on broadcast or watching other people's streams, like the way you might be playing. How did it work out in the game you're not in? Can we replicate that after the fact? All that review will happening live as the next game is about to start. Then you bust in there too. You make sure that you're able to, just have a very good game after the fact. In that moment, you can't let that 33rd just get you down.
Ej, ten zdaj smo sam enkrat. Veš, igram Crazy Time. Pa že res Crazy Time, pa je to.
You might as well be in the last game, so
Pa je to za ena igra.
you don't have to worry about that. What we do have to keep an eye on is Wolfies and Marine, my pick, who went up 12 spots after making it in the in-game. That's how valuable in-game is. You get those bonus placement points when you cross those thresholds of 25th place, 10th place. You get another one, of course, when you get the Victory Royale. So those are some big bonus placement points there. And of course, the eliminations are all going to be at your feet. They're going to be all close together. You could go into your box fighting, your zone wars mentality, or Bugha's late game mentality, whatever you want to call it, and be able to rack up those points. And that's what Marine, Wolfies, and Milan were able to do. Now they moved to 12 points, and considering this 17th place, they have about another game to work with to get within that striking distance.
Lots of trios under the same type of, narrative like that have to use this game as kind of a pick-me-up, and I feel like many different teams have tried all the way down to 69 players right now. Usually there's so many fights. Oh, there's 75 alive.
To nisam vedel. A res čat? Je to za content razbil? En star monitor, a dejansko svoj monitor ta prav zbil?
Oh, I was hearing Levin's voice.
Ja.
Levin's in my ear right now.
Berlino trovo to že dobo, že prišel bronz in že zapravil denar. Ja, GG.
Well, that masterclass has been canceled, it feels like.
Tako je
all the
noga
students
dobo,
are about to go home and they're going to look for some refunds, brother.
They might just get that money back. Pablo, though, finds a way to get all the way away. Meanwhile, we're talking about people taking more risks, trying to have a comeback game here in game number 4 of EU. I mean, I think taking that risk has made a lot of people trip up so far. ADN is finally finding his footing, though, because last game they were the ones to actually trip and fall off.
Lahko bi bilo, da bi dejansko se razjezil in pač tako. Veš, kaj mislim? Če mi pa že takoj zraven monitor, no, veš, pa je tako logično.
That bullying tactic, the looking for fights tactic last game very well in that late 4th, 5th zone.
It's just one of these trios. I mean, you talked about Milan, of course, being one of the first DreamHack champions way back in the day. Milan, who,
Slatko, zanima me, a se dejansko razjezo ali je sam pač.
And Queasy getting in championship. You think, Milan, who used to be the trio mates. It's an easy team to root for, as well as Wolfies, who was kind of back in the World Cup days, you know, just did a lot of things, you know, came on the scene, you're
Pač
thinking
tako,
like,
zanima
man,
me, a
this
se
is
dejansko
definitely- this is time
razjezel,
now, so
a je
it's
sam
just an
pač
easy
tako,
trio to
pač
root
če veš,
for, you
kaj
know?
mislim, no.
Absolutely, and they're kind of playing correctly right now. A trio that thrives on, you know, being the bullies, going for those fights, silent for the moment, respectful, because anyone fighting right now is going to be at danger for a third party or at danger against a trio making very risky plays. I think ADN
Ja,
is
če pa
one of
Marinko
them.
monitor nič
Went
bolj
up
pa ne
against a
umem.
versus squad or somewhere near
Pa
them.
zdaj, ko novega
Bobby's going to
dobo.
be able to go through, find the knock on the ADN, and finish
Dejansko
it.
nisem tega
Amplified
prvič
trades on
slišal
the
to,
Versa.
Chico, what the fuck?
Not sure where this fight is happening, but it's very
To nisem
active.
vedel.
One of the only fights on the map for the moment.
Komp, monitor.
I just have to go back to it. I was just thinking about, you know, Milan. He was trio mates with Mongraal and Mitro. You know, Milan got a lot of guff when it came down to that. You know, it was pointed fingers towards Milan for that trio not working out. So if Milan could go ahead and get in the top 3 with his new trio, that'd be great. Speaking of Mongraal, here he is with Slender and Kiko using that Portuguese connection.
Okay, Chico,
to
dejansko
always
se je
get
full
his way to the
razjezil.
top
Okay,
three.
okay.
Mongraal as well.
Pač ja, to sem mislil, se dejansko full razjezil.
What happened to this
Ali
aggressive
pač je sam pač tako random sesul, a veš, to sem
when
mislil.
it comes to the trying to use that IQ to be able to get into the top 10 and then maybe
ja, pa šampion je
unleash
bil.
Mongraal when he
Okay,
does
okay.
best in those moments.
No,
But so
but,
far, it's been working. Mongraal,
Čudno mi je, da
social media
nisem
has been talking
slišal
about, I need to get better.
tega.
I need to get back into that grind. So far, using the Portuguese boys right now, they're doing really well. They just got to build it on that momentum. You talked about it right here. Game 4 is that way to place that momentum and start making way in towards all together now. Striking distance.
Sploh pa ne kot mod, please. To je res
Striking
nočem.
distance is what all these guys are aiming for. Funnily enough, too, when getting an update
Full
for
respect
the
to druge
Mongraal's
stremere.
trio, it's Kiku who has all the elims on it. We saw how,
Upam, da zastopaš.
you know, just Friday is right now rolling in.
7 mesecev je že to nazaj. Ja, okej.
Zoned in, hitting every single
Vem, da je
shot
igral
for more than
crazy
100
tam,
damage
ampak
over and over
da je
again.
to že 7 mesecev nazaj,
And you're
what the
mentioning
fuck.
the fact that, yeah, Milan wants to make it through, you know, this is
A
gonna
vem,
be the
da
week
sam se
or
lahko narobe
has to be the
slišal,
week
veš.
to prove that maybe he wasn't the problem. We'll have to do it against Mongraal inside the same lobby, which is also very, very cool.
Razbi svoj pis za konec. Ja, najboljši,
That's
chat.
what gets me
Jaz sem
excited
sam
as
svoj
well
računalnik
is
kupil.
Fast-Roki is when we're on board with this trio.
Jaz sem dal svoj
Qualifier
denar,
1, like
Zdaj še
in the
streaming PC
giant
upgradeam s
battle
grafično
of
boljšo.
Qualifier 1, they came in 5th place, but more on that
To mi
later
zdaj
because the
zabava.
giant right now has been knocked in the head by David Stone and Alexis Gating on all 4, trying to get back up. He's going to get the res, but it's always every time I see that name
Oh my God.
or ZR or X-Swedes on the right side of the Elam feed, I'm just like, oh man, especially early, I'm like, not again. Or, you know what I mean? Not again. I mean, these guys, they put on a 25 eliminations, game 1 and game 2 together, and they had 1st and 2nd place. Levin said it, that's a historical performance. You cannot afford a mudslide situation.
Jaz si kar majico
It seems like they just have a little, you know,
What?
one energy bar or like 1 meter of energy to put in towards the entire day, and a win like completely almost depletes it. Towards the next game, they have to take so much time to recharge, might make a few mistakes here or there. The Bills aren't as active. The energy just isn't there. They look like a whole different trio in terms of the way they kind of
Oh, je
move.
to full
compared
dog
to the game
traja.
before.
What?
They just need that one favorable zone, the one chance to have a little bit of a boost, get that bar back to be rolling.
Here we are, 3rd place here, looking to get rolling into the qualifiers, into the finals with a top 3 finish. They've been rolling in the qualifiers, just falling short. So the question is, considering that
Ripa,
they're
ne.
now kind of working the way from the backside into the top 3 versus holding the top 3,
Rip
I think that
monitor.
might be the difference there, Shayo, of having the momentum to work your way through, as if, you know, there's a timer and they have to push through versus holding on. And I've always said,
Chat, ne,
I'd
ne,
rather
ne,
push through
kazal.
something
Gledamo
and
tle.
hold on to the top 3 placements.
Pa se ga
because
lahko
that's
daš
when
skozi
nerves come
okno,
to
gledaš
factor.
skozi okno,
We
se
saw
si
when they
tako
pushed into
kleti.
a box fight, they were a little
Ne.
bit of gun shy.
Tam pa ne upam nasad.
Vino went down early into that, pushing against Lazen's trio out there south of Believer Beach and just didn't work out. But now, we talked about the slide. We already mentioned it so many times. Safik, Patrick, and Default, they may slide right now.
Hey, man, they actually can't. Although 102 looks so good for the moment. And I'm looking back at previous weeks, you know, people ended up at 182 points, 3rd
Oh,
place.
Chad,
I
moram
believe in
Zupiju
week number
pisati,
1,
da
that
nam
was
pozabil.
Hen's trio. And then look at qualifier
Moram
number
Zupiju
2,
pisati.
157 was 3rd place overall in terms of points. So 102, although looking very good, looking on pace, you cannot make any mistakes. You still need to get about, you know, 20, 30 points per game moving on right now. Maybe even more than that, which is asking a lot out of all these trios because the skill disparity
A za kje
is
zamudo,
so
Chad? Aj
even
taj som trio še
across the
žil.
field within this mid game. Towards the end is where few people have boosts here or there. We'll see what happens. Nikovs is one of them. you know, when they're low ground endgame, Sancho, they have more elims than anyone else. It's very true, but getting to that point, they've had some trouble. I believe it was this game or one before in Steamy Stacks, Nikov going down early. I mean, it's just, it's not consistent throughout everyone's, you know, ride here towards endgame, but if they do make it, they get a lot of points.
Yeah, and those lot of points will get him into the 6th place within that proverbial striking distances, as I mentioned here. Zone 4 has been revealed. Moments right now. Waiting, they're playing, waiting for the moment to strike as Mariah picks up a knock on Stasio, but things are about to pick up here as a nice rotation being held off. We already saw him get a couple of tags on the backside from the people in the gas station. Nikov, Wallace, and Podosai were coming from Steamy Stacks. I mean, we've seen them. This is their 3rd time in the qualifiers, as we mentioned, so they could get it all together and get in the top 3 as Monster Trio has been eliminated. And hey, 1st place and Link Fury and Irezumi are already out. Devin, Kubix are previous winners from the game before. Out as well.
Ne, nisam bilo, to je bug, 100% je bug. Ali? Ja. Pit stop buff model.
That's the rule 461. We have to say it sometimes audibly to ourselves, Sancho. I was about to go in like, how?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, engagement, so many shots fired, but now they have another chance at 4th zone in a position above other trios all the way on height. We see this over and over, but at the same time, for some reason, they don't hold on to it. They give it up. They bait someone else to take this position and then shadow them all the way through the end game, knowing that there's no way height can really pressure us right below, and it works out every single time. So we'll see what Default, Sapphic, and Putra can do. The Residential, basically 1st place trio for the moment, 116 points to start off the game. Notice I one lost Leakoff. We just saw the stat. Most Elim Sancho on the low ground. The question is, can they survive this 5th zone move to get there?
Fast Roki getting an elimination on a play well boy right there. So Fast Roki, another big dangerous eliminator in the game, doing his thing, making some work done.
Donzi Classic, začel 5 v chatu.
59 players as Zone 5 has been revealed. Only 2 trios are safely there. And Nikov, Wallace, Podosai have been getting tagged up in their entire time of the rotation. They're going to have to rely on this one right here and maybe survive, but hey, pressure up top here, not going to let them go. And we're already seeing a bad launch pad already cost ADM's trio. Mates,
Surge me zanima.
KK Wet here in Sirexo, who are feeling the pressure of the Storm Surge.
Yeah, no thunder, just lightning right now, but there's so much of it.
Daj sam jeszcze živ, ja.
In the skies, there's no chance
for
any of these guys right now to be able
this whole side
look at each other. They have to shield up or do something. Artor's trying to break in. He puts a launch pad down. He's trying
something. I mean,
go for it.
Oh, Mongraal pa Kiko sta dobila killa. Mongraal tole igra, dobro igra.
No one's making any
Paka sa dobil tudi kill.
Does not have enough minis to hold on to his 4 people.
117 bilo, rabijo zdaj
He
tega
may not
dobiti.
survive this pad right now as you're seeing a lot of light.
Kar ne tegajo noč model. Kar noč nisem tegal, pa vsi so leteli. What? Kar ne morajo zadeti.
Just graph of people flying over. There was a chance for Trizox.
Ko jim ni ratal z nobenega tega zdajle, what?
No one was shooting back at them. But they
Ko jim
don't
to ni
land a single
ratal.
shot and are still
Mongraal
getting
3 imajo 6 killov, insane. To je njihov game. Ta game klačajo.
4 people still need to go down. 1 damage below Storm Surge. Just need 1 pump shotgun, anything.
And damage below Surge, oh my god. And damage below Surge, ok, neč reč and damage.
Oh my goodness.
GG, Trizox smrtv.
And not even one bullet can fly their bodies by. Trizox is out. KK
Njegov teammate bo tudi zdaj umrl.
If there is a motto for
Yeah, GG,
Fortnite,
Anchor got
like the
such
great
tag
ninja
and
once
GG.
said, you got to hit your shots, kid. The shots didn't come through, and the elimination has been confirmed. That trio is out. Now on board with the man that is everyone has their eyes on, no doubt, from all fans from around the world, especially the E region. Mongraal, alongside Kiko, now have to do this as a duo. Kiko has 5 eliminations alongside with the big Graal with 1,
GG.
and they have a max pool.
Max break.
This is going to be something where do they decide to go early? We've been seeing so many people go early and crank up the height.
Malo je v isto meca, ki je kar tako levo desno daje te piramide.
Trio who's watching Mongraal tarp out, and they got to watch out. It's essentially what's going to happen. A pad's going to happen, and this team is going to basically cap anyone, but the pad gets taken out. A good thing they had another pad in the back pocket. And here we go. Here comes the rotation towards zone 6.
Rotera dejansko lahko vizi ostaneš gor.
That's what the zone's about. When it goes off a mountain,
gledamo
everyone just stays in the air. One loss though. Nakeos all the way down.
pa te hajt igrali. Dobro, ali hajt igrati. Kiko je dobil knock spet. Ja, dejansko hajt igra, easy. To so imeli easy. Samo oni ne smejo dobro odigrati, no. Oni ne smejo dobro odigrati.
They have Hyde again, and Alex
Forziar
is still
tu
in
če
this
zmeržil.
game as well, and
Double kill.
Forziar picking up an elimination on Astro. So the very top 2,
Čakaj,
3,
Mongraal
and
pa Kiga sta
4
še edina
are still
živa.
in this
Kje je
fight.
Tyson?
One loss is in this fight. Let's take a
Ne,
look
kje je ta...
at the
Tysonov
chaos
trio
that's
so še
unfolding
vsi
in front
živi.
of your eyes.
Vsi
As
full
everyone-
health.
Hey, Hyde gets
To,
chopped
Centric je low.
again.
Let's go, let's go. To je
A
dobro za
big chop
Tysona.
is happening, and
Dobro za
that wrench
Tysona.
turns into a big axe. And Centric's default
O,
and
zastroje
Puck
pad,
against
zastroje
Sapek
pad.
are at the give
Ma
up
še 2
height.
peda, tako da chila.
Default has so many launch pads still
Ja, Putrik pa te imajo
available
tudi.
after
To je
two
četrti
stuffed
game,
ones
chat. Tyson še
this
živ.
game. Sapek and Putrik, though, they get it back, and Storm Surge is the ultimate enemy
Maybe,
of
yeah,
game
maybe.
number 4,
I mean,
'cause
I don't know,
count
really.
at least 6 to 7 different trios still
You can
getting sniped
gamble
from
and
the
just
sky.
spray. It depends on
The
range as well.
forecast is pain,
To je
and that's
četvrta
the
igra,
pain
chat,
that's
ja.
coming down. 10 people have to go down
Četvrta igra.
for the power of Storm Surge. And I can't
Evo za prava
believe
kod je
that
ScorpLZ
Savage
šel
trio
chat,
is
sploh ko
still
bo nova
holding on to
sezona.
height.
Več
They're
kanal
holding on to
supporterjev,
height, but they're only
več
just
velik pesov bom
surviving.
giftu, pa
Kiko
na
right now
2000
is on to his
supporterjev
third elo
giftam
maxing in the feed.
skin
In the
v vrednosti
last
800 V-bucksov
seconds, this
vsako
thing is
nedeljo,
popping
tako da.
off. He can
He's popping off. Got another one.
Reason je double kill, let's go. Kiko tudi spet. Ne, Tyson je mrtev. Ok, mislim, da je Veno pa Reason sta še oba dva živa. Mislim, da sta še oba živa. Gledam, kje so. Ne vidim jih. A, Veno je še živ. Veno je še živ, Reason ne vem, je. Reason ne vem, je še živ ali ne.
Hey, the masterclass is officially canceled. Bloomy has been eliminated by 4ZR.
Zgaj se
So now
podaril
the
na
bounce
tam na
back of the
hajtu.
storm
A da
here.
noben ne bi landil tja.
Again, this man is on fire. We're what? Can we get a POV on Zeku? This man is on a blaze. And
Ja,
he is lighting up
Reason pa
everything. It
Veno sta
doesn't
oba
matter if it's
živa.
hard
Ok,
mats, it doesn't
nice,
matter if
nice.
it's soft mats. Kiko's
Abi
on
tiho.
fire, baby.
Oba sta živa.
Kiko's still popping off. Very good trap set up.
Abi je toxic, chat, Abi, jaz imam dejansko, Abi je full abusive do mene. Jaz rabam pomoč.
Don't have the same amount of time to set up traps. They have to get 4-0 all the way away from
Forziar je še kar živ. Ta cel trio je še kar živ.
He's going to be looking for a way to get
Ja,
into
top 12
for the moment. But they're going to be
zaenkrat.
boxing him out because zone's going back towards that side. And the Lex
Mongraal je
HP2.
tudi še živ. To je
High
nice.
ground, he can't really have a say into anything right now. There's too many builds all the way around with his bounce back, but Safik's getting close and personal with it. Looking for those double edits. This might be the wave, and boom! A big shot on the blaster. He takes minimal damage on the reciprocating feedback from
Veno je umrl.
that peak and angle. Safik's still looking for more at the
Čakaj,
same time.
a je
Nikos
Reason še živ,
is
chat?
looking to be very close to his teammates, not actually
Vino to sem
following the
videl.
full rifle with a big E-limbs. Three of
Reason
them
je
side
lihkar
by
umrl.
side.
10 so bili.
Forzi are still active in Jules. I
To je
mean,
slabo, ne bojo top 3
everyone's
zdajle.
going down
Mislim, da
this
niso
speed.
top 3
Not enough
več.
space for all these
Če se ne
trios to
motam.
live, and Moraine goes down too.
Their
Se ne
first
motam, odvisen,
elimination
koliko sem
from
imel
holding
killov.
on to height. The
koliko
bounce
sem imel
back
killov.
really hurt their height hold.
Kikov ne
Yeah,
čujemo,
they've been able
da.
to be up there, but the eliminations are not there because
Zelo gre
everyone's
jutra
going
samo
through all
leja,
builds.
tako,
As the
tako.
second elimination knock from Safik happens right here.
Kiko
Moraine
zdaj
gets
full dobro
eliminated.
igra.
ADN gets out from the storm side, but we have to keep
Kiko
an
je
eye
lihkar
on the
umrl.
low ground because there in the low ground is someone who's doing so much damage and feeding into it because it's not the high ground, and Safik is getting an X-squeeze and
Mongraal še živ?
knock on
Ne, Mongraal je knockam
trade
isto.
with Analyx. Those two are
Drug
colliding
drugega
and they
sta
get
knockala.
each other out.
Mongraal
Kiko
mrtev.
finally goes
A ne,
down right
Kiko je
now.
še
This
zdaj
entire
umrl.
server
What? Sem mislil, da
is
sem
an
videl.
inverse Jenga tower from the bottom up.
Kiko je imel toliko killov zdajle, model.
Down inside the zone. Forzi
To
are
bil
the
insane
only one
clutch
to be able to
od
call this little
njihovega tima.
sliver of a safe place home, but there's no chance for him to live either. Safik now has to do the impossible and try to clutch up. The Chuck
Dejansko je, dejansko so oni zmagali zdajle. A je tole drugi njihov win? A je to drugi njihov win, chat? Če se ne motam. Dajte vsi GGs v chat, vsi GGs v chat. Pa ne bo zasti sem tlajka, pa porav kode ScorpLZ v item shopu. To bom se zdaj večkrat ponavljal, ful premalo sem proveril svojo kodo. Ko ne pozadite upisati kode noter, tu če noče kupite, da ne pozadite, če kdaj kaj kupite. Ok, da vidimo. Jep, Forziar, pa njihov trio, prvi, Safik, pa ta pojem, da je to pa Putrik. Drugi, ok, Tyson je še vedno tretji, ok, še vedno je top 3. Komi, ampak je. Teli so že kar uspredi. Sam še 2 igri sta čet. 11 so bili, 11. Killov nimajo veliko, ne? Teli so že 2 zmagali, model. Tam teli so bili pa tretji, pa 12 killov. Ja, insane, lejte to, 10 killov, 15 killov, 12 killov. Insane, insane killi. Dixon, kakšen klip? A od Amarja. O, to je Tyson, chat.
have a dance move. Dance move. Yeah.
To je Tyson, chat. Ne upa plesat. Vzel mu je bombone. GG.
See. I have a dance move.
Ja, GG, McDonald's. Sladkarije. GG. Ne, zajebam se. A ja, Mongraal nismo pogledali, kaj jaz delam. Mongraal je 12. chat. Pač 11 killov so imeli. Pač tale game jih je ponesel kar dosti visok, ne? Ker rabijo dosti series pointov po mojem, da pridejo pol naprej, ne? A je to prvi finale, chat, ki je Mongraal to sezono? A? Odram Paničov, ne vem. Zdaj, oni niso toliko več ozadja, ne? Oni, če imajo še en tak game, dejansko lahko. Dejansko. Tyson je tretji. No, dajte ene besede, preden bo naslednja, ajde. Možno bez skripto? Ne vem, pač bomo videli. A si to sliš? Kaj, Tyson je v Nemčiji. Tixon je poslal ta video, abi.
I don't think it went how they would have necessarily wanted it to. Nevertheless, though, they've been okay in the past couple games, right? 2 fifth places, 9 eliminations in both, so not
To imate easy. Kako mi level 5? Chat, samo še 2 igri. Samo še 2 igri sta. Ja? Samo še 2 igri. Tyson mora biti top 3. Vedno. Vsak teden so bili skozi top 3, pa pol na konc vedno niso bili. Tako da upajmo, da zdaj bojo, ne? Upamo. Kaj delam v Nemčiji? Ja, na bootcampu je v Nemčiji, na bootcampu. No, eno, Abi Johnson že 2 besede ugotovila. Insane. Filip, jaz sem super, kako si ti?
All I'm gonna say to you guys, please just don't choke. Like, we've seen you here in multiple weeks now. We've seen you in multiple...
Evo, lihkar govori o Tysonu pa njihovom triatu. Se rekel, ne zdaj chokat. Videli smo vas vsak teden tukaj, kad ste bili top 3. Bootcamp, to je tako kot za košarko basket camp, pač. Greš tja, ne vem, team building in take stvari imaš, ne vem. Spoznaš folk, treniraš tam. A fart ste probali? Fart niste probali, chat. Fart. F-A-R-T. Kako niste tega probali? Ja, haleluja. Abi je sam 3 ugotovila. Ja, GG's. Next match, chat, bo zdaj, mislim, da. Yep. Dajte good luck v chat za Tysona, pa Mongraal tudi prvoščva. Good luck za Tysona, pa Mongraala. Igra številka 5, chat. Igra številka 5. Skoro sem kliknul end stream. GG.
Absolutely. Trying to give it as much as possible. But hey, Vino, Tyson, and Reason, they've been clutching it up. They've been clutching up as a duo, they've been clutching up sometimes as a solo, so we've been seeing it throughout the qualifiers. They have 2 games to work with. We talked about it, Leather said it. 2 games is all you need to be able to get yourself into the top 3.
Tole zadnjo igro so pop-upali, imeli so 11 killov. Zdaj moram zmagati, pa so pol top 3. A za Mongraala govoriš tem za?
Right now, the top 3 is in control of Fury, Irez, Link, but hey, that only victory out only bolted them 2 spots. And they only had 5 eliminations and a victory out.
Koliko ima Tyson točk, chat?
And they got 11 eliminations in the
Mongraal je že dobil knock, let's go.
They could just do anything close to
Nice.
that.
Mongraala hočemo videti v finalu, chat. Mongraala hočemo videti v finalu. Ja, Tyson. Ja, če eno zmage v teh 2, bojo po mojem ostali top 3, verjetno, no. Ni pa nujno. Čeprav ni nujno, veš, zato ker prve 2 sta kar v spredi, no.
screen right now. Here's the top 5 as well. 154 points all the way in first. 137. Those top 2 teams, Sapphix and Andalexes, they have a little bit of a pedestal. After that, 118, 117, 116. Past that 2, beneath the top 5, 104, 199. These guys are neck and neck. It's like a waterfall of points all the way from the top. It's so close, and anyone can really make it up that big current, but there's a lot of pressure, especially onto Taste and Vino and Reason.
We opened up the broadcast talking about this is the last dance, last chance. Well, we've been seeing this song and dance again from the Russians when it comes to Sapphix and Link's trio. They have been in this spot before. They just gotta avoid not to trip over their own feet. They gotta make sure they stay within this and stick with the band.
And this is Tyson's classic strategy. We're watching
Tyson, kaj delaš, Tyson? Oh my god.
One of the sides, and yeah, this is the first time
Zakaj bi šel brez shieldov, pa brez mecov to? Meni je hodil tega, da biti sam. Zakaj je Believer Beach dober spot? Zato, ker imaš pri temu botu vedno vsaj modar pump. Nisem skoraj vedno, imaš modar pump, če ne epic pump. Zato. Pa imaš tudi metal, shielde, neki sodo imaš.
We've all been there from the pubs all the way to arena. Doesn't matter who you play Fortnite with. You all know there's always that player. You literally shoot one bullet, it tags him for like 10 HP. It can even tag him for 1 HP. They're going to come and key you. It always happens.
Key might not come through because a lot of teams are playing super reserve
for
now.
sure.
Blue pump. Čaj, koliko je modar pumpa? Je 50 golda. Modar pumpa je pocena. Epic pumpa je 100 golda. Modar pumpa lahko takoj kupaš. Od začetka, ja, poj verjetno, ja. 50 je, ja.
Didn't actually follow up and get the full trio wiped. Now the first trio gets wiped in here, and it looks like it's Scrams. Mon lost as well. Fighting Podesai. Podesai getting swagged down as well, all the way towards the top side. Or fighting with Podesai. I mean, might have been a build knock that came through, but the names are so close side by side. There is trouble at Steamy Stacks.
Yeah, and that trouble is still in the center of the zone, but now we talked about Zone 1's revealed. The home zone team is Andalex's trio. They have an opportunity to be able to get a great kind of solidification into the top 3. They already talked about the we saw last week, we saw Madness being able to hold on to the 162. The previous week before that, about 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago, was Benji's trio.
Well, people do say that Believer Beach is the best one, just because you can get at least blue pump,
right now,
if not epic pump.
They get in like 10-15, that'll be able to be a good spot for the top 3. But
Mislim, kdaj je lahko Leggy Pump? Sam, če je Leggy Pump je slaba. A nima oni lame tle zraven, a se meni sam zdi. A sem je videl čez zraven. Sama, ne? Ja.
Especially against a team that you know you got big white tags on. The medkit might have been there.
Zdaj le rabijo. Ajde, Tyson, tale fight rabite zmagat. Tale fight rabite zmagat nujno. Veno nima shieldov.
In this match right now, Sancho, they're not really diving straight into these boxes. They know who they're dealing with, and they're not fully
okay, Latvik je low.
What a nightmare engagement for Taste and Reason and Vino. They have all to fight for right here. They're in the 3rd place. Again, top 3 get in, and they have Freemuck, Leopard, and Wolfie here knocking on the front door, more like using a battering ram to knock down that door.
Sparks fly, damage from both sides.
Heavy Legendary's pump is bad just because you need 250 gold. So only one player can usually have it. It's better to have 3 epic pumps than 1 Leggy. Ok, oni grejo stran, ok, chillajo. Upam, da so dubali kaj tega, verjetno so, no, če so bili unirov. Tege so dubali, to je dobro. Teli rabijo slabo odigrati, a so spet lamo dubali, a ne, ok, to odpirajo.
Essentially, you have that launch pad, you could be able to pad right into Believer Beach, and so that is what we saw right there. Unfold in front
Oni
of us.
imajo dejansko 3 igre z 10 plus elimination, to je pač insane, to je insane.
Name change going to Analata gave him just a little bit of a kind of stat boost as he's sitting in 1st place.
Yeah, sitting with records too. These guys rolling in 10 elims plus over and over again. The only game they haven't had it happen is when they got taken out a little bit closer towards that mid-game overall.
Si rekel, da bo šel
for everyone else, the game where things are different. But if we're back down to the real business, if we're back down to high-quality round 4 games of the FNCS, that means these guys have another chance. Andalex, 4ZR, X-Squeeze,
Tale je peta igra, chat, tale je peta igra. Ajde, folk, 9 lajkov do 900, gremo do Jurija lajkov. Jurija lajkov, pride Marinko instantno v Discord call. Mora reči, ne bom jaz za njega in mora reči, oh yeah. Me ne zanima. Jurija lajkov, Marinko reče, oh yeah.
The CL-centric combination actually booped down Link Fury and Irazumi.
Tak, teli so drugi, ne? Teli so pa drugi.
Forehand as well.
Pač Putrik je njegov trio in pa Forziarjev trio morajo odigrati slabo, da ima Tyson lažji del, tako da je top 3, ne? Pa tega so zanimivi tudi drugač fajn, no. Bolje povem, da te za njimi slabo igrajo, realno, proti pred njimi.
Right off of a bounce back.
Let me correct that
because when these guys are in the lead, they do pop off. That first game was 11. The issue is really with the bounce back. The only team we've seen so far who's been really good off of a bounce back has been Analex, Forger, and X-Squeeze. They went down, they made a personal, they broke away a lot of builds. They played risky, but it paid off because they got 15 eliminations in the game.
Te so tudi blizu tako, ali?
You see the way Safik does it, right? So the issue here is that when they at first only had 5 healers, they just stayed up there, they played passive. They guaranteed the win, but you're gonna have to do more possibly if you want to hold on to second place.
And what we're talking about, folks, is the bounce back in the moving zone when the storm washes over old builds. And when it washes over old builds, the low to mid ground, they go through enemy builds. They have so much coverage. And hey, I already mentioned, you know, we don't have the firepower to break through all that. That's when you get in those 5 elims.
A niso prišli v finale oni kalendajo v stealthi. Če bi imel slučajno gleda stream, a oni niso prišli naprej.
But hey, we already see Kubex here, Devin and Dan there. They kind of made a little bit of some noise, a little bit of a ruckus. They got 100 points, and right now they're in 7th place. They're within the zone to get into the top 3, and I have to give them their flowers a little bit here, just some little flowers, a little bouquet.
Hvala za sad. Hvala sem, ker ste se sabali. Pozdravljeni vsi v Scorp Gang. Gremo do 32 jurjev, 40 jurjev, bom giveaway svoje stare slušalke podpisane, ok, chat? One OG slušalke, s katerimi sem začel streamati.
I know this is a big Apex predator rolling in, and they're taking shots from all sides. But if there's a trio that can hide everyone, it has to be Dander, Devin, and Kubex.
GG, Metzi.
In the game they won,
Addio, Metzi.
every trio
Kaj za to,
fight,
Metzi?
game, their vehicle actually takes a big tumble. I'm not sure if they're going to keep getting followed, but no, see, they got away. It's all good. It's fine. No. I lied. We're and Wolf here.
Trije timi zdaj kar enkrat tle.
Not letting go.
Look at this perfect storm of an engagement happening in Weeping Woods. And hey, I don't think any of these trios have the know-withal or wherewithal, basically, to know when to get out of this fight.
They need certain ingredients, though, Devin, Dander, and Kubex. They need 2 trios to start fighting together. That's when they actually end up activating, whether it's a third party or just leaving the engagement entirely.
NHP!
He was leaving. Why go for the edit? Just run, my man. You have so much time to buy with Sursix now inside Wolfie's eyes.
Piše nula. GG.
Stay and even go for this engagement. ZQ's there too. I mean, they're setting themselves up, Sancho, to have another box fight with Letwick. I don't think that's a fight they can win.
All I know is when you add an element into this kind of equation, and that's Fremont, it is combustible, it is chaotic, and that's what caused such a reckoning here in the Weeping Woods cabin. So peaceful, but the full tears are happening right now for anyone taking this engagement. If you're Devin or Kubex, you just got to get out of here. It's not worth the fight.
Vsi, ki imajo blizu 100 točk, ali 100+, morajo slabo odigrati.
Desperately trying to get as
Za
much
Tysona.
metal material here in this basement
Kaj je
area.
Denotes?
I know you got
Sad, že 50 lajkov, da bo Niko reče, oh yeah.
Have that confidence as our good friend Monster D-Face likes to says, half a man, half a player. But it's just not enough when you have Fremont staring right at your face.
It's tough. He always has that unorthodox type of way to just keep being a little bit more aggressive.
Ja, ne, en Denotes kaš igral.
Pushing onto a certain
Ko
wall.
Mongraal točke, ne, 72 ali koliko.
He's comfortable with it.
Prejšnja igra so full klačali. To igra mislim, da so še živi. Vem, da so na začetku dobili knock, ne vem pa so jih ubili ali ne.
Links by himself underneath the basement of Pablo Winku. Fury's down. Everywhere across the map, people are trying.
To je dobro, da teli... To je dobro, da sta tukaj sam še 2 živa. To je zelo dobro. Ker te so četrti.
And some of that, you got to go beyond your best just to
Zdaj
get in
možno,
the
da so
top
zdaj tretji,
three.
ker so dobar
We've seen
kill.
the resumes of all
Jaz sem
these
treniral, nima
trios.
kjer
I've been
pokrijem.
looking, doing all the work. You see them make it to the heats, make it to the semifinals. Most of these groups here haven't been able to get through in this new format, going to the finals with a
Vidimo
top
Surge, verjetno so
three
above, ne
finish.
bilo. Yep.
Fury, Irazumi, and
120
Leak,
above.
another team from the Russian side of the world here who have known to make a slide here in the qualifiers. And right now, they're in 5th place. But right now, it could be the start of that slide.
Could possibly be. Link, Fury, Irazumi used to, you know, the lavish lifestyle of being inside the top 3 coming into a game. And you're right, they're in 5th place. They're no longer in that super upper echelon, but at the same time, they're basically tied for 3rd overall. There's about 8 to 10 teams at the moment who have a chance to be in 3rd place. Tayson's the one that kind of leads the pack with Reason and Vino on that kind of tiebreaker-ish thing, the 10-point, 15-point differential. But once again, 30 points for the VR, points for Elam's coming in over and over, and you know, some of these endgame teams racking double digits.
A zdaj bo pravi staj. Povej dobri igrač, ki jih ne igra.
Anyone inside the top 10.
Povej njen, kva bi igral. Čak, tamle, Link je nokan, yes, to je dobar, to je dobar, to je dobar chat.
Oh no,
To je dobar za Tysona, oni so
I
četvrti.
was just listening to the rattling of the bullets colliding against the builds.
To je nice, to je nice, to je
Irez
nice.
gets eliminated by Balumi. We talked about the master and gets a knock on Jojo. The master class is now starting here in the mid game.
Putik pa te so drugi.
May cost one of our Russian teams a top 3 placement. This is only game 5. We still have one more to go, but the pairing of the games
Sam
are
štiri above so.
crucial in a games of 6 sets.
Sam 4 above.
Sapphix trio, Aqua's trio, Patterns.
Sam lahko outkille, to, ker sam še 3 rabe umret, po mojem, ker ima Bendigan.
Both have 2 victory royales right now in EU, inside the system. But the weirdest thing is inside round 4, right, the way
58
they're
below
doing it,
so.
Aqua is just completely dominating on height over and over again, right? And when it comes to Sapphix, Putrick, and ISM default, they're
sploh
kind of
Surgeon
rolling
na
in that
koncu.
way too, but they also
Okay, never mind, mislim, list da je.
Yeah, we no doubt the safest route is sometimes the best route, especially when you're dealing with so many people going from high. But
Čak, ta gledati kar umre, kaj je som damage-a.
Ended by the storm surge. It's raining down on them. This is a team that's currently sitting in 2nd place, who got a 5 elimination victory royale.
To je dobar, moja problem je Surgeon, to je dobar.
They have Mosh
To je
on the
dobar.
other side of this wall here, but no advancement into this fight. So now they're gonna have to retreat. They got the minis, but they don't have the tags here, Shayo. They're doing anything that they can to find tags. And the tags are just not coming through. They have a
cel trio,
they have
Maru.
about 4 minis on one player.
Dva lahko
but it may
umreta,
not
ne?
be enough.
Sam
As you
še
can see,
eden rab umret.
one more player has to come down to stop this onslaught from that purple lightning. Oh my.
Bleeding. They're
Pač imajo ta gana, ne?
Putrick.
En mora umret, to bo kar še trajalo.
One more.
Ampak že tako so dosti grifani. Ja, Savik je on, ko je umrl. Yep, GG.
It might be default too. Might just be
To je dobar, to je dobar, to je dobar.
They're out.
To je dobar.
And that is 2nd place. Now stopped
Bravo,
in their
Denotes.
tracks, rolling through 137
To je dobar, to je dobar. Drugi tim je umrtel. To je dobro za Tysona. In za Mongraala.
They're going to be on pause and that gives the chance
Forziar še umre. Če Forziar trio umre.
Taste Vino and Reason. There we go. To clap back and get all the way towards the top.
Tyson ima vsak game drug skin. GG.
The outside in towards Sapphix trio.
GG.
And now they'll have a chance
Ja,
to climb.
Tyson mora zdaj zmagati,
I see
nujno.
what you're doing. You're trying to
Mislim,
put them
nujno.
all together in one.
Kaj bi bilo?
Vizun Sun. There it is. Vizun Sun here.
Jaz obožujem pudding. Zakaj Denotes?
Together here, trying their best to get into that top 3. But that was the 23rd
Čokoladni
team
pudding sa
taking out
smetanco
our
on top.
2nd place team in Master's
God.
Trios. Just shows you how stacked these
Oh,
trios are.
let's
What a
go.
big knock.
Insane
Tayson
snipe.
with the sniper shot against
Insane
Fremont.
snipe.
You may be an amazing box fighter. You may be crazy with that pump, but Tayson with the lethal elimination there.
Kar fuj pudding pravi, ja, GG. Kaj je Mongraal edini že, nisem videl.
It's usually Fremont landing those as well onto other players, especially in the duos type
Rojk so očitno
solo
abi.
type competitions, but this time he's the one caught out. Always interesting things happening.
Saj
at
to,
Scorpy.
Juško, saj to.
I was gonna say too
Kaj naj
that,
preberem,
you know, game
Denotes?
3, game 4. That
Sem
was the
prebral,
difference
saj sem
maker. That was
odgovoril.
the catch-up game. We don't usually see this big of a tie.
A bi,
in
saj sem ti
game
odgovoril,
five. There's
Denotes, saj sem ti
separate
odgovoril.
islands for everyone
What?
to be on. It feels like Andalex, Forjar, and XQueeze are the only ones on a very high island on their own. Everyone else is just kind of packed in like sardines side by side.
Teli so,
who's going to be picked to be inside the top 3, but
teli so tudi, te more tudi umreti.
MXR, 122 points with Paco. They're in the contention. They're in riding. They're in 4th
Ne,
place,
čak.
right
A
behind
so
Vino.
oni drugi chat?
I'm just
Ma,
amazed
ne
to
vem,
see the
pozabil sem.
difference as Zone 4 has been revealed and so many people on the Stormline box fighting. We saw in previous games so many people kind of
Sem še
scattered
nekaj
throughout
napisal
in
pol.
the safe zone.
Ja, nisem videl
This is
Denotes.
a different tale
Pač,
this time,
pogledal
folks.
sem.
Everybody's on the
Vprašal sem
Stormline
me, če
playing
manam
box fight,
pudding,
looking for
in
Storm
potem si
to
rekel,
attack.
alo, boš prebral.
The magic number right now for a lot of these teams you see
Potem
at
si
100
napisal, moram še
points,
enkrat,
right,
ok,
to hit for
zdaj
this
bom
game, the
jezen.
goal
Evo,
is
vse tvoje zadnje message sem prebral.
137.
I like that.
Usually we start this point ticker at game 6 to see who can come top 3, but with Sapphic, Default, and Putric now out, the second place team, they had 137 points overall. Every team from 3rd down to 8th will try
Tebi ne
to hit
kaže
this
pol stvari
threshold.
dejansko.
Photosign
Pošlji mi
you
v
got one
DM
last week. One of
screenshot, da
them,
vidim.
They're about almost 20 points away from it. We'll see if they can hit that mark because we'll have lots of top tier players side by side with the same goal.
And right below that tier is Matzo's trio, Jules' trio, Mongraal, Nakos, and Milan. They need to be able to stay in this end game to be able to have a chance.
Ja, vidim, da so
in game
Mongraal
6.
trio je še cel
As you already
živ.
talked about,
Kar zdaj
Vino,
govorijo.
Tayson, Reason, they're all on
Ne,
their feet.
imam
Paco
live chat,
and
imam live
MXR
chat,
with Gray,
imam
they're all
live
on their
chat.
feet, so they could kind of push into that top 3 a little bit more here. That's what's at stake here. It is game 5 here, or the qualifiers.
Ne, čeprav ni,
This is
lej.
the last chance
Mongraal
for the
je
top 3,
dejansko
and after
sam.
this, it's the semifinals, and it goes
Živijo,
into the top
Cesar,
6
jojo.
and we get broken down into heat.
Dejansko je sam, jaz zdaj sem videl. Ja, to bo
Reboot round, and
težka.
We're gonna have 4
To bo
rounds of
težka.
that, considering that Tayson disbanded with Nate and 4ZR.
We talked about
Free
magic
kill.
with the numbers. Look at the passion with Fastaroki, KONČNO, and Void too.
O, fast rocky low.
Pick up, but at the same time, retaliation from the other side. Artor's going to be the one to go down. And yeah, 137 might be the magic rule. We're inside the industrial zone
Tam,
now.
med so
though. The
pepper je
era
tam še, pa
of
flopper je.
Slurpee Swamps, the
Maybe bojo
hydro
dobil loot.
facility down below. A place where there's lots of, you know, not man-made builds, just game-made entirely to kind of traverse around. It's very difficult on low ground. Look at it. Look at the sites. Everyone in their own little houses. Got their steam engines chugging. This is going to be very, very difficult
Denotes, po
for
moje,
anyone to
po
be
moje to
free
YouTube
form and have a
avtomatsko
chance to make their own
stran da.
layers overall
moje ti je
on low
YouTube
ground. This will be
zbrisal.
a very beneficial zone to anyone
Kaj
in
neumnosti
mid
pišeš.
and if we go anywhere towards the right side in this next second. No, we go
Koliko
towards
pik
the
sem imel?
top left.
V solo
Thank you.
cash cupu
If we
sem
go
imel
towards the right side,
99
it'll be even more
točk, chat.
trouble. We move towards the top left.
Ni
The
slabo,
majority
ni
of
pa,
people
ni pa tudi
have
ful dober.
advantage on zone.
Imel sem šanso
I'm
za
trying to
120
figure
točk,
out,
pa sem
is
zasral.
Mongraal a solo? He was in a cone trying to
Kaj je
scout
napisal?
out this rotation here.
Putting,
He's up above
he
Festroki,
said,
who is right
putting
now
my
gonna have to
balls in
decide
your
how to make this
mouth.
rotation.
He
6
said that.
people have to go down. And Storm Surge, the nemesis of this entire EU region, this game set of 6, is now making its return here. Already causing chaos right ahead. That's going to be Festroki's ability to bullseye in, to narrow in his focus. But the beams get returned on the
Zanima me,
backside.
kakšen surge imajo Tyson od trio spet.
Kind of
Zdaj me, če lahko Mongraal dejansko zdaj klača. Ker Mongraal rab zdaj le pride do 100 točk, če oni hoče zadnji igra probat pride top 3. Ja, GG, Mongraal je mrtev. Mongraal nima več šans za top 3. A, boš, ki igrajo boljš bo, ne? Da se zihar uhiti. Komarja imam v sobi. Usudijo, GG. Ga mi je spičil.
And Mongraal as a solo was eliminated
Na
by
Tyson od
Black.
trio.
All right, Blackie takes that one out. Reason, Vino, Tayson once again.
So 240 bav, kar je dobro.
They haven't had that complete control. They haven't even had that super retake. They've stuck to low ground the entire time, but at the same instance, they kind of fell quiet.
Zbijali bojo hajt. Zbijajo hajt.
Elims here, 4 elims there.
Okej, dejansko jim lahko rata.
These guys have rested long enough. This might be the game.
Dejansko jim lahko hajt rata zbit.
Now we're taking a
Zbil so
peek here,
hajt.
zone 5, and you're just seeing it's kind of like an even spread. That half and half
Pa še
out,
enkrat
if
jim
it
bojo na
goes,
konc
the
bil.
moving zone 6, if it goes up north,
Že to, da
that's
so
gonna
jih
cause a
zgripali
lot
za
more
mece, je
chaos,
veliko.
considering that we're seeing who's going to be able to fight for height here.
Evo, tam
If it
je
goes south,
Forziar
you'll see a
gor,
lot more
Forziar
people
od
being able to
trio.
have the ability to control it here. So
Ma
let's see where it
161 pik,
pulls.
uf.
We have some time, and it
Toliko so
actually
ahead
pulls
model.
towards the east side here, and look at how many arrows. We're gonna have to keep an eye on who has the advantage. But right now we have
Yeah,
that
north
squeeze up
side je
first place
cheese.
in the top right, and then we
Cheese
have
free,
Tayson
GG.
on the bottom right in 3rd place.
Hey, clip that and watch it back.
Ja,
Almost
insane,
every
ba je,
arrow in
Slava,
that
me.
zone.
Me je to smešen ta
Just
pik,
had a
jaz ima
triple
Tyson.
take all the way away towards the right. They looked at
No, pedal boja. Imajo še en pedpol, imajo še en pedpol.
Treacherous, but you know, low-key zones you're going to see. It's not going to be a huge mountain in the way. It's not going to be a big, you know, steep drop-off of a big cliff they have to climb, but it's going to be a very huge and steep incline over a low amount of time. And look at it. Now we'll start to roll. Max all the way on high ground. X-Squeeze.
Teli mora slabo odigrati, na? Dobro, oni so itak toliko spred, da nima neke veze. Boljše, da unika so za Tysona motrijo tam slabo igrajo.
It's all about getting in front of the zone as much as possible. If you want to hold on to height, you said the Mex boys are up there, but Andalex is now rotating and making his way through slowly and slowly going up to height. And this is, you talked about it, a layered type of mountain. It has little plateaus and it goes up a little bit more.
Malo shotgun nema ta, za ta tek, če hoče spamat.
More chaos to rain down just by the map itself.
They were about 10 stories higher than low ground right now.
Abby, I'm not saying GG because of Marinko. What do you mean?
The same layer, they're now only 2 stories of natural low ground. This thing is pulling up very fast, and Erican,
GG. Ko reče Marinko.
To this very elevation changing high ground, low ground situation. Max and you know the entire Max trio rolling in. They're going to be fine.
Abby, kar noče da to govorim.
But now we're just 10. Everything's closing in, and fast Roki goes down to
noče da govorim.
his first version of
O, Marinko, da je tako easy uponašal. Aj, pa 7 lajkov pa Marinko pride reči, to je, zdaj ne bom spamal.
Go ahead and try to pick up Vino here as the zone is pushing to the northwest. And is this going to be deja vu? A team that's on the bottom of the board be able to win the victory out. This is the 33rd team that's holding on to that height right now. So we got to keep an eye on that team as Boyd gets a knock on Tomzy. Eclipse gets Zico eliminated.
Spamamo chat, Jure lajko je, spamamo. Svor sam Enerix.
And there it is, the height team right there.
Ja nisam zdaj gledal Juško, če sem gledal DM. Zdaj nisem videl, a je Veno nokan slučajno. Ja, Tyson ima 2 kila, ni nokan, okej. Imajo 3 kile. Ta je rekel, kada ga je zadel, sem mislil, da ga je zadel. Oh, pulal so zon, god. Pulal so zon. Čakam, kva čaka?
High ground's going to be a threat. They haven't been in this position before. They've been so low, they haven't had to deal with it before. But now that will be their #1 challenge. Mellum, Slove, and Hurtig, they're looking to put down the
Čakaj, da je konc pa boš rekel, ajde.
He has a pad, and he may go for the perfect pad. It's about 70 meters. If he could mark it, he could get up there.
And right below them, X-Squeeze, 4-0, Andalex, they're waiting for Tyson to make a
move.
They take out Nikov for one last. What a moment for a refresh.
Tudi to bi lahko Denotes. Denotes, zdaj pa men sam, men v zadnji, a veš. Karabam za ta teden, ko se snema video. Ok, Tyson pa Rizan so dobil kill, nice. Te imajo to kilo vedno, 7 kilo imajo že spet. Pač ne vem, stari. Daj?
Ingram is still on the low ground, making his way to the front side, but he's unable to get anybody because all the trios on the mid ground are so healthy right now. Andalex, Nakos, 4-0 are picking up eliminations. Nakos, there it is! Tyson goes high to the pad, but it was just a little short. They do have one more pad if they want to try to get another take height. It didn't go through this time. X-Squeeze does get elimination on Nakos, so that was huge, but they're still going to fight for child. They still want height.
Nimajo več velik matcev. Top 5 so zdaj, kar je dober. Lep damage.
Going for the double edit, but does not control the cone, so he can't get it just now. The side jump comes in. Another elevation change. What? With a 5 damage shot, it's enough to make it happen. Low HP, but
Majster je tega kar pumpno model.
The clutch god, the clutch minister of the EU.
Dejansko lahko zmagajo tole, chat.
He says no to fall damage and survives and gets across the hand.
Mislim, da niso oni dobil. Mislim, da Andalex ni dobil killa.
Takes out Tyson. Now Tyson is out. It's up to
Vino. Je dobil kill, dejansko mu je štel.
On the top of the board. We're seeing 2 Titans, 2 Giants exchanging haymakers.
Let's go! Dejansko je zmagal. Let's go!
Vino, Tyson and Reason.
Let's go!
He takes away that victory out from the French team. What a chaotic.
Let's go! Didel si GG so chat. Master imel nič HP-a in je dol skočil in dobil kill. Let's go, GG's! Let's go! Dej Marinko prit, no. Tiska mova, zgubil vse role.
That was first versus second in game 5, Sancho. That's all you could ask for.
Yeah, two haymakers going back and forth.
Če, evo.
Knocking that KO hit.
Orziar 202 piki, Tyson 168 točk.
Settling it here.
Zdaj, Mongraal, čakaj, Mongraal je bil prej 12.
We're gonna have the break.
Sam zdaj so z jih padali. Ja, Mongraal je zdaj 18. 20 so umrli.
Take it to the desk.
Chat, a je možno, da oni niso to... Ja, je možno drugače. Koliko so doba zdaj točk, chat? Doba so jih 50. Tako da ne smejo, če pridejo še en endgame, ga čilajo, ne? Če pridejo še en endgame, ga čilajo. Niso še zihar naprej, ne? Zdaj so zmagali z 10 kili. Pač, kdorkoli od telih zmaga z 10 kili, telih gre naprej, ne? Tako da Tyson ne sme. Pa se ni refresh, letak da se je, še ne igre. Babi.
Let me just put my reticle under a little dome and shoot them in the cabeza.
Ne gre kar tako dom zdaj.
I love Fortnite, bro.
No, these guys are good for a win. Every qualifier, they're good for at least the one win. And
Zakaj med gamom lahko sam membri pišejo? Zato, da folk ne lika stvari.
they were a team who we know they've struggled to actually.
Zato, da, ker folk pol pove, kaj se dogaja, ker je tukaj vedno delay.
There's no excuse now. These guys have
Chat, samo še ena igre in zdaj Marinko ne bo prišel, ali?
somebody who is the sort
Ja, evo, chat, in zdaj Marinko ne bo prišel.
we know what they are.
Denotes, zakaj? Pač,
Has shown he has the talent, but he's needed to prove at the highest level, and that is what you need to do to shut people up, to prove you have what it takes at this highest level. And a brilliant game, a brilliant finish.
So that shot alone, I mean, look, we all know that he's already proven it realistically in terms of his talent. Definitely right here now, a bit definitely solidifying that, but let's just wait a minute. That was a 360 to win as well. That he edits his floor, spins 360, hits the shot to pick it up, does it in style, does it with fashion on top of that. And like I said, in the next game, I think they just need a couple points.
Žene, jo.
And they should solidify themselves top 3. Obviously, it does depend on what the team's
Chat, Denotes so se zahvalite,
Just because I can't go.
da Marinko ne bo rekel, oh yeah.
Let's talk about tasting there real quick. Absolutely
GG.
electric. But once again, we'll get to it there. We'll get to it there.
We'll get to it. We got to take a look at some of these trios on the bubble. Trios that need to pull out all the stops in this final game if they want to make that top 3. Boys,
Ja,
break it
GG.
down for me.
Anej, pozdravljam, vi ste membri, hvala, ljubi za Aneja, kako si Anej, hvala ti za support. A igramo eno tole, ajde. Ja, Denotes je mu Marinko da skozi ven iz kola. GG.
Yeah, we saw them being eliminated to Storm Surge this
Ne moram
really
verjeti.
struggling a little bit, which was unfortunate. Same with Paco MXR.
Denotes mi uničuje
They were
content.
so close. They were in 4th coming into this as well. Now they
Anej, hvala ti za support. Kako si Anej?
moving essentially. They made it there, picked up the moving surge. So again, these teams are kind of choking a little bit
Okay.
close to the threshold to qualify.
And then Vino recent tasting a team who I'm sure will be higher than 3rd place.
They were
when we look
third,
at
they
these
were,
standings.
yeah.
They were 3rd, but now I'm sure they will be higher than that because of that phenomenal win. And we can take a look. They are sitting now in 2nd place, just 1 place upwards. And Alexis Reason Forcio had a phenomenal game as well, though, and that puts them at 202 points.
Če, sam še ena igre. Tyson dobro kaže, da ostanejo top 3, ampak ne smejo zdaj čovkat, ne smejo zdaj čovkat. Ker zdaj čovkajo, pa unika so 4., pa 5., dobro da igrajo, je GG.
Fine margins here, Reese. It's really going to be a battle in this final game.
Yeah, this is the story. Vino, Taste, and Reason almost solidified qual as long as they get a couple more points, probably. The battle for that 3rd slot, Safek's team, going against Wanlast and Paco's team, all so close.
Ja, klačijo,
If any
chatu.
of them goes down earlier, they're going to be eliminated off and not going to qual.
Klači ne tryharda, ne igra solo arene.
Need to qual,
GG.
and it is so close going into the final game. Yet again, like every other qualifier this season. So
Ja, mi sploh še imamo emoji GG, nimamo, a?
Teams are teams who we talk
Memberi.
about at the top of the show as being top competitors, being people who
Kaj imamo tle že fake letterje, sploh videl nisem.
expect to put in an absolute shift, and they have. And it's going to be sad that, like, at the end of it, there's going to be that one team that we have to go, yeah, they didn't make it. But genuinely, up to this point, all of them have been brilliant, and I'm really excited to see who will.
Dva kolega pride klače pet, ja ne vem, če bo hotel. Kje si zmotan, yo.
Say, I'm reeling that
Yes, he's smarter.
entire Vino 360 shot to end the game has shaken me in my core. The fact this is the last game is shaking me in
Dixon
my
sem si že
core.
pogledal, veš?
I don't know what to do. I'm gonna go drink some surf juice, but for now we're going into game number 6. We got Sancho West.
Yep, naslednja igra. Dajte vsi good luck v chat, vsi gala v chat, vsi gala v chat za Tysona.
Good luck to all of you.
Zdaj, če pridejo, sam da dobijo neki točk, bi mogli chillat. ni nujno, ampak zdaj je dobro, zadnjo igro odigral so zihar naprej, tako da to je to. Ajde, vsi gala, evo, pomemben only chat.
One of the best game sixes we've watched, even ever since Qual 1.
Ever since the format changed, we've seen it all come down to game 6, week 1, week 2. Now we got qualifier 3. It's going to come down to these final moments. The top 3, Andalex, Forziarix, Squeeze, Vino, Tayson, Reason, Sapphic, Default, and Patrick are all holding on to their spots. And they still have about 3 other trios within the striking distance to come on through. This is going to be exciting. This is what FNCS is all about.
We'll watch Putrick on the glide
Kaj je
in.
to model? Okay.
He's going to be basically the defender of 3rd place with Sapphic and 97 default beside him. 137 points. They were stopped, frozen in
Zmagal
time
za 7 killi in AZR tako imre, je Tyson lahko prvi. Ja, dobar.
As a result, they got no
Saj ne gre se jim za to, da so prvi ali ne. Dejansko nima veze.
25th place, 0 eliminations. And now one loss.
On ve, da ima biga za sabo. Ja, zihar ve, zdaj ga je zih
5 points
videl.
away. Astro though, he starts off strong. Slov also taking out Save It, who might get relegated once again into another reboot round. Rifla taken out too by Melum. The trio last game, Sancho, we saw had such good control of height.
Such good control of height, but so far their woes continue. They're still on the bottom of the board, coming in 30th place.
Lepše se vidat,
Now we go over to Podesai.
Važno je kako bojo v finalu odigrali.
One loss, and Nikov, the 4th place team, has been having clean engagements.
Da sem bil kjer je bil Tyson prejšnja sezona? Tretji ali kjer?
So far,
Imagine chat, da zmagajo to sezono, da Tyson spet zmaga FNCS, to bi bilo god.
So the number that we're all watching is 137, Shio. That's going to be the golden number. Podesai trio is at 132. So now we see a living, breathing threshold, folks. And this is what I'm going to write down that number, 137.
Get ready to write it in pencil or something. It's going to change. Basically, the rule is,
če bi to tikaj so četrti bež, jaz bi padli, bi šli landati Tysona. Ja, ali pa ne. A veš kaj je fora? Ti veš, da je Tyson pa njegov trio so eni izmed najboljših fighterjev, eni izmed boljših fighterjev v gameu. Da greš ti pušat, zato ti lahko, imaš ti veliko šanso, da tudi umreš in ne moreš sploh klačati pol. A veš, to je bolj problem. Bi bilo pametno, če bi jih ubili, ampak lahko pa sebe zgrifajo s tem. Ker oni tja landajo in znajo dobro tam landati.
Isn't that running? MXR, great Paco. I mean, you look at MXR, you look at over. POI used to be called Stealthy Stronghold. This man has been here season holding it down.
Zgubit imajo to, da ne more kvalati top 3, če umre off spawn. Se veš, da so še drugi, se ni Tyson edini. Se veš, da oni morajo zdaj igrati na zmago. Če zmagajo, imajo še šanso, da pridejo top 3. Se veš.
You know, today if they can skip that
process, na njih landati, veš?
I mean, that would be huge.
Sploh pa kao oni niso tretji.
This entire field of trios, there's a lot of resumes that have FNCS experience into the finals. Around Podesai One Loss is one of those ones that they're just always there. You see them in the feed, you see them in the, the finals, you see them on the leaderboards, and they're always in the middle of the pack, but that doesn't mean they don't have that opportunity to get in to the top 3. Now we're seeing
Ja sam zdaj prijel, če ne bojo ubili nove kvala. Ne res, Juško. What?
This is the home
zone. To zdaj govoriš, da bo Tyson Onyx so tretji zihar zmagali.
Vino, Reason, and Tayson. The one time where the 6th game is not going to actually give them the hardest chance to qualify. The one time where it's finally looking like they're not going to come in 4th place, break the curse they've had this entire season, qual after qual. It's Believer Beach. It's called that because I believe. I believe in Tayson, I believe in Reason and Vino. They have it this game, but at the same time, look at things overall. Craggy has a chance to clap back. Steamy has a pretty fast rotation. That's exactly where Podesai One Loss are as well. The south side can rise up. Easily Sapphic, Putrick, and Default, they can make it in after they're done their entire loop path, and they're driving fast right now. Moving out of Dirty Docks, past the bridge, full gas, don't even take that bridge. They're going towards the river. They know exactly where they want to be with those chonkers in tow. They want to go straight over to the zone.
If there's one trio to slow down that home zone advantage, that is Freemox sitting in Coral Castle. We've already seen a storming of the beach by them, padding over, causing a ruckus.
I'll put a mirror up though and look at game 5 and 6 and how things were different. They're all the way towards the backside of Coral now. They're not looking for that advantage south side position they were holding against Tayson before. Everyone is going back to the safest play they can make to get out of
evo, gremo do Jurija 100 lajkov, ajde, folk, skinite like, ne pozabravljamo kod ScorpLZ v shopu in pa me followat valjda na trotu za ekstra streame. Sploh bo šola. Tam bo ekstra streaming, medtem ko bo YouTube 3 uri streami plus videi, tako da. Bo content, chat. Tudi mačotka, meni tam bo zdaj več kot 3 ure streama.
Time and time again when it comes to game 6. If you go down early, especially right now in the early game, that's going to leave the door open for someone to sneak in. You're going to take your top 3 spot.
Now imagine, you know,
you're full chokal, prejšnji game is chokal.
It's game number 3, right?
Yep.
It's just ended. You have a 4th place with 11 eliminations. You have a 3rd place with 11 eliminations. You have a 10th place with 5 elims. You're looking so good, so confident. You're in 1st place overall. You're Link, Irazumi, and Fury. And suddenly, 2 more games pass by. You hit a 25th slot with nothing. You hit a 26th slot with almost nothing. That's the story of 6th place overall right now. About 20 points behind overall, where they should be their rightful spot in the top 3, but at the same time, only 3 teams can make it, and there's so many that deserve it. Right now will have to be the difference maker. Once again, 137 is what we're looking at right now.
Teli morajo slabo odigrati, ker te imajo šanso, da prehtijo, ne? Pač 4. pa 5, a ne? Morajo umreti, pa je v bistvu Tyson top 3. Oziroma 4., 5., 6. od teh 3 timov morata 2 tima umreti, pa je Tyson zihar naprej.
That they're sliding down out of that top 3. They just got to put together and make sure that they get another one right here. It's on the line as Patrick does get a knock, so that's going to be great for that Russian trio to be able to put a little bit more. We'll keep an eye if they get that eliminations. Every elimination is worth 2 points here. Yes, there's another one, 2 points right there. So now the threshold goes up to 139.
And there's one last little fine print detail I can talk about right now in general. It is relevant because there are teams dropping like flies all around.
Mene sploh ne connectal Discord na temu.
Yeah, certain players might have just jumped in for the first time in the round 4 or needed a certain placement overall today. Some of these trios, JoJo's who we've seen go down here and there. 26th overall, they're currently in 28th place. I'm checking if they've been taken out. Looking, doesn't look like completely.
Zakaj me noče na main računalniku konektati v Discord? Kar ne dela mi.
The Slove boys need 23rd overall. The high ground demons are in 30th
A se ga dosti slišal, chat?
There's a bunch of teams who are basically on this overall bubble that need to move in. We'll see exactly how things go. The analyst desk will be great at breaking them down entirely overall. I still want to focus though on that top 3.
I mean, reopen, I mean, not reinstall.
This is what will take these guys straight to finals. Tayson needs to do it. Irazumi is down.
Oh no!
Ingram is fighting in his box. It's all up to Link. And I think in a 1v2, yes, or a 1v3.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Teli ne more več, Nice.
He does have the firepower to hold on. He can retreat if he has to, but he's going to decide to take the fight. Armed with that legendary pump, he's going to go for height. It is Vox here on the other side. Doesn't get the box in. Hey, he almost did. He almost boxed him in.
Magic pump,
he does get a big hit against Vox. Yes, gets the knock confirmed. Gets to hold on as much as possible. Top 3's at stake. 69 tag down below to Ingram.
Meister bo klačal vse.
Here for Link, and he's going to try to clutch for his team as much as possible. Ingram's on the other side here. Let's go, Link. Can he hold on?
Almost there. Ingram going all the way towards the top. A storm fight that could change his life. He's hit every single shot so far and has the HP advantage.
Dejansko klača zdaj. God klača.
Link's trying to use against him. That sideways
rab kartice pobrat.
2-3 times repeated.
No, rab kartice dobiti.
Both teammates, both players gonna have a chance to basically take a little bit of time.
Gre stran, sploh. Gre po kartice.
Link though, 3 mats, 2, 1, none.
Nima matcev. Ta komentator je kar repo zdajle. 3 mats, 2, 1, none.
Now he can survive the whole way through. I mean, the issue right now, Sancho, is even if he wins this fight, this is a sad state to kind of talk about. He's got 1 card. I'm not sure if he has 2 overall. Find something inside the zone. There's purple arrows waiting on the left. It seems like the Reaper's already at the door. Over for Link. Even if he gets out of this, he has to win another 1v3.
He did pick up both cards. He just picked up the second one of his trio mate.
Dve kartice pobral, majster klača na polno. Sam Link je boril to. V vsakem primeru so skaft, ne? Kaj je, Marinko? Kva?
And we go from one Russian tail to the other. And this is 3rd place Safix looking very strong so far. HP a little bit hurt with the Safik here, but no trios in sight. Other stories
Marinko,
unfolding
lahko
here. The
smash pa
rest of the
poveš.
pack. Paco is within that way. He can make his way through. Sitting at 5th place, is sitting at around 133 points. So Paco's team is making a move.
Te igrajo slabo igrati.
May over. Well, no. Okay, One Loss is still just ahead of Paco right now.
Yeah, One Loss still ahead of Paco, and at the same time, One Loss just got elimination onto Agram, so he's gonna edge even closer.
Ja, Juško, oni so
towards
avtomatsko
Safik
že v
and Future.
finalsih, a ne?
Every elimination
Zato ne
now,
slišiš za njih.
that these 3rd place to 7th place
Oni,
team set is
Savage,
going
pa
to be
kdo...
huge,
Ja, pa
huge.
Tyson v trio bi mogel biti. Pač oni pa
Closer
Savage
to
so.
them, so
A ne, čaj,
another one
Janis
waiting
v trio je
in
zmagal, a
goal
ne?
for One Loss put aside
Ne.
Nikov.
Kdo je prejšnji
If
sezon
Link ends up
zmagal?
going down, if he
Oh,
actually
jaz sem confused.
ends up rebooting people entirely, then goes down again, it'll be trouble. But no, it's Nail, Giannis, and Kane on his walls. 127 points right now for Link.
A Janis v trio
So
zmagal?
close. On the
Trulex
brink, but
trio,
right now
ja.
still lost in that purple storm.
Ja, čaki.
Kane
Ne,
looking at
kjer so
playing
bili
a
pa
little bit of
Janis pa
defense,
te
winning
pa...
at the
Čak,
time. I think he's got some heals to waste a lot of Links.
čak
but
malo.
Link is not interested in playing the waiting game. He'll go
Trulex
for
je
the bush.
zmagal.
Link's gonna have to
Tretji
throw
so bili
everything at the
Tysonov
kitchen,
trio.
including the kitchen sink here, just to be able to survive this engagement. He has to think his
Kdo je
way through
bil?
because he's going to try to use his permanent pad just to get through. Wants to save as much as possible
time.
here because he's going to pad over to another side, get a reboot van. We already seen Tayson Vino here. Look at this, 12,
Četvrti.
10 HP. 9
Ja, čak.
HP. He's gliding
Benji
through.
se
He
kvalo,
sees
ja.
the end game. The storm is moving
5,
away from him. Even if he
4,
lands, he's going to have to
3,
throw another pad. He makes it through. You got to get down. Get down. Build and throw another pad as fast as possible. That's your only chance. He finds some fruit and veggies here to be able to last a little bit longer.
Oh,
Bananas keep him
Master je kar
alive.
živ.
Keep him alive. What
There's
a
no
great
way.
play. There's no way. Link is going to get the reboot as well. This is what the FNCS is all about. Throw everything at it, including that kitchen sink, baby.
Pa si plesal,
Possibly the
Marinko.
pantry for this moment, but Mariah's
Ah, ja,
catching
kaj je
up to
z
him.
njo?
But
Kaj je
has
z
the
njo?
same idea. I don't see his teammates beside
He's a
him.
solo
Where's
as well.
Wolfies?
A?
He's looking for that reboot. He gets tagged on the way through.
A ja,
so
točen,
now
kola so
multiple trails.
prvi
JoJo's
turnir.
included
Ah,
who needs
zato jih
this.
nismo videli, ja, ja, ja.
Oh, the tree.
Ja, ja.
The tree.
Še dva peda ima, majster, še dva peda ima.
He's going to be lost over here. 29 damage, really good to keep up on Surge, which is not going to be a thing right now, but maybe in the future if these guys end up living out. Fury, though, no shield. Every shot will be lethal.
Majster,
Will hurt even twice as
peda,
more.
zakaj ne
6
peda?
HP in the storm. I assume he's going down.
Zakaj ne
Fury
peda,
with a
what?
frown. He's off again, and Link
Ja,
gets
GG.
taken out.
Cel
What
trio je šel,
a
mislim, to je
valiant
dobro. Tyson je še
effort.
živ, ja.
Think about who got those elims, though, Sancho. Put aside Nikov.
No,
and
Marinko,
One
4
Loss will
razložil,
need
20 nas,
a
kjer si
point check
plesal.
on them, because with that, they might take over Safik, Default, and Putrick.
6th place gone. That opens the door for Fast Roki, Karma, and Void, who are in 7th place into this fight. Now we're seeing a kind of a score check. This is the 3rd place team, 144.
Ok, ja bi
Getting
sendit.
beamed a little bit.
Are they in 3rd place?
A ta
though?
Marinko
This
je
is the
thirsty, ej.
POV I want a first-person perspective of, or I guess
Pa
a
če ni,
third-person.
zakaj mi ne piše, kaj je napisal
They
pol
still are,
Marinko?
put aside.
Tam piše, veš,
141
uno, s kjer sem
to
plesal.
Safik's
To je to.
144, so a 3-point differential. 2 elims can change the pace of everything.
Remember,
Oh
Paco
my
is still
God.
back there at 133. And we already seen Fast
Ne bom
Roki have
kazal na
the
streamu,
ability to
Marinko, no.
get double digits and get the Victory Royale. So Fast Roki, even though he's way behind, that is what's going to take for Fast Roki to qualify. He's going to need
In
a
Marinko, kaj se je
Victory
zgodilo?
Royale
Plesal
and
si in to je to,
some high
kaj, GG.
eliminations to get in. So that is that qualification condition.
Here's the issue, though, right? All these double-digit elim end games we're seeing, they happen when the server is popping, bumping, stacked. Right now, Sancho, it is not as thick at all. 58 players in the 3rd zone.
Wow.
I don't feel like these end game double-digit
Oh!
variations are gonna come through. But Bonaside shot will. Jules.
To je bil
take a
dobar
seat,
snipe,
my
to je bil
man.
dobar snipe za Surge.
These guys want
Sicer
it.
ga verjetno nisem ravno, ampak maybe.
Side with the long distance
Oh, moj
shot.
bog, Marinko.
And that could be his shot to get him in the top 3. Because like we said, eliminations matter. And now that top 3 is in danger. Is Blaster, Yaxto, and Nakos. They're coming in. They're going to crash down this party hard as Patrick gets eliminated. Now it's up to Sapping and Default. The
Oh,
lobby
nice,
focus is now
nice.
coming
Oni so
in
na
to clean up
slabem
the
spet, to je
scraps
full
here.
nice, to je full nice.
Another Russian team in danger of sliding out of the
Čak,
top
če oni-
3. This
če
is
oni
bad,
umrejo-
Trial. Really, really bad.
Mislim, da je Tyson... Ne. A so oni... Čaj, a so teli tretji ali
Three-man
drugi?
operation. These guys
Te so
have
tre-
of
te so
control,
tretji, a ne?
playing passive, of sticking to the rules.
Pri teh ni
It's not
toliko
gonna be
veze.
there for
Bolj je
the
veze,
moment.
da,
They have to go off the rails.
da še en od njih top 6
Gonna have
umre.
to
Top
completely adapt.
4,
There
top
is
5,
no
top
reboot
6.
van in sight. This will have
Eni
to
so že
be
umrli, ne?
a two-man show. Safik to hold on to
Mislim,
qualification.
da Paco pa te.
And now if he goes down, Sancho, Safik and Default end up just eliminated off of one of the toughest rotations in the game. The Believer beachside beat. The Core Castle type wave. I mean, you need mats for this. You need players. You need numbers. And
Tady jsem nedobu kill, nisam vidio rip.
Man, the checklist is vast. You need mobility. You need everything at your disposal.
Evo, sine tala igrao do igra 100, nebo zabrao koji izgubili za Wild Shopu za svaki 20 supporteri u giftam skine. U Fortniteu, tako da hvala sam ga brate. Ko da tu brate u Rocket League i drugih igracah ne bi gamesov. Tu je kakšno igra kripta. Čatili umrejo, chat, čatili umrejo. Mislim da je Tyson automatsko u kolu. Mislim da, no. To se ne motam zato, ker je drugi. Saj mislim, no.
This man's been such a problem, a thorn. And every single rosy dream all these trios have towards that top 3 line.
That green tack's not going to be enough to put on a defensive hold. That's not going to be enough when a full trio is knocking out your walls.
Yeah, 2v3, you need the potential for the one pump. We saw how well it worked for
Forza
Link.
spet nakdobo. Forza alba te danes dobar igrao. But insane.
But they're going to need much more firepower to break out of this one. Meanwhile, X-Squeeze only pushes the lead. Another elimination for these for that trio. 202 and more now all the way at the top. Sapphic, Default, the only ones alive. This is the most important perspective right now. These guys are in 3rd place. Top 3 is the cutoff for who can make finals out of this qualifier so far. To the 33 teams playing here today. This is the final qualifier for Europe. After this, next week we'll have the semifinals and the reboot round. Story for Sapphic though is not over. Is Nakeos in their builds?
Chat, Marinko me dan smak rasanje be. Veno je nokan. To ni dobar, to ni dobar. To ni dobar. Zakaj je Veno nokan? A bil snajpan. Glede na to, da ni bil še finišan, predvidevam, da je bil snajpan. Ja, Veno je finišan. GG. Ne smejo. Deli so tretji, ja.
They have so much of a little bit of a leeway in this final game. The issue is one lost Portisai are 3 points. Another knock comes in for one loss. That's another 1 point behind. If one loss gets this elimination, if he fully secures it, if he gets the siphon, it'll be huge. Sapphic, though, is taking open edits at other players. They see the Elam feed. They see one loss getting knocks. They know what's going down. So they got young Bob. Absolutely genius strategy. And they get the elimination. Oh, no. They get clapped back, tried it from the backside. Finds one wall open on Sapphic, and he takes another shot from the left. He has to find a way to get all the way back. Wants to make sure he stays safe. No player can go down. They can't afford to take so much damage either. They have no big pot, Sancho. Only minis. They don't have the HP needed to maintain this over time.
Aj 15 star zdaj. V prvoletnem gre, ne?
He's gonna jump back in. They want more elims.
They need this because one loss is right on their backside, really close, nipping at their heels with every knock elimination. I don't think one loss got that confirmation that we're looking for, but Young Bob's elimination from Sapphic Trio may be just enough to give them that buffer that they need. Again,
ne, 7 evrov sam dan, Abi. 7 evrov sam dan. Tako kad sam šlo vrhi delja, 15 je Marinka pa.
It got Young Bob, like you mentioned, they caught him on the backside.
And look at one loss.
Kvaj s tem zonom?
The man with the sniper, the man
Cel
with the
zon
dream.
vodi.
The man who's making this all happen in between. They're at 147 points.
Tyson ma blizu, Tyson ma easy rotation lah.
Yes, Sapphic has.
I think so, yes.
A sa Tyson pa Rizan še oba živa.
Okay, so 147 is the new
Jaz sem
third place
Tysona,
line.
nisem zihar za Rizana. Ja, Rizan je tudi.
At the same time,
Rizan pa
other
Tyson
people in the
sta
fray.
vsaj še one dva sta živa.
MXR, Paco, they're looking to still clap back, and they're right here beside Sapphic and Default. They want to eliminate this duo beside them. They want to take out the people below them, but once again, Gray is down. It's a 2-man up.
I gotta bring this up. Look at the pool. The pool's
Pa
nasty.
še dva
It's
morta.
all in the water.
Če te dva umreta pred Tysonom,
all these rotations
je
here,
GG.
folks. In 4
Tyson
seconds,
definitivno
you're gonna have to
kola.
figure out how they're gonna
Zato, ker
answer
en tim je
this
že od
problematic
njih.
rotation. I don't
Umaru,
know,
ki
man.
imajo šanse.
MXR Paco as a duo, they could glide through. Let's see how they take it. Looks like they're gonna go some flight. I hear some pads. Nakos takes it. They're gonna use this greedy pad. But Paco
blokal so in pad.
catches Paco as is leaving, and that's a huge elimination.
Gripa niso bili.
156 points.
Nice,
Default
nice.
can't get out.
To je dobar, to je dobar, to je
That was
dobar.
a great engagement. 156, Shayo.
Dubla sta kile, kar je huge za njih, ne, ampak... A ne! Ja, ne, te niso tretji, te so tretji. Tole sta lih kar klačala, da sta dobila te kile. Te mi bi ustala zdaj tretji.
That was a great play. They baited that community pad, understanding that so many different people would have their eye on it. They were able to capitalize.
You know what I mean by that? It's not like that.
Every elimination is worth 2 points. And now
I mean, it's in like the other team wanted to get them.
What are they doing? Because that's the only team that's going to slow them down.
Yeah, there was a 3-legged race. Safik actually dropped down. Might be troublesome for him right now. He's in focus.
Look at Pinchy.
Needs to get help back up from default. There it is. It's fine, but he used Woodville to fortify that so they know that these guys are in trouble. It's all on water. This zone basically doesn't exist. Default tries to stay alive all the way towards height. He has to find a rat little box to hide in. It's not going to be possible. Just wood builds now every time.
Santili podasaj pa te so zelo bliz, ne?
The eyes will
Tem
be on him.
centrikom.
156 points for default. A solo man keeping the dream alive. Podasaj one loss.
Prvi moj 37. To je bilo že prej.
Because they just watched Safik
Eno
go
igro se
down.
spomnim.
Default solo has to clutch here.
Res flaška. Vsaječka kaj tazga vprašaš, da ti zmanjša za 20% šanse, da imaš kdajkoli moda. Moš to sprašvati. Moderatora veš kaj. Ne gre to tako.
Going down to low, no eyes on him so far, no eyes at all. He's gonna sneak on way through, Shio. I can't believe this rotation is still happening and no shots have been sent this way, and he's going for an elim.
Pay attention to the top right. One mistake from Centric default. And their finals run
157 točk na zaenkrat tunali.
I feel like Podasaj will have enough in the tank to clap back. Here comes
7
the
točk
shots.
prednosti.
22 builds, all just with wood. Default. It's still
A centri tega so desno gor so tretji, ne? In Podasaj pa te so, mislim, da četrti.
And he's getting free shots on everyone on the entire server. A box though that he wasn't sure was safe. It's not. There's a triangle. Everybody finds a way to make it by. And still no one's shooting him.
Centric je
120 HP.
scuffed.
Another fight near the storm. Default. The tournament run on the line here. Looking for the next shot. Does not find it. Another one.
Centric je mrtev. Teli rabijo Podasaj, pa te rabijo samo 6 točk, da pridejo top 3, chat. Teli lahko dejansko klačajo, da pridejo top 3.
And maybe clutch that EU final spot.
Also, they just got to stay on their feet. The placement points were able to get them through as well. They are on the low ground, but look at the builds. Podasaj is plumb out. One
nisem gledal, Tyson je mrtev.
on height. Tyson gets eliminated.
Mislim, da so oni vse. Mislim, da je Tyson. Rizan je še živ. Dubo je knock. Dubo je kill. Ja, jaz mislim, da je Tyson. Mislim, da je Tyson naprej. Mislim, da je naprej. Mogel bi ostati top 3. Zihar.
Every bullet that comes through, every bullet that sweeps through, one loss goes down.
Podasaj pa te rabijo samo še 3 točke rabijo, ne 2. Če pride do 157, kvalajo. In sam še on je. Čiko je še živ. Isto točk imajo, izenačeni so. Če, Tyson mislim, da je... Rizan je še živ, no, ampak Tysonov trio so pač... So še direkt v finale naprej. Mongraal trio je še živ. Čekaj, je lika Romero. Teli lahko, ne, čeprav Teli lahko še pridejo naprej, chat. Kako se zdaj dogaja model. Teli klačajo, tale klača zdajle. Teli klačajo, teli lahko hvalajo. Teli Oh my god. Oh my god. Teli klačajo na polno zdajle. Eno točko so v zadnji. What? Za top 3. Dejansko bojo klačali. Vejo, da rabijo kile. Mislim, ne rabijo kile dejansko. Še en placement dobijo, pa so top 3. Evo, mislim, da so kvalali. Klačal so zadnji game. Holy. Dejansko so klačali, Teli. Te so dejansko klačali. Insane clutch. Holy. Insane clutch.
Gets them into the top 3. It's game 6. It always comes down to the last moment.
Vsi GG so chat. Vsi GG so chat. Pogledamo lestvico, mislim, da je Tyson. Ja, Tyson še vedno drugi. In Teli so zdajle klačali, da so pršali na 3. mest. Teli so zdajle klačali. Insane. Če 2 vina so imeli, pa niso bili top 3. Evo, Tyson je naprej v velikem finalu. GG. Dede vse najboljše za Nexi očet. Nexi ima pa je danes rojsten dan. GG, Tyson 3, 6, 2, 4, 11, 1, 5, to je drugač dober. To je dober, ampak Force Ario 3 so danes pop-popali. Iz kile, 10 kilo, 15 kilo, 12 kilo, 11 kilo. 4 igre so imeli več kot 10 kilo, to je insane. To je insane. Samo eno igro so imeli slabo. Tako da, dajte vsi. GG so chat, Tysonov trio je kvalu direkt v finale. Let's go, chat. Naslednji teden bojo hiti. Sam da vidim, če tle na tem format tracker že kaj to kaže. Semifinals, ja. Spravo, naslednji teden. Evo, lejte. Ja, Mongraal ni prišel naprej, chat. Bil je 16, je napisal. Oj, se pravi, tole je polfinale, naslednji teden, se pravi, 28. je, se pravi, v soboto. Vsej na soboto, ja. V soboto, se pravi, prvi hit je od 3 do 6, drugi hit je od 7 do 10, pač drugi pa tretji hit sta istočasno, medtem, ko prvi je pač posebej od 3 do 6. Pa prvega mislim, da celo ne bojo streamati, tako ponad naredijo. Tako da, naslednji teden gledamo tole. Se pravi, tole od 7 do 10, skoraj da verjetno. To je polfinale. Tisti, ki so top 6, grejo naprej v veliki finale, medtem, ki tisti, ki so top 7 do top 17, grejo v reboot round. Pol pa imamo, no, dej, pejt nazaj, no. Pol pa imamo še reboot round. Ta reboot round je pa pol na nedeljo. Je pa na nedeljo od 7 do 15 čez 9. Sicer reboot round zdaj ne bojo samo 3 igre, ampak bojo vsaj 4. Glavni razlog je zato, ker Tysonov trio, ki bi mogel biti v finalu, so splitali in bo zaradi tega tudi en reboot round več. Ja? To. Pol finale imamo pa pol, mislim, da en vikend zatem. Mislim, skoraj zihar. Ja, finale je pa pol na soboto in pa na nedeljo. Se pravi, 4.9. in pa 5.9. Se pravi, ja, na soboto in nedeljo. Pač 3 igre v vsaki rundi. Tako da, zdaj imamo 2 vikenda, imamo še tega, pol pa mačkam pauzico v teh turnirjev za vikende, tako da jaz ko čakam. Ja, rip Jan Zemljič. Ne, chat, zdaj bom endo stream, jutr se moram tudi malo zbuditi. Jutr imamo, lejte, jutr imamo na Trovotu stream pred turnirjem. Na Trovotu se bomo ogrevali za ta Trios Cash Cup, pa Trios Cash Cup streamam tukaj na YouTube, okej? Mongraal, ne vem, je Mongraal v hicih ali ne. Glede na to, da so bili 16, predvidevam, da so prišli v hice. Ne vem, bomo videli. A bojo v polfinalu ali ne. Tako da bomo videli. Tako da, jutr imamo pol tako, če hočete dodaten content chat, dodatne streame, me lahko followate na Trovotu. Na Trovotu mi je cilj pač imeti poprečje 200 gledalcev, danes nam je to ratal, ker je bilo insane, je pa res, da smo... Kaj, Tyson je splitu, ja, bravo. En lik je napisal, da je Tyson splitu z Denotom pa Rizanom. Ja, a zdaj so kvalali, bravo. Smuti, ne, ni šans, da bi bil Mongraal v finalu, v hitih, tudi če ne bi bil v finalu. Dvomam. Nik Nač, jo, pozdravljen. Lahko noč ga pogledati. Tako da, nač folk, to je to za ta stream. Hvala sem, ker ste gledali. Pa se vidimo jutr popovdne po kosilu na Trovotu, pa proti večeru na YouTubeu, ki igramo Trios Cash Cup, okej? Tako da, če me še followate na Trovo, da note, ki se bodili, pejte followati, ker saj Trovo chat in to je to. Pa ne pozavljate si na lajka, saba in tako naprej, pa se vidimo jutr. Ajde, čau folk, uživite.